Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Angel Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is now episode 440. In this episode, we are going to talk about Lamar Jackson and if he secured the MVP on Christmas Day. Talk about CJ Stroud's sophomore slump, the NBA Christmas games, if that is officially the NBA's day because viewership was up from last year, the Kings firing Mike Brown, major news, and much more. Fellas, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty great. Riv, this is the first time I've seen you in person in
a month, damn near.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, regardless.
Feels good to be back, you know.
Had a great Christmas. Hope you guys had a great Christmas as well. Of course, Hanukkah as well for those that celebrate. Give you guys some love. I enjoyed myself a nice Hanukkah dinner. It was one of the best meals I've had in a long time. Shout out to my girlfriend's mom. Prime rib, Brussels sprouts, latkes. You guys know what latkes are?
No.
It's a potato pancake, essentially. Sex in your mouth. It's so fucking good. You have mac and cheese, if I didn't already say that. Dude, it was so damn great. Really was spectacular. Got some great presents. Hung out with some fam. Was a pretty great week. But excited to talk about some sports. Some big games this weekend.
Nice, man. Yeah, calm Christmas. Celebrate with my family. Celebrate with Chelsea, of course, some extended family. It was usually we have like dinners and stuff, but the family we usually go to just sold their house. So they moved to like an apartment complex. So we went to just different families and it was much more casual. It was like we had like sandwiches there and like like different like kind of finger foods. It wasn't like a sit down table, say grace kind of thing that we usually do. But it was calm. Got to watch some good sports. Football was pretty boring, but the NBA games were really fun outside of
That's what carried.
Boston losing. That was a heartbreaker. But all in all, good time.
Boston did lose. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Boston
looking more
lost.
vulnerable this year.
Lakers won.
Look at that.
Life was great.
It was a good, ugly ass game.
It was.
a
The
really
Sixers
good,
and that was an ugly good game.
Game for sure.
How you doing, Riff?
I feel good.
How's your Christmas?
I had a good Christmas. Had
You got the laptop out.
Yeah. Couple games coming on that I just got a sneak peek at for sure. My aunt cooked, so she cooked some good food.
Figuratively or literally?
Probably both.
That's what I'm wondering.
Probably both.
Yeah, I would say both.
Because she cooked literally,
Yeah,
but was it good?
It was really good.
It feels
actually.
good that she cooked
Because
as
last
well,
year I
yeah.
flamed her because the food was,
was
dog,
dog
shit.
shit.
Yeah, so this year she looked at me. She's like, "Rev, talk to me," and I was like, "Nah, you cooked the shit."
What'd you make?
Love that.
She made yams, mac and cheese. She had some string beans, some turkey wings, some barbecue wings. She had some muffins. What else she had?
Turkey wings and
Yeah, because we don't all eat turkey wings, or sometimes we'll eat turkey wings, sometimes we'll eat the barbecue wings.
can I ask, what's a turkey wing?
It's turkey meat.
Just like
assuming?
essentially a turkey wing,
Is it just like a regular wing, just turkey meat?
Yeah, just a regular wing that's turkey.
Because have you ever had a turkey leg?
For sure.
Yeah.
Like at a carnival
Exactly.
or
I
something.
get what you're saying. Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
okay.
Me, I
Oh,
can't really. Yeah.
turkey likes fucking
Oh
no,
my Lord have mercy.
It was OD, but I had the barbecue wings. We had some potatoes too, but it was really good. Watched some sports.
Were you in New York?
Nah, I was right over in. That shit's kind of far. Mount Arlington. That's where my aunt lives.
Mount Arlington? Okay.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
North Arlington. I don't know Mount Arlington. Is that in New York?
It's North Arlington.
Okay.
The apartment complex is called Mount Arlington. That's where the confusion was. Yeah. So North Arlington, that's where he was at.
I used to play baseball over there. That's why.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking far as shit, and it's cold up there.
That's where all the AAU tournaments used to be.
Yeah, that shit's mad far.
That
but
is
it's cool.
where I actually played travel
Yeah.
baseball. So
Yeah,
fair enough.
lit though.
It's a
But
very good community.
watch some good sports, and
It's wealthy.
Anything surprise you? Like, was
Philly.
it surprising that CJ Stroud went out there and they scored 0 offensive points?
Yes, 0. Yes, that was surprising as fuck.
That big CJ Stroud game.
I did say a lot of optimism going into
You
it.
did say
I
that.
did say that. Didn't expect him to score 0.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Could have scored more. They just played like shit.
They did.
But that was pretty much
they
it.
played bad, but the Ravens also played pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry was dominating. Then
Yeah.
Lamar had fucking 10
I
completions
thought
or
Lamar
some
was
shit.
actually going for 200 the way that he started that first quarter.
Yeah, I feel like it was more like. I feel like the Ravens defense didn't really have to do too much. CJ was just so fucking garbage that
Their
it made them
defense
look
has
better.
been really good.
It
No,
has.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but like CJ was just missing
CJ
dudes
really had
were-
that. It was one drive,
Yeah.
3 straight misses, and that
Just-
kind of set the tone.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to having this CJ Stroud conversation because there was a lot of optimism heading into this season, and I think deservedly so. but he hasn't lived up to the expectation.
Oh, what's that on your wrist,
D,
bro?
I'm thinking
Hold
the
on.
same
Hold
thing.
on.
this
Some
is-
cop shit?
This is a smartwatch. This isn't Apple, but it's actually better because my girlfriend got it for me.
I love that
And
bar. That was a
it tracks
fucking
my
bar.
activity. It tracks my steps. I have 3,232 steps
Bang.
right now.
Is it Fitbit?
It's not a Fitbit, but it's like it's a smartwatch. It costs about $40, I think, on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I
That's a
could
win.
change the colors. It does everything a Fitbit does, just for like a fraction of the price.
Yeah,
That's
it's
nice,
easy.
man. And the needle mover shirt.
Yes,
forget
the
that.
sweater,
Sweatshirt.
Roman Reigns, acknowledging the tribal chief. People are now starting to catch on to Solo Sikoa being really
That
good.
he's like that?
Yeah, and I like it because when I went to Barclays, when they went as well, I went to go see SmackDown. Solo Sikoa came out, nobody acknowledged him. I
did?
acknowledged him. I was one of
Wow.
the first people to,
I respect the hell
acknowledge
out
Solo
of that.
Sikoa because I think he's amazing at what he does. And WWE is moving to Netflix January 6th,
I'm excited.
which is a big deal
that.
because it's going to be live.
January 6th, big day.
In Netflix. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Wow.
Took this guy a second to
Brother,
catch
man.
it.
Brother, man. Brother, man. But
You know
Netflix.
what January 6th was?
Nah, I went right over
The Capitol invasion. That's why he said January 6th. And they're like, yeah, big day.
A couple years ago when Trump lost the election, everyone stormed the Capitol.
You remember
Shit.
that? Yeah.
No, I actually don't.
Where people were fearing for their
I'm gonna
lives.
be honest, dude. That's like one of the worst days in American history.
Yeah, for sure. I
I
remember
don't
being
know
at
what
the
the fuck
gym,
I was
seeing
doing.
that shit, be like,
Wow.
yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't
No,
remember.
yeah,
what I was doing at
that
the
was
time.
a scary, scary time.
Oh
There were,
my
like
God.
people that worked in government, like trapped inside the building, afraid to go
Legitimately
out.
Storming the
horrendous day.
Capitol's nuts.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
All
But,
WWE or pay-per-views going there too?
I think pay-per-views will still remain on Peacock. It's just Monday Night Raw that's going to be on Netflix.
What about SmackDown?
I think Netflix, they have want
think they're on
SmackDown is going to
USA.
be on USA.
Yeah.
It's going to be
so
on
it's just
cable.
Raw.
It's just Raw that's moving there. I think Netflix has kind of dominated the streaming wars. Like, I remember 5 years ago when all these applications came out. You had HBO Max, you had Peacock, you had Hulu, all these different stuff. People thought that Netflix was going to fall because they didn't have no competition, and then they were met with competition, and Disney's like, you know what? You're not going to have Marvel on Netflix. We're going to take it away and we're going to bring it to Disney. And since then, I think Netflix has just dominated the landscape. Like, they came out with the Tiger King. That was like a viral moment. Squid Games was a huge deal. And now they have live sports. Like, they have the NFL. They got the Jake Paul boxing thing. And then they have Raw. Like, they're kind of... they're transitioning into like live sports, and I think it's a sustainable business
I
model.
thought they did a great job too, because that Jake Paul fight was a little rocky. At least
It
my
was.
stream it was like choppy. It wasn't good quality. This NFL stream, I mean, it was the most streamed NFL game in
Beyonce
history.
on that shit.
So yeah, they had Beyonce on it. The production was great. The quality was great the whole time. I was a bit nervous going into it because you're gonna have millions of people watching, and for the Jake Paul fight, I'm assuming it was probably like like a tenth of the people compared to this, but it was surprisingly good.
I felt like they had to reinvent themselves because I give a lot of respect to Hulu. Hulu having live sports, starting that wave. And then I'll be real, Hulu's probably the number one app that I use. Hulu and probably HBO followed by that. But Netflix did start a wave. They had to reinvent themselves and figure out, hey, if we don't start getting on this, we're going to get left behind. And you're not wrong. Netflix is a staple. It's a pioneer. It really started the whole streaming wave. But Hulu and Amazon Prime started to figure things out that they had to be forced
I'm a
into
big
this.
Prime and Prime Video.
Prime's
Prime is
amazing.
good,
I'm a big
Prime's
Tubi guy.
amazing.
It's like,
Tubi?
Tubi has all the like black sitcom movies, like Johnson's Family Vacation.
Okay.
Friday After Next, like mad old school.
Tubi's like the place where you go for indie films.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of indie stuff there. A lot of it's bad.
All I know
But,
about Tubi
yeah.
is whenever it be like
It's
is
free.
whatever streaming and it says Tubi, it's free.
It's free, but
free.
it's like 30 ads. It's truly aggravating.
Because usually I'll
at
see
times.
Tubi and I'll be like, oh, I don't have that shit. I just keep it pushing.
Yeah, when I want to watch an old movie, I just run on Tubi and it's probably there.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Yeah,
you know.
Tubi's really good, but Netflix, they faced a ton of competition, and I think that these other apps just haven't been innovative enough. Like Disney, they just banked on Marvel, and then really
It was good for a little
everything they followed up after that, it just really hasn't been that good.
No, as
Star Wars
someone
has
who
been
is
solid.
exactly, Star Wars has been huge. I think the Marvel TV shows, I think that it was a good idea. Some bangers,
Loki
some
was a
not.
banger.
I was gonna say Loki was amazing. Scarlet Witch, WandaVision was really good.
What happened to the Mandalorian?
That's what I'm saying. So I think season 3, they did 3 seasons of that. I think it's over now. But season 1, season 2, Mandalorian. Season 3 was also very good, but the end of season 2 was.
Disney did some Elite shit though when they paired up with ESPN and Hulu. You get like all
bundle.
three. Yeah, that was dope.
That's why when you think of Disney, it's like, unfortunately, Disney is also Hulu and ESPN Plus, sort of, kind of. But do you even use ESPN Plus?
When I watch like mid majors in college.
Okay.
ESPN Plus is really good for sports
Old
documentaries.
Facts.
That's what it's really good for.
You know who's sneaky good with that too? HBO.
You know what I was
Yeah, I got
watching
some good
when I was
ones.
on the boat? The Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson,
Yeah.
Heisman
you mean-
race.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tough.
When they had who's Ryan Leaf? Is
Yes.
that his name?
Yeah.
And it was somebody else. Randy Moss was in it, but he was like the fourth, fifth.
Why
guy.
is Ryan Leaf significant outside of just that trivia?
Couldn't fucking tell you.
Dude, you got
Oh, he went to the Chargers, right?
what pick?
Ah,
You got
in
it.
front of Peyton.
Yes. So
1, 2,
yes.
3.
Nice.
Okay,
Well done.
2. Yeah, I was watching that shit though. That shit was lit. I'll be honest. Like the way they had the way they was showing it, how like the way if you were like the South, you were heavily favored and stuff like that, and how they didn't have too many TVs. So it was really just whoever you watch for, like who you voted for. And Charles Woodson won that shit. But that shit was lit. Like I enjoyed it watching it.
My goat got robbed.
Nah, Charles, they both could have won. It could have been like a Jason Kidd Grant Hill type rookie of the year.
So they should have Heisman'd.
Yeah, what if they did?
Both.
But of course, Charles is black, so I'm rooting for him.
Payne's my brother, so.
It was, I'm sorry.
And I'm also a Wolverine.
Who
so.
won the Heisman that year? It was Charles Woodson.
Charles,
Yeah.
it came down to like the wire, and Charles won it. Peyton had his whole family there. Like Eli was there, the father was there, like everybody was there. He
I mean,
really thought he
Peyton
gonna win.
was a demon in college.
Yeah, he was like the president. Like everybody knew the Manning family. Like they really like moved mountains.
It was actually a huge deal that he went to Tennessee instead of Ole Miss.
Yeah, it was lit.
I enjoyed thoroughly the beginning of the streaming era before everything became inflated in price because YouTube TV.
You came up originally.
Yeah, I was like watching YouTube TV. First, it was Sling because Sling was cheaper and had all the channels. It was like $30 a month. Then YouTube TV, I watched it and subscribed to it back in like 2019, and it was like $40 a month.
You were on the wave.
Yeah, they had the Yes Network still.
Yes.
Like then they took it away, and I was annoyed.
Now,
But
yes are some hoes.
yeah, now it's doubled in price. It's like $85 a month now, and just everything is just a subscription.
Yeah, shout out to the
I mean,
podcast,
cable
'cause if not,
cutting,
we
the
wouldn't
cable
have it.
cutting shit is dead, bro. Like that shit is, you're paying more for all these subscription services than, I don't know how much my mom, because we still have cable at my house. I don't know what my mom pays because we still get like HBO
like
and a bunch of the
$280.
streamings. Oh, is it really that expensive? Because shit, even still, our YouTube TV bill, I know that shit's expensive.
Yeah, like I feel like
If we didn't have a podcast, we wouldn't have it. It's that
no,
simple.
really. I would just be watching stuff illegally and just streaming it that way, to be honest, because it is really expensive. And
I would not be paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for Sunday Ticket and
Yeah.
the League Pass.
The
Should we break it
NFL
down for everyone, or should we just keep that? I mean, if you
You
go
can do
ahead
the
and
math.
you're interested.
Yeah, see, what is it day one to get League
we
Pass?
have the
What is day
base
one to get?
of YouTube TV. We have League Pass, and we have Sunday Ticket.
you know what's
So
the thing, though, with the NFL, I really don't mind paying for it because I actually think that they have done a good job at rolling out a good product. Like you can go back and watch the All 22.
Is
and rewatch
all
the
22
games.
with Sunday Ticket?
No.
Is that the
Oh, that's not Sunday Ticket. That's NFL Pro. That's
Pro,
$10 a month.
So that's
NBA
another, yeah.
League Pass, so, you buy it and it doesn't even work properly. And
It's
I
not
think
terrible
that's
on YouTube TV.
YouTube
Yo,
TV, I've
YouTube
really
TV,
never
yes.
had a problem with it.
That's the
no,
best part.
on the app. Like
People,
NBA,
I hear people complain about it all the time, but it's just
because on YouTube TV you can just pre-record the games and you have it in your library. But like
easy.
actually using NBA.com and trying to get that, it's just very wonky. They shut down the shot creator sites and the high low.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
You think they're about to come out with their own version of that and like $15 a month you could go and get it, or it's
I don't
League
see
Pass?
why not. If they do, they should roll out a good product, and I would be a willing paying customer if that happened.
But I don't want them to take this down. Now we got to wait till next NBA season for them to have something, because we're cooked for the most part. Like that shit is dead and it's not coming back.
yeah, I mean it just sucks.
Shot creator just dropped too like a month
They were
ago,
cooking.
bro.
I don't
shit
want
pissed me off.
I don't want to stir no controversy, but the word on the street is that the reason why Shot Creator got taken down is because they were advertising on their platform. The high-low
facts.
It's been around for years.
It's been for a minute.
The NBA never took it down because there were no ads. They didn't make any money, so the NBA is like, okay, if you're not profiting off our product, then it's fine. You guys
That
can
makes
do what you guys
sense.
want to do. But Shot Creator, they started rolling out advertisements, and the NBA is like, oh, hell no. Like, you're trying to make money off of our product.
Damn.
Now we're going to shut it down. So shot creator
Why they gotta
basically
take down everything though? Like just shot creator, all right,
For real,
Could give
leave
him
the
a warning,
high-low.
like a little warning, like, hey, stop doing that.
So people are blaming like the creators of shot creator for ruining that for all NBA fans because they got greedy and wanted to make money on content that wasn't theirs and
or shot
ended
creator
up
should just put
messing
a
up
$5
everybody.
paywall or something.
Can I be honest with you guys? I have not a clue what that is.
Shot
It's
creator.
basically like the high-low, just kind of
What
better
is that?
UI
Basically,
and
you
stuff.
like okay. Let's say LaMelo Ball, for example. Any specific game that you want, you can see all of his shot attempts, his makes or misses.
You can see like
Just him.
3-pointers,
His
mid-range,
turnovers.
Really?
layups.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a way of filtering out everything
Shit,
that
You
can
can
happen
look up
in the game.
basically any stat. So you can look at all of his steals, all of his blocks,
Instead
all
of
of his
going to watch a
three-pointers.
full game, you
Yeah.
can just go watch a specific player and know his plays.
Yes, and it's taken
Shows
down
clutch.
now.
It's
so,
gone, yeah.
At one point
you
in time,
kidding?
yeah. So at one point
And
in
it's
time,
gone.
yes,
I didn't even get a
Long
chance to
gone.
fucking enjoy it.
At one point in time, people were thrilled about it, but now it's
We
just
could,
gone.
think about all the Ben Simmons assist debates that we could have had. We could have just pulled it up right here on the spot and
They
been
even
like,
have
"Yo, let's
misses.
watch all 13."
No, for real. It was a great
Damn.
product. If the NBA rolls out their version of it, I will support it.
How have we
willingly.
never talked about that?
We've definitely
feel
talked
like
about high-low for
I
sure.
feel like we've talked about
Because
it.
John told me about high-low, I'm not going to lie, like maybe 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember when like cleaning the glass was first introduced to me. That was like the first analytical basketball, any type thing, and then the talking basketball. What's the YouTube guy's
Thinking
name?
Basketball?
Thinking
Thinking
basketball.
basketball. Yeah, that's like the other analytical basketball I watch.
These sites were very underground.
Damn,
Very, very underground.
I'm
I feel like
sad.
I feel like you've seen it
I
on
feel
my
like
Twitter.
we definitely talked about
Like
high-low.
Shot Creator, their interface looked professional. The high-low's interface didn't look professional. It looked very wonky. Just
It got
like
the job
strapped
done
up
though.
together.
But
Exactly.
Shot Creator also had like stats and shit to go along with it. High-low is just like
So they got too big for their britches to try to
Shot Creator?
make some money, and
yeah. Shit, they probably just put a paywall.
It just came out. Like
Yeah,
they
in the last
just
month or two.
released it maybe not even a month ago.
See, you know what? That's on me for not taking a deep dive into it because I remember us having the conversation about it, but I didn't know what it was. So I was just like, all right, whatever. I just stick to watching basketball normal. Damn, that sucks.
I'll say this though, back to the streaming conversation. Even though Netflix is still king right now, I think Apple TV Plus has the best TV shows out
You've been
right
saying
now.
this, and
Yeah.
some great
Severance
shows on
comes
there.
back next month. I can't fucking wait for the second
Severance
season.
is a classic. It's one of the best
Is that your
shows that
favorite
I've
Apple
watched.
show?
Ted Lasso. Show some respect to a legend.
They're two different genres.
They are
Yeah,
very
they
different.
are.
Ted Lasso is just hilarious
comedy,
and
yeah.
funny. It's a comedy.
Have you
Comedy.
seen
And
Ted
Severance
Lasso?
is drama.
I'll be honest, I didn't love it. I did not fall in love with it.
It's an amazing show.
I have to rewatch it again because I definitely didn't finish it. I watched at least the first season. I thought it was good. Severance, I
Jamie
think, fucking
Todd.
clears.
Here's what I didn't like about Ted Lasso. It's really the only nitpick I have on what is an amazing show. And I don't have anything against the LGBTQ community.
Oh shit.
The last season of Ted Lasso,
Keely becoming a lesbian?
they made Keely
Keely a lesbian.
It made no
Yes.
sense to the story.
It really was. No, he's right.
I don't know. I
You
didn't
could
watch
argue
it,
he's
didn't
right.
see it.
I wasn't mad. I enjoyed what I was watching. That being said, he's not wrong. It was mad random.
It made no sense.
They were
to the
just
story.
like, Keely, she's a lesbian now. You're just going to have to, this is what she is now. Because she's trying to move on from Jamie. She's trying to move on from Roy. And this is how she's doing it.
Sometimes that's what people do.
Hey,
you know?
again, I understand what he means. There's nothing derogatory about that statement. It's just, it was out of nowhere, Keely's a lesbian. Which, yeah, she's a sexual person. So, like, maybe that's one thing that you could say kind of drove her in that direction. But it was out of nowhere.
it caught you off guard because you had all these seasons of Ted Lasso. She's dating
Bro.
one of the main characters.
I'm watching the show, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Are they about to kiss?
No,
They
no.
actually
She's
did.
dating the other main character, which was Roy Kent, and that was actually one of the most fulfilling storylines and
Facts.
relationships
You're right.
of the show. Throughout the series, there was no sprinkles of her being lesbian.
They just
No.
threw that
I
in
wouldn't
your
get
face.
caught
Yeah,
off
yeah.
guard if there was no sprinkles.
Yeah.
No, and then just one
That'd
the
be
last
fun.
season of Ted Lasso, there's just a scene. And then she kisses a woman. What the fuck?
I'm like, whoa, this is really happening?
I had no idea. I was like, I was totally shocked. And I
was
was
lit.
just like, man.
I always love when shit like that happens. It's like you always watch and you're like, yo,
What if?
are the girls about to kiss right
Yeah.
now?
But
Keely.
no, season 1 of Severance is it all time.
That I need to tune
It's
in.
all
It's
time.
no, it's a classic. It's a classic. Like Severance, it's such a trippy show in a good way that like it's so weird that you want to keep on watching it.
Is that the work shit? You have
It
years
is.
on memories? All right,
Yes.
I have to lock in.
It
I
is.
just finished the second season of Squid Games. It came out the 26th. Today's the 20...
7.
Is it?
You know life did.
No. Today's not it is the 27th.
27th is fuck, yeah.
8 o'clock. 27th.
You know why it is the 27th? 10 years ago today, Alexandra and I went on our first date.
Oh, sweet. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, pretty lit. We went
Where'd
bowling.
you go? Oh,
That
okay.
is-
There we go. Which bowling alley?
Bowler City.
Ah.
It was fake for us. I was 15 at the time. No, I just turned 16. That was an expensive date, dude.
Oh, but when we were 16, we were broke.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
having $70.
Yeah, spending like $50 when you were 16, 17, that hurt.
tough.
I was lit because it was just my birthday, so I got birthday money. I was like, all right, I could take her out. That's huge. Not when she was like, yeah, let's play another game, and I was like, okay, sounds good.
Ah, my stomach
Thank
hurts.
God I brought $100 because I would have been screwed.
There's one more thing that's been on my mind. What do you guys think about Marvel Rivals? Have you played it? The
I
game yet?
haven't. But,
You played
I
it?
love it.
they say it's Overwatch 2.0.
It is.
Have you
It's
played
similar.
Overwatch?
It is 100%
Yeah,
free.
it's a similar
okay.
thing in
They
concept.
just
like,
added like 30 new
Yeah.
Marvel characters. I was playing it the other day. I played it.
You know,
like,
I just
a
caught.
couple
We can talk
times.
about that. I just bought Cyberpunk last night and started playing it. for the
what
first
is that
time.
game?
Uh,
I've heard about it. I just don't know what the game.
I mean,
about.
I've like an hour in. It's just like a open world or GTA type vibe.
Oh, okay.
I really haven't got much into the story, so I couldn't tell you much about it. It's like futuristic though.
Yeah.
But it's kind of famous for when this game's been in development or was in development for like a decade. Like they announced in like 2012 or 2014. It launched in like 2020, but it was just had the worst like issues, so many bugs and glitches, and it was like one of the worst reviewed games. But whatever company publishes, I think Project Red or something like that, they put in like years of work to get it right, and now people say it's one of the best like open world games of all time. So I'm like, fuck
Oh,
it, let me
shit.
buy
Yeah,
it.
I've heard
Cyberpunk
it's really good.
2077?
Yeah, it's just on. They have this DLC too that everyone says is like even better than the base game. So I bought both. It was like $50. It was on sale. It's usually like 80 or something. So
Interesting.
Oh man,
yeah.
just the state of games sometimes it depresses me because I think while there are some good gems out there, there's every game right now is following the same model of you buy the base game or it's free and then there's a bunch of microtransactions.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals is like Overwatch where you have a set of characters that have their specific skill sets and Marvel is the same thing. And then if you want to buy costumes and skins, you got to kind of spend real money to get those costumes and skins.
I'm good just with the
They
playing
have a
guys.
battle pass too. It's kind of like Fortnite. And they're just following that same model. I just don't feel like there's any like creativity to games nowadays.
Fortnite absolutely ruined every type of futuristic game or every game for future purposes. That's why when you have games like Zelda, the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, the Switch is fake a necessity. It's a really great console. Having those types of games and hearing like you like open world games, yeah, that's actually might be the move for you. I know you're not like a cartoon guy, so Zelda may be out
definitely
of your
need
reach.
some drugs and
But
guns and stuff. You know
I
what
respect that. Or like Elden Ring, people love.
People
Elden
do love
Ring.
Elden Ring.
Yeah.
It's like these open world games
I
are.
heard that game is sick.
Now, Elden Ring is nuts.
Who's your character in Marvel Rivals? Who do you use?
The thing is, I don't play. I just have it downloaded. I just
haven't played
I
yet?
haven't played it at
Lock in,
all.
bro.
Who's your guy? Who you
I've just
like to
been
use?
playing Call of Duty.
The
Punisher. I've heard he's
Is that what
OD.
you call yourself?
I've tried every character. I suck with every one of them. The Punisher I can just shoot from afar.
Okay.
My first character was
I heard the Hulk's
Spider-Man.
OP. I heard he's mid. You gotta
He
get
is
good at him.
mid. Spider-Man, you know, you can fucking swing
garbage.
around and shit, but you don't really got attacks that really
He's
do
garbage.
damage to people.
Thor is terrible. He
Is
moves
it-
slow.
is it-
I'm a beast with
Are you?
Is
Thor.
it like
Maybe
Battle
it's more
Royale?
beast.
It's like 100
Tight-
people.
No,
Yes.
well, yeah, I was gonna say kind of.
It's pretty much battle royale, and
It's
everybody
lit,
has
though.
different like
Abilities.
You play with like
abilities.
6 people. It's mad fun. I'll be honest.
I heard the Hulk is OP.
He's really good.
No, Groot's OP.
Of course he is.
Groot is
That's
OP.
my dog.
Rocket is good because he like heals your teammates. He has the health
Hawkeye's pretty
ability.
dope too.
I'm
Yo,
pretty
throw
sure.
your top 3 favorite Marvel characters all time.
Cat,
Okay.
Thor,
All right. These
Marvel all time.
Yeah, these may be basic, but
Cyclops.
they're respect.
Yeah.
All right.
Honorable mention: Human Torch.
Okay, I fuck with that.
My number one is the Flash. I've always been a Flash.
He's
guy.
not Marvel.
That's not
He's
Marvel.
DC.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, your favorite superhero is Flash. That's
It
fine.
is Flash.
We won't do
okay.
him like that. It's all right. It's an
Number
honest
one,
mistake.
No, it's
I
not.
would. It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's actually not.
The
Flash
the
is
Marvel equivalent is Quicksilver.
It's not even close.
and
Flash
they actually
is-
did Quicksilver kind of dirty in the movies.
He's lying to you.
Who?
Flash is like an original Justice
No,
League.
yeah,
It's
no,
like,
no, it's bad. It was bad. I was being kind.
Just a
It's-
fast character, man.
No, but he's like the fast
He's
character.
like
I know.
the guy. You know,
Okay,
like,
so I would say I've always loved the design of Silver Surfer.
fine.
Okay,
That's
good.
my
They-
guy.
he's,
I like
he's
that.
Now
back.
we're getting back.
He's
We're getting
back.
back. We're getting
Yeah,
back.
yeah, come on.
Here
I
we
know
go.
ball. Silver Surfer, the Wolverine.
Yeah, that's definitely my top 3.
He's a dog.
I'll go. Mine's Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Groot. Those are my three. Honorable mention. No, I'm not even being funny. Black Panther, Captain America. Not even being funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I love Black Panther for the sole experience I had at the movie theater.
Yeah.
The first go around.
Yeah.
I'm in Teaneck. It's me, my brother. We are the lightest people in that movie theater. Like, let's say there's like 13 rows. Every single person in there is black, and there's Charles and I.
Second movie, it was like 14 of us that went to go see Black Panther 2, and everybody cried.
Yeah.
It was like really emotional.
I was watching, I'm like, why are you starting the movie like
It
that?
was a big moment for the black
like,
community.
What the fuck, bro? I'm like, everybody's in there crying. I'm just like, damn, bro. This.
It didn't hit you like that?
No, I was sad. I didn't cry. I was just looking at.
I didn't
everybody else
cry, but I
Do
definitely
any
was like,
movies or
fuck.
shows make you cry? 'Cause I'll be honest, it's hard to get me.
What do you think are the top 3 films for the black community,
Ooh,
impact-wise?
Training Day.
I was watching on Netflix the other day.
Damn, and you mean like in general or sports?
What about Remember the
general.
Titans?
That's why it's fuck. Training Day.
Do you
gonna say
think Black Panther's up there?
Yes. Yes, it is.
It is, but then it's like it's taking a spot because Friday has to be in there.
I feel like Friday, Black Panther, those are two staples.
Remember the Titans, but then you got
Titans is
Training
third.
Day.
About like Paid in Full, or you know what I
Fuck.
mean?
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Vax.
Like, it's hard to say 3. I'd say for me, my 3, Black Panther, Remember the Titan, and Paid in Full.
Friday's out.
Friday would be honorable mention.
I respect that.
Because it's 3 of them. I don't know which one. Friday, of course, the original, but that's more for my dad.
Back to Marvel Rivals, I'm really good with Thor. Like, I'm really good with
run,
him.
bro.
We should.
run.
One of his abilities is he throws his hammer. His regular attack is obviously him hitting you with the hammer, and then if you press like X, which is square on PS5, he has an ability where he just fucking throws lightning, and that's like really fucking good. So I eliminate a lot of people with that.
Iron
too.
Man's pretty cool, too. He just goes in the sky
Yeah.
and just shoots.
Iron Man
from
is good. Like, you just fly with him, and he has this ability where he shoots out a beam from his chest, and it's just like.
I mean, it would make sense that Iron Man's OP. It would make sense that Thor's OP.
I don't think he's OP though, because I was playing yesterday with my cousin, and we ran into somebody that knows or sounded like he knew what the game was about, and we were just asking him like, what are good characters? Is Iron Man good? He was like, no, Iron Man sucks.
Wow.
He was like, if you face anybody that's not trash in Marvel Rivals, you can easily pick apart an Iron Man. The only thing that makes Iron Man tough is he's in the sky, and a lot of characters they only have ground attacks.
Punisher.
So
That's where he comes into play.
if there's somebody else on the other team that has a character that's able to shoot long distance, it's very easy to pick apart.
I was
an
gonna say
Iron
Punisher
Man.
just be
Punisher
sniping.
he has the gun. Like
That's what I'm
the
saying.
Machine gun Hawkeye has the bow and arrow. So, but Hawkeye, you shoot 2 of those, you're done. Like, it's straight.
Oh,
you hit,
really?
You hit somebody twice with the bow and arrow, you're dead. Like, that's
The
really
Human
it.
Torch is coming to the game too.
Oh, can't wait. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
it's really cool.
Love that guy, bro.
Yeah.
No, Human Torch is one of them ones.
So,
Did
like,
you guys
the Flash,
see
your
Marvel?
favorite character,
Marvel.
like all time?
I just like the fact that he's really fast. Yeah.
Is it from the show? Like the
No, I've actually never watched the
Really?
show.
I heard it's really good. I've never watched City, but I heard like good reviews. That Green Arrow, I heard they're really good shows.
Shout out to the Flash. Shout out to Max. Max loves the Flash.
Max does love the Flash. Max is probably the biggest DC guy I know, and I make fun of him all the time because DC's dog shit right now. But they're on the rise.
They have good animated movies.
I've heard that this new animated show that came out on HBO, I'm blanking on the name of it right now. It's amazing.
The Superman one?
No, it's I couldn't tell you the name of it. It's on HBO. It is animated. It's apparently one of the highest rated DC projects of the last God knows however many years.
Yeah, their animated movies are really good.
I know that a Marvel, like a superhero show came out for HBO Max. I don't know if it's animated or not. I'm
Marvel or
forgetting the name.
DC? DC.
It probably is DC.
It is
yeah.
DC.
If-
Fact, because HBO
Max,
is DC.
Yeah, they own DC, right?
I'll look into it while we get into whatever else we want to talk about.
Okay, well, we could start the first topic of the show. A lot of babbling.
Okay, Creature Commandos.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, that is what it's called.
Who's in it?
Yana.
I meant like characters.
That's what. Rostrovich. Cersei. Rick Flag
Cersei.
Sr.
Rick Flag. Okay.
Nina Mazursky.
Okay.
Mazursky.
Those sound like heavy hitters.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you,
know
man.
about
I
this
don't know.
one. Yeah,
I don't know a person in there.
My God. I like the Fantastic Four.
Love the
It's
Fantastic
coming out
Four.
soon.
That's my group.
The movie's coming out soon.
I mean, I'm optimistic.
Did you watch The Silver Surfer? I mean, I'd hope so.
The movie?
Yes.
Not the movie. I just know he was a villain turned
You
like.
didn't see the movie?
No, I didn't.
Papa.
I don't really
that
watch
movie's
superhero movies.
goated.
Which definitely gets hated on for no reason. I like it.
Okay.
I love that movie.
I like the
They
Fantastic
I
run
don't know
into
what it is, but
Galactus.
this like glasses riv, like I just believe you when you talk about comics. Man. Like
Yo,
whatever
the fans
he says
acknowledge
is like
your knowledge of anime and stuff like
like A
this.
plus opinions right here. I'm just
My
like
dad,
okay.
when I was growing up, my dad, we used to always go watch Marvel, DC. He grew up on it, so he just taught me everything he knows. So we don't watch. That's one thing because he doesn't watch sports. So we have a dad. Like, what do you guys bond over? It's usually sports, but my dad doesn't watch sports. Other parents, they kind of bond over the streets. Me and my dad, we bonded over DC and Marvel shit. So
Facts.
that's how that goes.
Can't laugh.
Bond
No, you
over,
can because it's a fact.
you bond over crack, you bond over in DC. It's pretty easy for me.
But yeah, it's so that's what we used to do. So
Whoa.
that's how I know everything.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was nuts. I thought I would say that. He said that.
Crack. You bond over crack.
Which one would you rather bond
My
over?
goodness.
Crack's insane.
No, but yeah, I want to get into more like cinema and stuff like that. It's kind of a shame how much DC has fell relative to
They're
where
back.
Marvel
Do
is.
you have
at.
James Gunn.
What's it called? Letterboxd? What is
Yeah,
that shit?
that's it.
You have it?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I
Actually,
see it all
that?
the time on like Twitter and stuff. People just post like it's the place just like make your own movie reviews basically, and you put like your top movies, you give a score, you give like a summary with your thoughts. Jokic posts his all the time.
All the
I see,
time.
but I see a bunch of different people do it.
I'm not the type of guy to have one of those because I trollingly give every single movie I watch a 10. And majority of the time it goes off my movie experience. Like I watched
I need to get Funko to get back on that, man.
Yeah, no, it's
Fell
a
off.
tragedy. RIP, a great account. When
Those movies are my favorite part.
we watched the Sony movie, the one with the
Madam Web?
Madam Web. Yes, movie was terrible,
Awful.
but my movie watching experience was fantastic.
You just like make
I
fun of it
treated
with
it like a comedy.
yeah.
It was one of the best movie experiences I had. I gave it a 10.
No, yeah, that movie is dog shit.
That's all that matters to me.
It was
The
terrible.
movie may have been one of the worst visually pleasing movies I've ever seen, outside of the fact of multiple attractive women. However,
Cook.
I enjoyed more than anything making fun of the movie.
I'd have too many unpopular opinions, man. Like too many. That's why I couldn't do no shit like that.
Why not?
Did
I
that
feel like
movie
that's the best
set
part for
women?
it.
That's like the whole
back?
point.
Yeah.
Did that movie set women back?
No, not at all.
And Marvel, possibly.
The movie wasn't
I'm
good.
not gonna say, what I'm saying?
wasn't
but
good.
5 lead woman characters, the movie flopped.
It wasn't the women's fault.
Sure.
writing?
Huh?
The writing?
Oh
No,
my
the plot
god, the
was
writing
awful.
was
Plot?
terrible.
It just didn't make sense. Like it really was just they decided, hey, we're gonna put 5 bad, good-looking women in the movie, and hopefully it pops.
But then they didn't even use them like with their abilities at all. Like,
What were they doing? Just talking?
I don't know. They were kind of just finessing. That's really what they were doing, finessing
Pretty
the whole
privileged,
time.
It's like
bro.
they didn't know the plot
Just
either.
watching Pretty Privilege for 2 hours.
And then Madam Web at the very end, she gets blind. That was crazy. She dies, but they figure out how to save her. The end of the movie is hilarious.
But Did she have Dragon Balls or
They cut
something?
all of them. Like them 5, Venom, Craven was horrible.
Yep.
They cut all that.
Yeah,
Like, the
that's
little
rightfully
Spider-Man,
so.
Yeah, they said they're done with that
And
shit.
Sony had the opportunity to put Spider-Man in these movies, and they just decided not to.
Well, if they suck, I'm glad I didn't put Spider-Man in it.
No,
Might have
praise
saved
the
them.
Lord.
Yeah.
But if Spider-Man was in it, I promise you, heads would have been at the
I
theater.
don't understand.
Yeah. I actually hate Spider-Man.
Really?
That is unbelievably
That's really like the only
casual.
superhero movie that I'll go and out of my way to see.
I told you. Yeah.
Hate
I
Spider-Man?
hate this Spider-Man. Yeah. Tom Holland.
Huh?
Yeah. Hate him.
Toby's a goat.
I mean, yeah, Toby's the goat for
Mwah.
sure.
Love you, Pookie.
Like Toby. I actually liked Andrew Garfield.
Did you
Hate
watch
his
the
movies.
last Spider-Man that had all of them in it?
I actually hated that movie.
I liked it.
That movie came on my birthday.
Andrew
I was
Garfield
eight.
was a very good Spider-Man.
was.
The
I
acting
haven't seen
job
the
was
Garfield
good.
There was the plot.
Yo, what's wrong with Tom?
I think he's just too childish. He's a little bit annoying to me.
Apparently, that's
That's
the whole
Spider-Man.
point.
Yeah.
That is, but like when you give us Toby, right, who we've kind of watched grow up, and then you give us Andrew, the
Because
mature
I think in the
one.
first Spider-Man, Toby, he's still like nerdish,
That's what I'm saying.
kiddish.
Like but the first 3, like Toby made
gets-
sense
as it goes
It was
on,
like
he
a
gets more
progression
mature,
thing.
yeah.
With Tom, it's kind of like keep bitching too much. He just,
To be fair,
I don't like
it
it.
took until the third movie for his what do they call it in Across the Spider-Verse? His everyone has like that turning point where they've become like
when
really
he gets the black
Spider-Man.
suit,
Yeah. No,
right?
but not the black.
I know what you mean.
You know,
I know what you mean. I know what you
whatever
mean.
it's called. I'm blanking on the term
Yeah, I know what
exactly.
you mean, though.
But everyone, they all have
basically
that
his
moment.
manhood.
Exactly. That you kind of go from a boy to a man.
Transition.
It took him that third movie for Aunt May to die.
For sure.
So for the other two Spider-Man, it was Uncle Ben dying. But for him, it was Aunt May. It took until the third movie for him to finally grow up.
And
So
he's got-
it's what
got
you're
the
saying.
fucking- He's got the hair and shit. It's like
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Oh, that's
high.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, but that's the OG Spider-Man 3.
That's Toby.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
the
sorry, what are
yeah.
you talking about?
So
You're
I'm
talking
saying
about,
in this
this
trilogy
movie.
with
Oh,
Tom.
Tom
You can't
Holland.
beat Toby. man.
No,
Toby.
his moment. My God, I'm blanking on the name. It's bothering me so
His
much.
manhood.
Let's just call it that.
Because I know what you're saying. I just
Fuck,
can't
it's
think of the
bothering
term.
me.
Yeah.
But that happened in the first movie when Uncle Ben got fucking shot.
Yeah.
That sucked.
That's how you always start.
Yes. But for him, it took until the third movie. Nobody died until the third movie. Anyone significant
He
to
was just
him.
doing too. Like, why are you trying to save villains? You're just doing too much
Yeah.
in my mind.
I haven't
Like,
seen all of the Tom Holland ones. I just saw the last one.
I didn't
with
see
all
the
Spider-Man.
one with was it the second one? The one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that one, Far From Home.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. That was the one I just skipped apart.
There's a scene in there that it's one of my favorite Spider-Man scenes ever. They're in London and he's finally learning his sixth sense, his Peter tingle. That's what they call it. That's where they lose me. That's pretty dog shit.
What's wrong with fucking
pretty
Spidey
nuts.
sense?
So it is his sixth sense.
That's pretty nuts.
It is called his sixth sense, his Spidey sense, but his Aunt May calls it the Peter tingle, and that's what it's funny to people watching it. So that's what they call
That's
it.
where they fucked up.
So he kind of goes black. He doesn't really see anything, but he's just going off instinct, bro. And he's popping these bots, popping them,
I know
popping
what
them,
you're talking about, yeah.
to get all the way to Jake Gyllenhaal, who's like, all of this is an illusion in front of him, and then he gets Jake Gyllenhaal in the illusion. Jake Gyllenhaal's like, I'm sorry, all this, that, and the third. And this is still an illusion while Jake Gyllenhaal's holding a gun to his head, and his Spidey sense goes off, and he fucking gets him and pops him. It was elite. It was a great scene. It's worth watching.
I'll watch it eventually. You know, all these movies I eventually watch.
I have seen every Spider-Man. I feel like I owe it to Spider-Man.
They're on Disney, so I'll tap in.
That's a fact.
I'll tap in for sure. See what they're talking about.
The one it took me the longest to watch was the Amazing
I will
Spider-Man
never
2.
ever watch that Ant-Man movie. Like, you won't catch me dead watching.
Ant-Man 1?
No, the last one.
Quantum Mania.
Yeah, I'm good.
I
That
hate
and
that for you.
Yeah, I'm good.
People hated on it.
I hate Ant-Man.
I love him.
I don't like
Paul Rudd's a goat.
He is.
He's a great
I don't like
actor.
Ant-Man the character. That's why I don't really want to watch it.
Ant-Man 1 set a tone.
It was cool.
And then Ant-Man and the Wasp was good as hell too.
It just doesn't excite me, you know? It
Really?
doesn't intrigue me.
Like, you didn't like when he gets giant?
It's okay.
Like, imagine from going little to big.
He
That
moved-
usually gets it going.
I know. I understand going.
You know
little
what
to
I
big.
mean?
Trust and
That's a
believe.
trust.
Me too,
Trust
brother.
and believe. I get it. He moved me in Civil War, but it just didn't. You know, it didn't
Civil
travel.
War was a
Yeah, he
fucking
was dope
viral
in Civil
movie.
War.
Shout out to that.
We just had a nerd out for a second.
Shout out to
Little
that.
to big, I get it. Trust me. When I get in there,
He meant
When
pants
I get
off.
in there.
It's time to get
like,
little to
imagine being that small and getting that
Yeah,
big.
for
Like,
sure.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
like when
the
you're at
human body can do some miraculous
It's like
stuff.
when
my
you're at the
God.
you're at the club and your girl whispers in your ear it's time and you gotta like, all right, I gotta get little to big and 2.5.
That's literally Ant-Man.
Yeah, I love it.
I feel like everyone should embrace him for that.
You're cool. You just
Haven't seen any Ant-Man movies.
We should embrace Ant-Man because men get boners.
Bingo.
Now, the biggest storyline from NFL Christmas was Lamar Jackson in this MVP conversation. Because Lamar Jackson had 255 total yards. He had 3 touchdowns. Passer rating, another game where it's off the charts. He's second all-time in passer rating in a season in NFL history. So he's having a historically great season. Do you think that this performance solidified him as the MVP? What do you think, Dehls?
He did what I asked him to do when we had this conversation 3 weeks ago. I said, Josh Allen, Lamar, it's a toss-up, but if Lamar wants to get back into it, these next 2 games he can do it because he goes and beats Pittsburgh, who he hadn't beat since 2019, and on Christmas Day, they go out there and dominate Houston. Both those games statistically was great. Eye test-wise, we know how great Lamar Jackson's been all season. And even still, it's like, I don't know if he has necessarily run away with the MVP award, right? Like the Ravens, of course, have won both games, but the Bills still have 1 game on them, but the Ravens beat the Bills. So, I mean, even when we look back 3 weeks ago and had this conversation, Josh Allen, I mean, I guess the Patriots game, he wasn't great, and they barely won that game. So if you want to nitpick, I think that is the one game you could look at. But it's not like Josh Allen had a game in there where you could really talk about him playing so poorly that all of a sudden he's out of the MVP race. So Lamar Jackson, to me, did what he was supposed to do. He went out there and beat Pittsburgh. Now they're back in control of the AFC North. Pittsburgh has their own problems that I don't think we're talking about today, but maybe down the line we'll talk about another collapse in their season. And beating Houston. And you scored 30-plus points. The defense, like you mentioned, Joel, has been playing a lot better as of recent. And this is by far their most impressive performance to me because they hadn't played some great offenses, but to shut out Houston, 0 points. I got the safety. 0 points you held Houston to, regardless of their issues and inconsistencies that they have on offense, is, respectable and impressive nonetheless. We see the Jaguars score 20 points. We see the Patriots score 20 points. So we see bad teams put up points. So the fact that you could shut down a defense, regardless of how poorly CJ Stroud in the offense has been this season, is really impressive. But Lamar is going to be my MVP because I love Lamar Jackson. I know, Riv, you've been on Twitter going back and forth about MVP debates, and I'm with you. I'm tired of the debates. If you want to take Lamar as your MVP like me, welcome. Let's do this MVP thing. Lamar's creeping up in the odds-wise. Josh Allen was like minus 700. Now he's minus like 250, and Lamar's like plus 110, so he's getting there. If you still think Josh Allen's the MVP, I'm going to put my hands up and say, sure, Josh Allen's the MVP because he has a bunch of numbers, bunch of EPA stuff, advanced numbers that are going to go his way. But unless one of them, which is highly unlikely because Lamar only has week 18 left, unless Josh Allen's going out there and throws for 6 touchdowns and 500 yards this week and really does something insane, it's going to come down to the wire. And if it comes down to the wire, I do think there's going to be some voter fatigue and people are going to go with Josh Allen because Lamar just got an MVP last year and he disappointed in the playoffs again. Of course, he got the MVP back in 2019, disappointed in the playoffs then. So I do think if it really comes down to it, Josh is going to get the edge. Not even more so because of stats or team record, because it's going to be so close. But I do think it's going to come down to voter fatigue. I do think at the end of the day, voters are going to look at Lamar Jackson. And even though we say the playoffs don't matter, right, because the MVP is a regular season award, voters, we see this across NBA, basketball, and football too. If you're the MVP and then you don't win the championship or you come up short in the playoffs, the next season you're held to a different standard. The next season you have to go above and beyond and be by far and away the best player to get that MVP again and to go back to back. I think Lamar's having one of the best quarterback seasons we've seen in the last decade, but I think Josh Allen has the argument, in terms of one of the most impressive seasons as well.
Listen, you tell us.
Honestly, I really don't give a fuck about this MVP race, truthfully told.
Why is that? I feel like you made that statement, like not verbatim, but more so like the conversation is becoming disingenuous. I feel like that's the words you use, which I don't disagree too much. You have two of the best. It's Mahomes, in my opinion, I think is the best. We don't have to debate that. But then this season, these two have been objectively.
Mahomes is his MVP.
Facts, I forgot about that. These two have objectively been the best statistical quarterbacks this season. I'm not going to be a lame and say, let's do co-MVPs. I won't do that. Although if they did decide to do that, I would shake whoever decided to do that's hand because these have been so marginally, these two separate each other. That's how close it's been. And you have 1 week where Lamar is slightly better. You have some weeks where Josh Allen's slightly better. He had the back-to-back weeks where he goes for, 10 passing touchdowns or five passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns in 2 games combined. It was something ridiculous. But then you have this unbelievably efficient season by Lamar Jackson. He's going to be the first player ever to potentially be the first player ever to pass for 4,000 yards, rush for 1,000 yards. Most likely will have 40 passing touchdowns as well. Has a chance to do this while also throwing under 5 interceptions. He has the second fewest turnover-worthy plays this season, the 5th most big-time throws, 5th highest big-time throw percentage. Lamar Jackson, to me, I would choose to be the MVP. That is my MVP, also understanding that this is a great supporting cast that he does have on the offensive side, especially once you add Derrick Henry to the mix. But I'm not going to go and gloss over what's going on over there in Buffalo. Of course, just like in Baltimore, the quarterback's the best player on their respective teams. But that doesn't take away how great James Cook has been for them. That doesn't take away from the fact that Khalil Shakir is a really respectable wide receiver, similarly to how Zay Flowers is. Mark Andrews, of course, you give a little respect to Rashad Bateman, too, who I've been very vocal about. I think that he's been an excellent wide receiver, too, for them. There are some great bright spots on both of these teams' offense outside of just the quarterback. But if you ask me, for the fact of what he brings on the rushing side of things, and now on top of it, we're talking about a top 3 passer in the league, that's where I look and I lean Lamar Jackson. But again, if the voters decided co-MVP, this would be one of the few times in history that it would be right.
I don't think we're going to get to that point. There has to be a clear winner. Lamar Jackson, to me, when I've watched all the quarterbacks this year play, he has been the best quarterback this season. There has not been a quarterback that's performed better, that's performed more consistently than Lamar Jackson.
100%.
He hasn't had a game where he completed 9 of his 30 passes against a top-level defense that was 500. That hasn't been Lamar Jackson. His worst game of the season was against the Steelers, and you could argue there were a lot of miscues on his teammates' end as to why their offense didn't function right in that game. Lamar Jackson this year has had a very tough schedule. The Ravens have faced 9 teams that are 500 or better. The Ravens are 7-2 in those games, and Lamar Jackson has performed phenomenally in almost all of those victories.
For sure.
They've had a tougher schedule than the Bills, and Lamar Jackson has better numbers than Josh Allen, a better passer rate and their QBR are similar. He has more passing yards. He has more passing touchdowns. He has more rushing yards. I think Lamar Jackson has been the best quarterback in the NFL this season.
Agree.
But the most valuable conversation always goes back to what you're working with, your supporting cast. And while Josh Allen has great weapons around him, and I think this is the most help he's had on offense in his career, the Ravens wide receivers this year, they're top 3 in target separation. The Bills are near the bottom of the league. And you could say that Lamar helps his wide receivers get that higher target separation because he extends plays. But Josh Allen extends plays too. So it's not like this is just a Lamar thing where Josh Allen is a Jared Goff pocket passer. No, he's extending plays for his receivers to get open as well. He's just throwing into tighter windows, and that's just been the fact this season. I think between these two candidates, it's been such a toxic conversation because the goalpost every year for MVP moves to a different type of standard. Last year, the best numbers by a quarterback was Dak Prescott. He had the best numbers. Josh Allen did have the most touchdowns. He had the most yards, but he also had the turnovers. If you look at a quarterback that had those numbers with lower turnover numbers, it was Dak Prescott. And last year, the Cowboys went 12-5, and they won their division. It's not like they lost. They just lost those important games down the stretch, and the narrative propped Dak lower in the MVP conversation. But if we're going by sheer numbers, Dak should have been MVP last year, but Lamar won because the Ravens went 14-3. They were the number 1 seed in the NFL. This year, is that the same standard? It's not, because if you're looking at the number 1 team in the NFL, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes hasn't had the best numbers, but he still played like a top 10 quarterback. He leads the NFL in game-winning drives. He leads the NFL in fourth-quarter comebacks, and he's the number 1 quarterback on third downs, and he's made clutch plays when he's needed to. But Lamar's getting the MVP, or he is at least pushed by a lot of people to win it because he is having the best season, not because of winning, but because of stats. So I think the conversation, it kind of moves year to year, and I think that's where the frustration stems from. But what Lamar Jackson is doing is special. And this is why I made that tweet about I don't care about the conversation, because it is dismissing greatness at an all-time level that we're viewing from both these quarterbacks.
100%.
If Josh Allen doesn't win an MVP, the last 4 years, he's going to have the best numbers by any quarterback all time to not win an MVP in that 4-year stretch. Josh Allen has consistently...
Damn, better than Breeze?
I mean, you look at this 4-year stretch from Josh Allen. You get his total numbers, his touchdown numbers. I mean, this is going to be one of the best stretches that doesn't end up in an MVP in the history of the league. But what Lamar Jackson is doing right now, over the last 2 seasons, Lamar Jackson is 24-8. He has 72 total touchdowns to 17 interceptions. He has an above 100 passer rating. He's averaging 291 yards per game. And the reason why I used the last 2 years is because 2 years ago, the NFL collectively didn't want Lamar Jackson.
Crazy.
There were people that reported to reporters to inform us that they actively didn't want Lamar Jackson, like what the Atlanta Falcons did. We don't want him. We aren't interested.
So dumb.
Just 2 years ago, that was the narrative around Lamar Jackson. Just 6 years ago, there were NFL scouts at the draft combine that wanted him to work out at wide receiver. I can understand the loyalty and admiration people have for Lamar Jackson because this is one of the most dominant 2-year stretches from a quarterback we have ever seen in the history of the NFL. And this is a fact. Lamar Jackson has done double the amount of work to get the same recognition as his peers. When he won MVP, there were still question marks about him. Even though he was the most accurate passer at age 21 in the history of the NFL, there were still
we had dudes
questions
saying, "Come on, Lamar," about him.
around him.
Shit was crazy, bro. That was crazy, man.
Those narratives were out of line, Dehls. Those narratives were out of line.
Fucking Joel's over here trying to get a clip on
Yeah,
Lamar.
come on,
Meanwhile,
man.
Dell's
Fuck
like,
outta
you know
here,
what?
man.
Fuck you, pal.
You understand that. Those were the narratives around Lamar Jackson.
dead.
So Lamar Jackson,
good for you.
He's had to do double the amount of work to get the same recognition. And I think that story speaks to anybody that's overlooked. I mean, Lamar Jackson just a couple years ago went on First Take and he said that he wanted to improve his game as a quarterback and he wanted to be like Drew Brees. And he's gotten to that level. He's completed 70% of his passes this year. And every year he's excelled. Since Todd Monken has gone to this offense and since they made this offense more pass-friendly, Lamar Jackson has proven that he's just not a great player playing a quarterback position. He's a great quarterback in general. And, this season that he's having is an all-time great season. It's the second best season pass rating-wise in the history of the NFL. Mm-hmm. So if he wins, it's deserved. But if Josh Allen wins, it's deserved too. I mean, you're not about to tell me that Josh Allen doesn't deserve to be most valuable player. People were talking about the Bills coming into the season like they weren't going to make the playoffs. They lost so many things. They lost so many veterans on that roster. Josh Allen has been the main thing that's stayed the same, the common denominator, and he's having another great season. And so you can't discount what he's doing either.
To your Drew Brees point, Josh Allen needs 3 total touchdowns to be the first player in NFL history with 5 consecutive 40-touchdown seasons. Drew Brees did it 3 times. Tom Brady did it twice. A-Rod did it 2 times. And Brett Favre did it twice. So that's where the Drew Brees 3 years.
40 total.
Yes.
Got it.
40 total touchdowns.
Which is still insane.
Drew probably threw 40 of them shits 3 times.
And also, 5 bands. He did that 4 times. Drew's crazy. But Josh is also, I think, a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, this conversation has just become stupid. Because I feel like the shit I've been seeing today and yesterday about how he's getting like a Steve Nash MVP and how
Joel Embiid.
I've heard Steve Nash.
It's gotten that bad.
Well, Ryan Clark said Charles Barkley.
And then he said Steve Nash 2 minutes later in the same exact clip. So you went from Charles Barkley to Steve Nash. And then I hear Bart Scott talking, and it's just like...
In no world is Lamar Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Josh Allen, Charles Barkley.
It's truly...
It doesn't make sense.
It's astonishing.
So who's Josh Allen in that world?
I don't think none of them are
None of them are Michael Jordan.
No, I'm not calling Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. But I'm saying, who are we calling his equivalent?
I don't know, but it ain't no fucking Steve Nash.
No. Charles Barkley also. I feel like we know ball. Charles Barkley, that's not a crazy slight.
Charles Barkley's like...
That's a slight when you're trying to say somebody's Michael Jordan.
But like Charles Barkley, until Timmy came into town, was regarded as the best power forward ever.
That's a slight.
Being the best at a position?
No, that's a slight because you're saying Josh Allen is only going to win MVP because it's a
they don't want to give it to MJ
No, the way it sounded was wrong. I agree.
Yeah, they like Charles Barkley won MVP because they didn't want to give it to MJ every year, and I get that. You don't want to give it, even though MJ's the best player in the league. You don't want to keep giving it to him.
So Mahomes should be MVP.
Probably every year of the year. Like, but football is different than basketball. So like, I don't.
Mahomes hasn't been the best quarterback this year.
Yeah, so it's like it's so different.
In high leverage situations, that fucker's
he's a demon. Listen, Lamar fans, Buffalo, Josh Allen fans, you guys fucking suck because it's been nonstop, just straight disrespect and clowning one another. And it's crazy.
No, he has a fucking.
I seen it. It's just been nonstop disrespect and clowning one another.
How do you sleep at night?
He's a sicko, bro.
Comfortable.
Is Mahomes the only one on there?
It's just Mahomes.
It really is just. I got to get a Jordan Love one soon.
Like you don't have the one where you can have 20 pictures just like.
No, I do, but right now it's on. Yeah, it is only Mahomes, and then relationship photos.
It's gonna get to the AI ones of Mahomes butt naked.
Both of us
You
smiling.
think he has a big one? Be honest.
I can't answer that question.
He was thinking about it.
You called him Big Bro. You might as well
That's
answer
a
the
wild
question.
question.
Yeah,
I don't look at my big bro like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a good ass rebuttal. I respect
That was
that.
great.
That was a good ass rebuttal. Yeah, I don't care who wins it. Honestly, like if you want to have Josh Allen's case, the man has broken damn near 14 records this year, records that have been sitting for like 81 years. If you want the Lamar case, well, he has the best statistical numbers this year by far. He's been the most consistent, best quarterback this year. I've just grown tired of the fact that, like you mentioned, we change the narrative every year. MVP races used to be fun. We used to just talk about who's been the best player on one of the best teams. It used to be like who's having a better year. Now it's like, oh, this guy stinks. Oh, this guy stinks. Oh, this guy's team is better. Like people were bringing up fucking Derrick Henry in Lamar Jackson's MVP case. Like, why do I care if Derrick Henry has 1,500 yards? The shit Lamar's doing is ridiculous. And I feel like the conversation has been so disingenuous on both sides, from fans to people who, you know, were supposed to change the landscape by talking about the sports on the big TVs. And I feel like they're not being fair. I feel like now they're making it seem like Lamar has this overwhelming gap. I saw fucking Swiper try to put Joe Burrow in the conversation.
That
With
was
all due
crazy.
respect,
I
hate it
it.
because now we're just completely wiping away.
If Joe makes
winning.
the playoffs, it's not. It's not an
like-
idea.
No 9-8 team is
No,
better
we're
than
not doing
MVP,
that.
bro.
But if they
It's
make
not,
the
no.
playoffs, it is mainly because of what Joe Burrow had done.
What?
If
How-
we're being honest, if we're being
my gosh.
honest about what
He's
Joe Burrow's
not-
doing right now,
It's insane.
when the Ravens and when the Bills make the playoffs, because they're both
course.
locked.
They're
why?
locked already.
But
Why? It's because of Josh
Can we
Allen,
live?
Lamar
Joe,
Jackson.
Let's
Burrow.
live in a world. Let's live in a world where I don't want to live in this world
they'll be
because
the
that means
7th
my
seed.
Broncos choke.
7 seed.
Let's live in a world where the Bengals make the playoffs.
7 seed.
Where they had a less than 5% chance to make it. Joe Burrow has been near flawless this season. They find a way to
Throw
make
the
the
MVP race.
playoffs.
Throw the
I
MVP
can't
award
believe
away.
I'm doing this,
Throw
but
the
I'm
MVP
gonna
award
do
away
it.
if he wins
Well,
that
we
shit.
know why
really-
they make the
I-
Throw it
playoffs,
away.
brother.
Throw it away if he wins that shit. Throw it away. If you allow a man who just scratched into
So
the
then
playoff at the end
why
of the
did
year,
Jokic
with
win
MVP,
won MVP?
His
They're
team
gonna
was
make-
injured,
Ray,
bro.
they
They were
make
the
the
Sixers.
playoffs.
It's the NBA.
Bro,
You know why they
defense
make the
is
playoffs?
dog shit.
NBA.
Because
You
they're
say
going to
Jamar
beat
Chase.
the Giants
Yes.
and the Browns and the Raiders and Dallas and Tennessee and Cleveland and then Denver and Pittsburgh the last 2 weeks. That's
They
that's
haven't
how
beat-
they
they
were
haven't
getting.
beaten anybody.
Beating Denver and Pittsburgh, those are impressive wins.
They are
Pittsburgh
good
is.
wins, but their biggest games this season,
by
they
that.
lost to the
Pittsburgh is.
Chiefs, they lost to the Commanders, they lost twice to Baltimore, they lost to Philly, they lost to the Chargers, they already lost to Pittsburgh. They don't have any impressive
Yes,
wins
they
on their
have.
Joe Burrow
schedule.
in all of those
They have
games
failed to beat a good team challenge.
outside of the
I get
Eagles
it.
was
No, I get it.
incredible.
I get it.
Joe Burrow's not in the MVP conversation, although you can argue he's played better than Josh Allen this year,
sure.
and he's played just as good as Lamar
as well.
Jackson.
If this was last year's Lamar, where his numbers were what they were, I think you could have a real debate about it. But the fact that Lamar is going band for band with everything Burrow's doing, if not exceeding, plus they got the record, plus they probably have the division, it's going to be
they have,
really
10
tough.
wins?
But
Are they just at 11 now?
yeah.
This is where this is kind of
great.
this is it's not being fair to Burrow because the Ravens are an all-around good team.
Well,
the
now they are. Their defense was bad
Their
for 3
passing
months.
defense was they had the number one run defense for the entirety of the season.
cooking.
Their run defense has been elite all year long. The Bengals don't do anything
Well,
right
to be
defensively.
fair, usually when you're the worst in the league at pass or run, the opposite is usually good because the team's like, I'll just pass
just
the ball
pass it
because you
on
suck.
He's
Yeah,
right.
But the Bengals
It's kinda
have been the worst defense
No,
in the
they've been
NFL.
terrible.
Like
I'm
one
not-
of
I'm
the
not
worst.
gonna
They
sit here
don't
and
do
argue that.
anything right on that side of the field. And Joe Burrow has consistently had 300-yard games with 3 touchdowns, and they've lost those games.
Insane.
With that being said, he's not in the conversation because they haven't won enough. And even though Joe Burrow has been near flawless, he hasn't been flawless, and that's really the biggest
the
issue
big moments.
in his resume this year against the Chiefs. Chris Jones forces a fumble that gets returned for a touchdown,
Joe Burrow.
and that was a 6-7 point swing
The T.
against the
Higgins
Ravens.
INT. Can't forget that.
The
one.
Bengals were up on the Ravens by 2 touchdowns in both of their games, and the Ravens found a way to win those games. So Joe Burrow, in those moments, he has made some mistakes, although this year he still has been one of the best fourth quarter quarterbacks in the NFL because the defense hasn't lived up to their bargain. But still, you can't win MVP without having those signature moments and being winless against 500 teams. And that's what the Bengals have been this season.
So even if they make the playoffs,
There'll be a
no way.
Throw the shit away, bro. Throw it away. It's not NBA. NBA, one player has
It's
a
between
significant
Lamar
more
and Josh
impact.
Allen. That's it.
It is.
But again,
Statistically.
No Mahomes.
I'd rather give it to fucking
No Mahomes.
Mahomes my MVP.
Mahomes is
mine. Mine.
I'd rather give it to
personal one.
Saquon Barkley than give it to Joe Burrow.
Have you seen?
can I tell you what? If neither of those teams were to be the 1 seed, Saquon, if he would have secured the 1 seed, I could have heard an argument for it.
Yeah,
I'd rather have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, one of them win MVP and one of them win Offensive Player of the Year over Saquon win Offensive Player of the Year.
What the
That's
fuck?
my hot take.
You're a hater. You're done.
If
He's
Saquon
done. He's done.
breaks the
He's done.
record, you're
He's
out of your
done.
fucking
He's
mind.
done.
Yeah, I mean,
he's done. He's done.
it's-
He's done.
No. Lamar
I get what you're
Jackson's
saying.
Offensive Player of the Year.
Brother.
He's Offensive Player of the Year. Lamar's literally Offensive Player of the
we
Year.
gotta give something to.
No, you don't.
No.
Not when you're having this season.
Saquon, what is he doing right
He's
now?
been amazing.
He might break the
Lamar,
rushing
no,
record.
What the fuck are we doing? Eric Dickinson
are we
is a
ever
hater
gonna
ass
see?
nigga to me. He said,
I love
I
him for
don't
that.
want him to break the
You gotta
record.
respect that. I
That's
respect
how you know
that.
Saquon. That's how you know Saquon is creeping, bro. No.
4,000 passing, 1,000 rushing,
Almost
40
I'm
passing.
sorry, Saquon can't throw the ball, bro. I'm sorry,
Brother.
I'm sorry.
Maybe
Ford-
if Saquon could catch the ball and beat the Falcons.
Four bands passing, 1 band
Bro,
rushing.
he's gonna
We'll
get,
never
he
see
can have
it.
the MVP.
Probably
We'll
not.
never see
He can
it.
have the MVP.
Who? Oh, Lamar.
Lamar, yeah.
No,
So
he's
you'd be
literally
cool with
something.
Saquon getting Offensive Player of the Year over Josh?
Yes, we need something. I need to leave
Nah,
here
I
with
get it
something.
because it is
Would you say that
MVP.
if
We
you were
know
an
it's
Eagles
just
fan?
quarterback.
If you weren't an Eagles fan?
Probably not.
Nah, no way.
No shot.
No way.
Okay.
No way. No way.
So who's your Offensive Player of the Year?
Saquon Barkley. It's been that.
All right.
I think that's fair.
Take it away. Take away being an Eagles fan. You still believe he's your Offensive Player
If
of the
he
Year.
gets 2K, yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Has he been more impactful than Jamar Chase?
Jamar Chase is going to be Triple Crown.
Triple crown.
More impactful. You know what's fucking him? If Jalen Hurts and steal all his TDs.
Fair.
He could have like 25.
He got like
Yeah.
25.
He could be pushing LT low key.
I would say yes, because he's been 80% of why we've been winning games.
80.
You can make the argument.
Defense.
Defense been great.
Defense
too.
has
Our
Has
offense-
been elite.
Our offense also, Jalen Hurts
The
sometimes
passing
struggles.
offense isn't consistent. The fact that Philly's is 14-2, right? It's
something
the
like that.
defense,
Three.
but offensively
Three.
14-3. It's the defense,
the run
but it's
game.
also the run game.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
the run
Saquon
game. It is.
putting in pain.
Arguably the best.
I'm
run game in the league.
not arguing that. I just also want to be fair to Jamar, who's been
I think Jamar
incredible.
I think
has a
Jamar should be
conversation.
getting more love for sure. I think it's just the fact that Philly has been so damn dominant that he's just going to get the nod because they're winning more.
Because if they gave the award to Lamar, I would say yes, that's correct. If they
think
gave it
all
to
three of them are-
Saquon, it would be I understand.
Ooh,
It's
I
just
don't
because
like that.
quarterbacks are going to win
I think
MVP
all
every
three
year.
of them are correct.
4,000 passing,
think all three of them are
1,000
correct.
rushing.
It really
That's
just depends.
history.
I just worry about the precedent in sense because if all of a sudden the best quarterback in the NFL gets MVP and now the second best quarterback starts getting Offensive Player of the Year,
nah, OD.
now it's like
No, but the
now
thing is-
running backs, receivers aren't going to get anything.
But my stance is I think Lamar's the MVP. I think Lamar's the Offensive Player of the Year.
He gets both.
I think
That's
maybe
my
the
stance.
NFL should just adopt
They've done that
the
so many
college
times.
model of awards, and they
Best
should
receiver, yeah.
should just make awards for the
believe
best
that.
running
They
back,
had that
the
shouldn't
best
matter.
receiver.
Yeah.
They should have awards for that.
I agree, because now you just at this point, what the fuck am I getting 2K
But do you know
for
what they
if I can't
kind of
even
do
it?
have that though? Like All Pro. Like
It
All
is
Pro's
All-Pro.
technically
Yeah.
that.
All Pro don't mean shit, man. I need a
I
big ass
don't
award.
mind.
You get like a bonus usually in
I
your
need
contract
that fat
and
ass
stuff.
offensive player of the year trophy.
All-Pro
When
is
you
a lot.
go,
You
when
get
you go
that-
on their football reference page and
You
it
get that
says
cross.
7 times All Pro, you know they're a
moves.
fucking
You
You
demon.
think Saquon's sitting there like, yeah, bro, I just want All Pro.
He
No,
probably gets a little 100K, 250
he
maybe.
wants that. He wants offensive player
Probably
of the
gets
year
500 for offensive
because he's
player.
been
Of course.
arguably
Yes.
the best offensive player in the NFC.
And I think Saquon will win Offensive Player of the Year. I
Yeah,
think
like,
he's gonna win it.
We can have an AFC NFC thing.
Even though Jamar Chase should really be in the discussion too.
He should. I don't know why he isn't.
Yeah,
It's
I just
because
think
of the same reason why Joe Burrow's not MVP.
Yeah, I don't know why he is. He should be.
Fair
well,
enough.
That's
It's
the
just-
only reason.
I feel like that should be different though.
Because yeah, Saquon's like minus 1,000. It's
Yes,
like
that's-
he's been
that's
great,
not-
but him and Chase are 1 and 2.
He gets 2K.
If he get 2 bands is locked. But we need it this week. Respectfully.
Yeah, how many-
I
what
need
does
2
he need?
bands in 16 games.
How many yards does he need?
I don't know.
Let's see.
I think he needs to average around 100 and now it's probably less. It's probably like 115, 125 around that range. Average over the 2 games to
he
break the record.
has-
But
He's
before
at 1838 right now.
Yep.
So he needs 170 yards.
He's gonna break it. He's gonna break it
to
this
get to
week.
2 bands.
Yes.
No, just to get to 200.
He
probably
plays
to
Dallas.
break it is
Plays
21.
Dallas this week, but it's gonna be Pickett playing.
Yeah,
So
but
we're
they're still
running the
gonna be
ball.
able to run the ball.
It's the record's 2109 if I'm not mistaken. Or
If he
20
plays
If he
week
was
18.
2096, something like that.
it was heartbreaking. Harper 9 yards. He needed 9
Well,
yards.
Saquon has kind of spoken about, not really caring about those accolades or awards.
5.8.
Because I think Nick Sirianni earlier in the year asked if he wanted to like break
In
a
the
certain
game,
record, and
He
then
ended
he
up
said
breaking
no.
it regardless.
Nah, it was
most rushing yards in the game.
For him.
He sat down. Yeah.
Most rushing yards for him. His career high.
Oh, his career.
No,
His
it was the
It was
stat.
it was his career high. You have a chance to break your career high. Do you want to do it? He's like, nah, let the young
Yeah,
guys
he's
do
chilling.
it.
I respect
I
that.
respect that. I mean,
But then he ended up doing it regardless later in the season, I believe, against the Rams.
if he gets 2K, 15 TDs,
Agreed.
give him the award.
Two bands is two
Man,
bands.
I'm looking at these Mahomes.
And this is 2 bands out the
I'm
mud.
looking at these Mahomes comeback or game-winning drives. Week 2 against Cincy, they went 26-25. Cool. We got, what week is this? Well, week 4 against the Chargers, went 17-10. Against Tampa, 30-24 calm. Denver,
Overtime
16-14. Carolina, 30-27. The Raiders, 19-17. The
We're
Chargers
counting
getting
Carolina and the
19-17.
Raiders?
These were all the game-winning drives that he had.
Are we
Fourth
not-
quarter
are we-
comeback, game-winning drives.
we care about the Carolina
Broncos
and the
does
Raiders?
not count. Throw that one away.
The Panthers shit, I get they're playing better. Come on. And then the other two scored 19 points. It's like I'm supposed to be like, good jobs, Mahomes, because you couldn't score 20 points for the whole game.
To be
Come
fair,
on.
he is the offense.
No, I get it.
Because their
I
run
get
game
it.
is not that good.
I'm with you there.
And they got James Cook and
I'm
Derrick
with you
Henry.
there.
And
for
at
the entire
minimum, Joe
season,
Burrow has Chase Brown, who I've been.
It was a dog.
He's nice.
for almost the whole season. No Rasheed Rice, no Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, rookie, having to come into his own.
He's kind of nice. As
Tackle
hell.
He's been playing a lot better
positions.
recently. I
Vulnerable.
I ain't trying to hear that shit. They 15-1, bro.
No, Xavier Worthy is really coming into his
Yes.
own right now. This last thing I'll say to put a bow on this conversation, not MVP related. You talk about the Steelers. I think the Steelers are a first round exit.
They're playing the Texans, brother.
Yeah, the Texans, they could be the Texans. The Texans.
They should beat the Texans.
Texans are so
I don't know.
Yeah, I know who I'm
Both
picking,
teams are really bad. The Steelers, even though they changed their quarterback, the Steelers have found themselves in the same place that they've been in for the last couple of years. They're a 500 team.
George Pickens missed 2 games. Some games they could. Well, the Ravens game they could have won that game.
It's true. George Pickens
he's
has
their
missed
only-
those games. Him being their only source of offense is the problem.
Yeah,
The Steelers run a very old school offense where they're trying to run the football and just throw deep shots down the field. But
that.
they can't establish the run consistently. Jalen Warren's their best back. Najee Harris on carries that he goes for 3 yards.
one's surprised
Warren
at
goes
this.
for 7, 8. Warren is by far the better
Yes,
back, but
Najee
he's been
fucking
unhealthy
stinks.
for the year. But they can't run the
Sorry,
ball either
Najee,
way.
you don't stink.
Even with
Just
Jalen
not
Warren,
good.
their offensive line just isn't good enough. Their offensive line isn't good enough to protect in pass pro. And the only weapon is George Pickens. And George Pickens is, I think, the best contested catch receiver in the NFL, at least up there with a short list of names.
Okay, agreed.
What he is not is a separator. And that's an issue. If you can't separate at a high level, you're just throwing contested
Devontae
passes
Parker?
to people.
I'm fucking yelling.
Way
that's
juiced up
a
version.
great
Juiced
pool.
up version.
The one that should have been
version.
elite.
That's a great
And
pull.
like Devontae Parker, like his one great year in Miami.
You got to understand that year.
It was-
I'll
it was
never
up.
forget. I treat that season in very high regard.
That's a great pull, but this offense is that they have their best receiver who
Jared's gonna hear that and be sick.
their best receiver is a 50-50 artist who can't really separate. Your other receivers, Calvin Austin, he's probably like your best separator, shifty, fast guy, but he's
Marvin Mims.
inconsistent. And then Mike Williams and your Van Jefferson, you don't trust them. You know, this offense, they just cannot move the ball.
I feel like George Pickens, when he goes out to the field, he gets the whole, like, they huddle up. Mike Tomlin gives him the play, and he's like, Pickens, come here. You just freelance, do whatever the fuck you want out there, and zinger. Like,
I
there's
think
no
the worst
plan
part
for
of it all
Pickens.
is the fact that defenses have a feel for what they run. When I was rewatching the Chiefs game and how the Chiefs defense played them, nothing was open. You know, for as much as I want to say, you know, Russell Wilson maybe he's not playing that well, he's getting figured out. Nothing is open.
He did
Like,
throw a disgusting pick. In,
He did. Pickens also kind of ran the wrong route, but he threw 2 picks in that game,
I
if
think
I'm
the
not
first one,
mistaken.
it was like
No, one.
He just threw 1. It was
it was
early in
one.
the game.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
early
yeah.
in the game. It kind of set the
Yeah,
motion
yeah.
and kind of like
That was a very bad pick. You know, it's just nothing is really open for the Steelers offense. And my biggest worry for them is that if they fall behind 10 points in a playoff game, they don't have the offense to recover from that.
It's a good thing the Texans can't do that.
Yeah, that's where they're getting blessed because we're gonna go up here and we'll have a Steeler topic someday. Maybe we could talk about a bit, but we're gonna talk about how it's the same old Steelers. Even though I just said they're not the same old Steelers. George Pickens went out. It looks like the same old Steelers, and it's just another year of Them, the first 2-3 months of the season, they're fucking sitting first in the AFC North. They're sitting here at like 10-3, and it looks like they're gonna go, and it's a different year, and the quarterback, whatever it might be, and then all of a sudden they play a couple of really good, like actual contenders in late November and in December, and they lose 3 or 4 games, and you're sitting here like, oh well, they just lost the division again. Now they're a wild card team, and they're gonna go on the road to some team that's probably better and lose. I think really their only saving grace is that they'll probably play Houston week 1. And if the Steelers win a playoff game, which they haven't done since Obama was in office, by the way, haven't won a playoff game since Obama was in office, the narrative will get spun like, well, at least they won a playoff game this year. It kind of gets that monkey off Mike Tomlin's back because
He's talking
the over
like
500
his team isn't in the same boat.
I get it hasn't bro.
No, but that's hilarious.
We were fucking.
Fuck.
Oh no,
It's
it was
the same.
Obama. I was
It's
like, what's
literally
the fucking
the same.
Bush? I don't even
Yes,
know. But I get it. But it's just like, listen, the Jets and the Steelers are two completely different conversations. That's a fucking mess. But my point with the Steelers is, and we've had these discussions before, we had this discussion with John before, it's they get viewed at as this world-class, top-of-the-line, best organization in football, when in reality, they're just an above-average franchise. And they've been an above-average franchise for more or less the last 15 years.
I find myself defending the Steelers here because they're in a division with 2 top 5 quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson's
they
having
dominate the Steelers. They dominate the Ravens.
Exactly my point.
You can't call them an average organization.
I said above average.
He did.
You
He
can't
did say
call them
no.
above average.
I'm
think
going
they're
to
a
be
great organization.
transparent with you.
You don't have a playoff win in almost a decade.
They don't.
Are the
but
Chiefs a great organization just because of Mahomes? Because that's literally
Andy
the only
Reid.
thing propping them up
And
as a
Andy.
great organization.
Andy Reid.
And
Show some
Spags. They got some
But also,
good-
why'd
and
they
Chris
get Mahomes?
Jones?
Why'd they get
Travis
Mahomes? Because
Kelce.
they
What
had
was
a guy
the
like
owners
Alex
that
Smith
be
who was good
giving the
enough,
money
but
out?
wasn't good enough to win a Super Bowl. They said, we need to use a first-round pick on a quarterback. Well, I guess the Steelers did too with Kenny Pickett. They got the wrong guy. But they used a first-round pick on Patrick Mahomes, sat him a year behind Alex Smith. Of course, they didn't think he was going to be the best quarterback in NFL history, but the process was right where we have a good quarterback, not one that's good enough to make us perennial Super Bowl champions. So they took that shot. The Steelers tried that and the worst quarterback draft of the last 10 years and then stuck with him an extra year too long. And then their solution to it this season was Russell Wilson, who is an aging, declining quarterback, and Justin Fields, who's kind of like a box of chocolates. You don't know what the hell he is.
I'll give the Steelers a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because in this scenario, the Chiefs traded up to number 10. They made a power move in their eyes. And like you mentioned,
With the Bills.
it's one of the best trade-ups in NFL history.
Probably
It is. Yeah. Now you look at on the opposite side for the Steelers. Yes, they go and they try and draft Kenny Pickett. They stayed at 20. They thought that they were just, hey, you know what? We need a quarterback. We don't like any of the other guys. We need a QB really bad. Let's go with who we think is the best in Kenny Pickett. Terrible selection.
Quarterback got drafted in like 2 rounds.
But on the opposite side, have they been put in a position to go out there and get one of the upper echelon guys in these most recent drafts? Not really. And why is that? Because they are constantly overachieving. They are a lot better than how we project them every single season. And in a division where you have Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who when Lamar is healthy, it is their division. They do win the division every single time he does play a majority of the season. And you're in a division with Joe Burrow, who's gone to the Super Bowl already. However, you managed to dominate that division so consistently. You have to respect them, even if
pressure though. Like I got Burrow and Lamar in my division. I need a fucking dog. I can't have Russell
You can't
Wilson.
just find one though.
I don't disagree. But it's just been the last year of Big Ben, right? When he was bad, right? We're going on. It's been 5 years now of them not having high-level quarterback play. I get every single year someone's not available. Over a 5-year span, can you find someone that at some point gives you a top 10 season? Like Sam Darnold's doing it. We saw Brock Purdy do it.
Russell Wilson was giving them a top 10 season.
Russell Wilson is playing well.
Top 10's obviously nowhere near true, but
I mean, he was playing well for the first like 6 weeks of him starting. Of course, Pickens went out, so that changes things. But these last 3 weeks has not been
I would
good.
say last two.
I think Aaron Rodgers is like a prime spot
But
for
even
the Steelers.
we say last two, but the game versus the Ravens, it's 2 plays.
It is, yeah.
And honestly, I don't look at that run like a negative.
No, yeah. Honestly, against the Ravens, I didn't think compared to what he was the previous 2 weeks.
Yes.
Or
I got it. I understand what you mean. But especially this past week where that INT is pretty terrible. I just think that the Chiefs had them figured out
Even
basically
the
all
INT,
day.
though, to be fair, Pickens, it seemed, at least on the film you're seeing, Pickens probably should have ran a go route to keep the safety over, but he didn't.
Regardless, I still give the Steelers immense credit for overachieving as much as they have. And it's fair of you to put pressure on them. I think, it gets to a point where we have to be aggressive. Let's go ahead and I've seen San Francisco trade an overhaul of picks to go and get their quarterback, even if they may have missed.
Yeah, they definitely missed.
But they tried. They at least made a concerted effort to do so. There's even the Panthers. The Panthers traded from 9 all the way to 1, and people absolutely hated that trade because obviously you traded away in hindsight the number 1 overall pick, DJ Moore. Not a great trade, but we're seeing teams be aggressive, and in those two rare situations, it's not been the greatest for those teams. But do we want to give them credit for going and being?
I think really the whole
it.
point is that the Steelers are just. I'd be shocked if they win a playoff game this year. They're a matchup reliant team. Like, yeah, if they draw the Texans, the most lifeless playoff team outside of them in the entire bracket, then they could win. But I'd be very shocked if they can win 2 playoff games and actually beat one of these teams that we respect.
Yeah, they're not contenders. They're not. They're not.
And let's not acknowledge it because it's easy to. It's because you're right, Drew. They are overachievers. And the fact that they are overachieving makes me think, like, how do you go from being an overachieving team to a team that is a contender? Because the Steelers, when we were growing up, they were always contenders. When you had Ben, you had those defenses, Palomalu and all of those guys. Like, this was Super Bowl caliber team every single year. Even in the 2010s when they had the Killer Bees, like, they came up short, but they had all the talent to do so. So in my head, you still have Mike Tomlin there. You still, front office wise, you still have one of the best front offices in the sport, I think. They're still well run. It's not like there's really ever any drama. And the drama, if it is there, gets out the door. AB, Deontay Johnson, and so on. So it is a bit unfair because you're taking an overachieving team and maybe expecting more from them. But it just feels like, man, you've overachieved year after year. Your head coach is proving that he could win a lot of games. It's just the big games they haven't been able to win. Against the best teams outside of Baltimore, they haven't been able to win. The playoff games, they haven't been able to win. So I get it. I'm a Jets fan. What the fuck do I know? But I know Steelers fans who are pissed off. I know Steelers fans who, for the first 3 months of the season, Mike Tomlin coach of the year. And then they woke up after that Ravens game saying, holy shit, I can't believe I fell for it again. Mike Tomlin can't win a big game in December. So I think there's some frustration there.
Those jokes are so funny. He's a Jets fan. What the fuck does he know what he's talking about? It's like, what the fuck? Like, why does being a Jets fan represent my knowledge?
If anything, I should know when there's a fucking problem.
Agreed.
Like, I should know.
Agreed.
But the Texans, they lost to the Ravens. They didn't score any offensive points. The Texans are what the Jaguars were last year. There's just no team in the division right now that is able to make them pay for their second half of the season collapse. But that's what it's been. Riv, where do you think CJ Stroud has dropped after this season? Do you think he's dropped at all?
Like, dropped in the rankings?
Should we do a Would You Rather CJ Stroud edition?
If you want to cook up, we can cook up.
Yeah, we could do it. I know how you guys get, man. You guys get real disgusting and nasty.
If we get disgusting and nasty, you're Mr. Disgusting and Nasty.
That's not true. I'm curious to see where you guys are going to rank him because I know you guys are going to...
Are we doing just this season or... Because if we're saying just this season, I mean, Stroud's a bottom 10 quarterback, bottom 15.
Bottom 15 is valid. I think bottom 10 might be strong.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's probably like the 18th, 17th, maybe this year. I don't know.
Who's been better this season objectively? Bo Nix, CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
You got it.
He said bottom 10. I'm asking a question.
He said 18.
I think Stroud.
He said 18.
Do you feel confident in that though?
I do.
It doesn't seem that way.
Because Bo Nix definitely had a good stretch there.
He did.
But I feel like it's still been more not as good.
All right, listen, we can make this conversation really simple. And of course, if you guys get into any names that you feel like are worth discussing, we can have a conversation. This could be an extended Would You Rather. Of course, you know how editing goes. Shout out to our brother Rudy. That being said, this is a Would You Rather CJ Stroud edition. First name up, Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
Taking CJ Stroud.
I'm going with CJ Stroud.
Anything here?
He's having a great rookie year, so I get it.
It's the same thing that CJ Stroud had. Now we have to see how he plays next year, but we cannot just ignore what CJ Stroud
No, it's
did.
fine because if Jaden has a slump and CJ's back next year, he'll jump back on CJ's.
Because
See what I'm saying? There's no consistency with the conversation.
Who's had a bit more impressive rookie season? CJ Stroud last year or Jaden Daniels this year?
CJ Stroud. Respect, Joel. Don't do it.
Pretty comfortably, actually.
You were here talking about CJ Stroud being like a top 6 quarterback in the league.
No, last year definitely.
No, he walked in the top 7
conversations. Jaden Daniels is having a top 10 season this year.
CJ Stroud walked. Yeah, he is.
Like CJ, was probably like top 7 maybe last year, but I think Daniels is like top 9.
He's been amazing.
I think he's been top 9, but there's a lot of quarterbacks that should be top 10 that have also fallen off this year.
I don't disagree.
You look at those throw charts, man. They're really impressive. Next name up. Stop. Don't make me laugh. I'm just trying to be consistent. Is all.
I like
Next
that.
name up. Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
I think you could put Jordan over him right now.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence.
I still would take CJ.
Okay.
I would
CJ.
still take CJ.
Really?
Just feel like this conversation now, for me, it becomes, who do I think is a little more talented? I think Trevor Lawrence is a more talented
I agree with that
quarterback.
statement.
I think he's
hate
more
it.
talented.
And I think you look at situations, and I understand this offensive line's bad. I understand the play calling's bad. But here's the thing. Trevor Lawrence has been dealing with that for the past, 3 years.
Yeah. I'll be mad if you took Trevor.
I mean, CJ Stroud's had a bad offensive line for 2.
Agreed.
The play calling was great last year. I'm not gonna say it wasn't.
Yeah,
All right.
Trevor's been dealt a really bad hand.
Baker Mayfield.
I'm taking CJ Stroud. I'm not even thinking twice.
Baker's
about
having a better year this year, but I would rather
Objectively,
I think
he's
CJ
been
Stroud's
better.
Easily.
Also, I'll say this too. Baker leads the league in turnover-worthy plays.
Well,
That's
Baker has
something
these brain
interesting.
dead moments sometimes where he just throws a really.
He
bad
does.
pass.
All I'm saying, raw numbers wise, Daniels and CJ Stroud pretty fucking close.
Ooh.
Daniels and Stroud.
You know, raw numbers.
Stroud's rookie year.
Oh, raw numbers. Jordan Love and Stroud are close still.
Raw numbers. Bo Nix.
Just wanted to point that out.
Bo Nix is top 10 in touchdowns.
I don't think
Fucking casual.
CJ's rookie season is comfortably better than what Jaden is doing this year. I think CJ's rookie season was better,
The rushing of Jaden
but
really
Jaden
does
Daniels'
uplift.
He's a
rookie
great
season
rusher.
this year is pretty spectacular. I mean, he took one of the worst offenses in the NFL, made them a top 5 offense this year.
What was the
Let's
Texans
ask
prior
questions.
to CJ
Yeah,
Stroud?
for sure.
I mean, they were. I mean, it's a similar boat, but
Davis
that's what I'm
Mills is
saying.
the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. It's similar. That's why I can't say
they're both in similar
comfortably.
boats because they went into terrible franchises that looked like they were lost.
I don't mean
and bad.
to nitpick. Matter of fact, never mind. Go ahead.
Yo, which rookie season was better, RG3 or Jaden Daniels? I'm asking you,
RG3.
kind of going to vault.
Yeah, RG3 was
I don't
crazy.
even remember.
RG3 ran for like 800.
Yeah, RG3 was electric.
I mean, yeah, CJ's not a
I
rusher.
might, honestly,
so he's
that
never
might
gonna
be
have that.
nostalgia. Just
That's
in my
why.
head.
That's why I'm
I'd have
asking
to
you to
back,
go into the
but-
vault a little bit.
Man, it's just the moments that Jaden Daniels has had this year. He's had some spectacular moments. Monday Night Football versus the Bengals, the Hail Mary versus the Bears, coming back against the Eagles and beating them for the game-winning touchdown. Like Jaden Daniels has had some
Pickett.
spectacular moments
Devontae
this year.
Smith.
Still down
Smitty.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He threw a turnover, and then Smitty dropped the ball. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's really some bullshit.
You're telling me, Riv.
Like,
Would have been
yo,
$250
oh,
richer.
I'm sorry, bro.
All right, Sam Darnold.
Sam
CJ
Darnold's having a
Stroud.
better year, but I'll take CJ Stroud.
Does Darnold get Kevin O'Connell in this universe and Justin
course.
Jefferson forever?
Does CJ Stroud get that?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't need all
I'm
that.
just
All
saying-
I
I'm
need is
just
a
saying
competent
in-
play call, and I'm good.
Yeah, I would
That's
take.
all I need.
I would take Stroud, but Darnold's having a better year comfortably.
That's what I said. Yeah,
Kyler Murray.
CJ.
I would take CJ.
we talk about somebody who's falling off. We need to lock in on him too.
breaking my heart.
CJ Stroud though.
Still coming back from injury. Got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh brother,
Geno Smith.
CJ because he's younger.
I would still take CJ if you want to take youth into it.
I'm taking CJ.
Really? Okay.
I think Gino
Fell off.
is
man.
better right now. But you have to take into account age. Gino is going to be
he's better.
35.
That's honestly this kind of would you rather. I know we usually go by like,
I think
you know,
Geno's
thinking
better.
back.
I think
Like, who's a
Geno's
better
better.
quarterback right now?
I think Gino's better.
So who's a better quarterback, Sam Darnold or CJ Stroud right now?
Sam Darnold.
I still
Sam
think it's
Darnold.
CJ Stroud.
Okay, that's kind of where I want this conversation to be.
I don't
Who's
know, brother.
better right now?
Sam-
Because
playing
I
better.
think playing better versus being better are 2 different things.
Dak Prescott or CJ Stroud? Who's better?
I think Dak.
I think Dak is better.
Dak is better than
A
everybody we
lot,
named.
a lot of guys.
Yeah, Dak is better than damn near everybody we named.
All right. Would you rather Matthew Stafford?
Matthew
Staffy.
Stafford.
Stafford.
Yeah.
Okay. Herbert.
Herbert.
And I'll say 2 more names. Let's go Drake May.
CJ.
CJ.
Dehls stand on business.
I don't hate it.
I told you my stance on Drake
May's
May
gonna
and
be a
Caleb
superstar.
and Dan, all of these dudes. Right now, CJ Stroud's a better quarterback, but I think Drake May, if given the proper people around him, can be better than CJ Stroud.
May could be the best quarterback in the class
He could be.
with infrastructure around him.
He could be.
Last name up. The handsome one. Jalen Hurts.
Give me Hurts, man. That's just bias, if I'm being honest.
It's not bias.
Close. I think it's close.
It's not.
I
Jalen
think,
has to
both,
get a job
I think both of
done.
them have their faults.
I'll take CJ.
So right now you would swap CJ and Hurts.
Yes.
We do that in a heartbeat.
What the
You
fuck?
kidding me?
Who wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
Why?
Well, you thought about it for a second. It wasn't like
I
an
did,
easy
but like
CJ.
then I think about what Hurts does for us, and I think CJ can probably do the same thing. Probably a little bit better in the, passing game.
attack for the Eagles.
The
has
passing game
been
would probably be a
middle
little
of
bit
the
better.
pack. Their run offense has been elite. I think CJ's a better thrower of the football. I think Jalen Hurts brings a dynamic on the ground with his legs, and I think it adds to the Eagles' offense. But
I mean, we have Saquon now. We don't really need
Jalen's
him.
pretty fucking accurate.
He is.
He is.
He puts it on a dime.
But like, you got to think, bro. Like,
he has the longest time throwing in the NFL, and that isn't.
Is it longer than really?
Well, before last game at least, before
Okay.
Thursday night. Caleb.
And that is it's not a bad thing.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But when you're playing an offensive line with an offensive line, if you have a longer time to throw, you're going to take more sacks. But Hurts plays behind one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, so he's able to hold the ball without being pressured like that. Where CJ Stroud is facing the second most quick pressures in the NFL. I mean, as soon as he's at the top of his drop, there's somebody in his face, and there's nowhere to go with the ball. So I just think CJ's in a pretty unmanageable situation right now. Like, I give him a lot of grace for what he's dealing with.
I agree.
I'll say this. I think with CJ, the first 6 weeks was cool, right? You saw some downs, but it was pretty much like, all right.
Cousin Nico.
For the most part,
It's a legend.
it was cool. And then I want to say after that Jets game, it was the Jets game
We
on
just own that,
Thursday
man.
It's
night.
like last year.
Yeah, Jets
The
game.
Lions game too.
I think that was after.
It was after.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so like, first 6 weeks was cool. You get to the Jets game. I think it was Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken.
Halloween.
Nobody was playing again. It was the same vibe. He
fucking
plays like
lost to the
dog
Jets.
shit that night. Ever since then, his bad nights look like Paul George bad nights. It's been like really historically.
Is he NFL Paul George?
No, it's only year 2.
I think he just has I think confidence is definitely.
You
playing
deem him
into it.
NFL Paul George already. I'll be honest. I'm selling my stock.
No. He just like his bad nights this year after that Jets game has been terrible. And the confidence you can see.
He has
He
some
doesn't
bad
trust
misses.
his offensive line. Therefore, he doesn't even
he
trust.
shouldn't,
He
but-
feels like he doesn't trust his arm. He doesn't trust decisions no more. He seems rattled. He's fucked up right now.
But even in moments where he kind of has time, and really, I'm talking about this Ravens
Confidence
game.
is shot, brother.
He had time to set his feet and
he
throw
doesn't-
accurate balls, and he did not do that multiple
Doesn't
occasions.
And I
trust
think
himself right now.
that's accurate. CJ Stroud hasn't been the best. I think he's played below his standards this year. Much like Geno Smith, he throws stupid interceptions in costly moments.
That kills me.
Those things, they add up and they matter. It's just over the course of a game, when your quarterback can't rely on a rushing attack, they're always in third and long situations. The entire offense is drop back situations. The margin for errors become very thin. And if you're passing it 45 times a game, you're going to have a couple passes that aren't the very best.
Last name. Last
Bobby
name.
Slowick's getting fired.
And I know the answer.
Thank fucking
no,
God.
he is. He is.
And can we get some receivers in there with some depth, please?
I think Theo Ash tweeted saying, it won't happen, but I really hope Bobby Slowick gets fired or they change play call before postseason starts. That cracked me up. Bryce Young.
CJ Stroud.
Easily.
I think Bryce Young is playing really well.
That motherfucker's moving the shit out of me. Would I take more over CJ? Not right now, no. You give me a little bit more of this. Now I'm starting to see some Bama in him.
And this is the thing.
I got one more name.
Well, I didn't want to say Caleb.
That's what I was gonna say.
All right, I
Amen.
did say
CJ
Drake.
Stroud.
Amen.
Wait, who's he?
He's dogging?
And
Oh, he's
one.
clamping. Oh. I didn't want to say Caleb yet because I did put Jaden, I did put Drake. So I get why I should have said Caleb, but I feel like it should be universal in the NFL community, where I don't think it is, where he's getting the benefit of the doubt right now. Because I'm watching yesterday's game, and let me just put the record out. It was the worst game I ever seen. I fucking hated every moment of it.
Was it worse than Jags Jets game you went to?
Probably.
The Chris
I like
Streveler?
that
Was
game.
The Streveler game.
Streveler
right?
came in. I like that game because at least there were some moments that were entertaining. In this game, there was simply nothing exciting. Nothing was exciting about this game
Shit was
whatsoever.
so funny.
So I'm watching this game yesterday, and I'm really trying to look at Caleb Williams because obviously he has, right now where it stands, he's been sacked the 4th most in a season of all time.
Yeah.
He is a rookie. I do believe this offensive line is not good. I think you look at Darnell Wright as like the lone solid piece. The rest
He's
of the
cool.
guys
I
not
like
that
him.
great. To me, I still don't believe his pocket presence is great. Like, I know this offensive line is bad. You still have one of the longest times to throw in the NFL. A lot of that is you're trying to improvise. You're trying to extend plays. And when you are a playmaker, you're allowed that leeway. However, the negative plays continue to stack up. And in last night's game on early downs, I'm watching him go back 10, 15 yards, and it's a horrendous sack. Now, yes, I can blame the offensive line for not giving him some time, but why are we running backwards? Let's throw the ball away. There's got to be a check down. There's got to be somebody in the flat for you where you can at least dirt it. There's nobody. That also goes into play calling, fair enough. But we have to be better at checking protections. We have to be better at knowing who's coming and sending pressure and who's going to be that free rusher. We have to be better in these situations, especially on early downs. Because if you take a sack on first down and now it's 2nd and 30, yeah, we're not working with anything here.
No. Yeah, they had no answer last night to cover zero. It was very reminiscent to basically the Eagles all of last season. The Seahawks were sending all-out blitzes, it felt like, all damn night, especially in that second half and fourth quarter, and they had no answer to it. There are a couple numbers that are, like, insanely troubling about Caleb Williams this season in terms of accuracy. So, catchable throw rate and sack avoidance. We're talking about pressure to sack rate.
Yeah.
It's the worst from 2021 on. Right, so we're talking about Zach Wilson. We're talking about Bryce Young 2023, Justin Fields 2022. We're talking about Sam Howell, some really bad quarterback play over the last 3 years. It's been by far the worst. Like you can see, like he is down in a quadrant by himself. Not only that, but when it comes to deep passing in the NFL over these last 3 seasons, he is by far and away the worst deep passer in the NFL. And like some of the numbers say that it's not just. Like this offensive line, PFF wise, is like a top 10 unit. We know DJ Moore down the field last year was one of the best receivers in football. Keenan Allen, even though he is a year older, he was still a great separator last year. And of course, you have Roma Dunze, who picked in the top 10. I get play calling is an issue. Like I said, cover zero, they had no answer to last night. But there's definitely some like really, really alarming things in Caleb Williams' rookie season profile. I'm not going to just say that's what it's going to be because we've seen bad rookie seasons and teams are able, and players are able to bounce back, especially when you're as talented as Caleb. But this season I wouldn't expect it to be this bad. And you can look at some of the raw numbers because he didn't throw an interception for 300 throws outside the garbage time last night on 4th down. So there are some things like, oh, well, this is good and this is good. But there's some like really important things like avoiding sacks, throwing accurate balls, and throwing the ball down the field. Like in terms of building a quarterback or what traits you want quarterbacks to have, those are 3 of the top 5, not 3 of the top 3 things you want a quarterback to do. And he's been the worst in the league at all 3 of them.
Yeah, the most exciting play of last night's game did not count.
Yeah, and he has those moments. He has those moments where he's able to escape pressure, where he's able to throw to his or run to his left, throw across his body. He's able to make those high leverage throws or highly, difficult throws, but they're just few and far between.
Where I stand on Caleb is, I think the pressure to sack ratio, having a long time to throw, that's who he is. That's his DNA. That's his identity.
But
that's what he's gonna be.
One thing that worries me is I feel like Kyler Murray, I don't know what his time to throw is off the top of my head, but I worry just because Kyler Murray to me is a guy that is almost exclusively playing out of structure. I feel like Kyler is not a quarterback, and it's because of his height, whatever it might be. In structure within the pocket, I feel like Kyler is not one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. I feel like Caleb showed that he could be in college, and he had a long time to throw in college. I think in structure, he has to play well. I don't want Caleb Williams just being an out of structure quarterback. That in times is fine, but like, what are we talking about Lamar Jackson at the top of the show? Like the fact that Lamar Jackson's been able to progress from his 2019 season to where he is now, especially in the pocket as a passer, that's why he is having the best quarterback season in the NFL right now. If Caleb is just exclusively a guy that has to create out of structure and hold the ball for 4+ seconds, it's going to be really, really, really hard, if not impossible, for him to be a top 5 quarterback in the league.
I think Caleb can play in structure, and I think he's shown it this year. He's going to take sacks. Russell Wilson was a top 10 quarterback, and it took a lot of sacks. There are just some quarterbacks that they're going to try to make more things happen, so they're going to get pressure more. They're going to take more sacks, and those are drop-killing plays, and nobody's disputing that. But when I look at what Caleb has dealt with this season, it has really been awful. I know the receivers look good, but Keenan Allen has kind of been a target machine and really not that much of a separator for a while now. He's a very slow receiver. Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, effort issues.
How old is Keenan?
He's 32, 33.
Yeah, he's an older player, and he already in his prime wasn't the fastest, and he's lost that.
He's a fucking savage.
You're right. He's slow. He's a great player.
100% right.
He's a legend. Slow. He's gonna go down as a great player. There's no doubt about it. I just don't think he's that right now.
W respect.
With Caleb Williams, I'm looking at his splits on throws under 2.5 seconds on quick throws. He has a 97 passer rating, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he's completing 77.1% of his passes. He can do that.
He can.
The problem is that the Bears don't have an offensive design for him to do that. There are so many times throughout the season where Caleb is adjusting protections and the offensive line whiffs on him and he's getting pressure instantly. There are many times where defense is just stacking a line and they're just sending pressure and they're forcing him to get the ball out quick, and nothing is developing quickly from a route concept perspective, and there's nowhere to go with the ball. And should he throw it away in that situation? I think he should. But is he also trying to buy time to maybe see if something gets open? It's also his rookie mindset, and he's like in a fight or flight kind of situation right now, and he's trying to kind of carry this offense, but every quarterback, it's almost impossible to carry an offense by yourself. They don't have a rushing attack. They have an offensive line that, at least on film, it really hasn't looked good. And then their offensive concepts, I think, are the biggest issue, that they just don't run enough things for Caleb to hit quickly. And I know he has his misses. I know he's inaccurate. I think the number one thing about his game that he needs to fix is his deep ball accuracy. Because Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, there have been many times this year, even Keenan Allen, where they get open down the field and Caleb Williams sails it 10 to 20 yards in the air. So those are things that I think can be fixed because I believe in his talent level. But the number one thing the Bears have to do is they have to hire a offensive-minded head coach that's going to make the game easier for him. Because all the great quarterbacks, they play within the system. There is no quarterback right now that is leading the league in yards or touchdowns that is not playing within a great system. They all play within great systems. The difference is that they're able to also do things outside of that. So I think Caleb Williams, number one, is you got to get him a good system, and then that playmaking has to be the cherry on top, but it can't be the identity of his game and the only thing that works.
Ben Johnson, come on down.
I mean, the difference in the NFC, AFC is NFC has great teams.
Yep. AFC
Right, AFC's quarterbacks.
AFC's quarterback, NFC's great team. So if you don't got a great team, you're fucked. And plus, they're in the NFC North.
That division,
so
too.
you got
That's
Detroit,
division, yeah.
Green Bay, blanking Vikings. So Vikings, great team. Lions, great team. Green Bay, great team.
Tell you what, though, NFC is starting to trend in the direction of having great quarterbacks, too. The NFC North is stacked. You still have to respect Stafford. I know that people are down on Kyler. I think Kyler's still a great quarterback in this league. You have to respect Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. NFC's catching up.
And with CJ Stroud,
Facts.
this was really a conversation that stemmed from CJ Stroud and his situation. I was trying to find things this year versus last year that were different. I know what I'm watching. I know that it's different, but I'm trying to find statistics that prove that it's different because, you can just have confirmation bias in what you're watching. It could be similar and, it can just mess up your analysis. But this year, the offensive line for the Texans has really remained pretty much the same. They have a similar pass blocking grade this year compared to last year. I think the biggest difference for CJ Stroud this year has been really two things. Number one has been the amount of times he's faced quick pressure. His time to throw has gone down, and it makes sense. If you're pressured quickly, you have to let go of the ball quicker, so that time to throw goes down. Number two, I think it's his deep ball production. Last year, CJ Stroud was perfect as a deep ball thrower. He had 9 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. This year, he has 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Now, why is that? My theory is that you can't protect a 4-man rush. Last year, teams were blitzing CJ Stroud more. They were blitzing him over 30% of the time. That's dropped down to like 25% this year. You're blitzing more last year. You're leaving more one-on-ones down the field. Nico Collins hadn't proven himself yet, so people were still kind of, playing him one-on-one. This year, when he's healthy, you're playing too high. You don't have to send blitzes to get pressure on CJ. So they're just sending a 4-man rush. You have more people in coverage. Those make throwing windows much tighter. And a lot of CJ Stroud's interceptions are trying to work down the field and make something happen. This year, the Texans on early downs, they're 32nd in success rate. Last year, they were much better. They were 20th, I believe. They were 20th in success rate, 10th in EPA per play last year. This year, they're 24th in EPA per play and 32nd in success rate. So this is a quarterback that has gone from like 3rd in 4s and 5s to 3rd in 8s and 9s, and defenses aren't blitzing. There's more people in coverage, and he's just throwing the ball down the field because he wants to make more things happen because he's had to do that in this situation. I think CJ Stroud really has been a similar quarterback this year compared to last year. You look at completion percentage, it's much of the same thing. His big time throw percentage, it's been similar. His turnover worthy play percentage, it's been similar. Really, the only thing you can point to that's been different is that deep ball production, because he was elite last year, and that's dropped down to below average this year.
Yeah, Nico got hurt, of course. He missed, 5 or so games.
Diggs got hurt.
Yeah, and Tank Dell, too. Tank Dell, beginning of last season, he had that stretch, that 3-4 game stretch in the middle before he got hurt. He was so damn good. And this season, Tank Dell was just never really himself at any point in the season, it felt, especially down the field. And, of course, he had that terrible injury. Hope he gets well soon. But, yeah, I mean, 2 of those top weapons, deep ball accuracy, deep ball stats, a lot of it is wide receiver stats. Like, I love Jalen Hurts. I think he throws a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deep ball. I also think A.J. Brown is maybe the best deep ball tracker in the NFL, so that definitely helps too.
Yeah, so I trust CJ to get back on track.
Listen to OC. We're back in the business.
Because I'm not even going to say it wasn't wrong for people to project CJ to walk into the elite tier.
No way.
In hindsight, did he get overrated?
Probably.
Yes, he did get overrated, because this season and his production has taken a bit of a step back.
But I'm not mad at it because the Texans team we're gonna do the same thing with Jane Daniels this year. We're all gonna have him in our top 10 probably, but I'm not mad because when you go to a terrible dog shit organization who hasn't done anything in a decade plus, and you have unproven coordinators and unproven weapons outside of like one guy, and offensive lines you're not questioned about, and new head coaches, and you go out there and you take them to the playoffs and you put up those type of numbers, I'm always going to overrate you. And if you have a sophomore slump, you do.
And it was a special season. CJ Stroud had 6+ games of 300+ yards passing, which is the second most all-time by a rookie. He's the youngest quarterback to ever win a playoff game. I still remember his game against the Bucs where he had 470 yards passing and 5 touchdowns in the game. He was special. So I understand people projecting forward with him. The situation just hasn't panned out that way. Now, to wrap this up, I have a trivia for you guys. I want you guys to name me the top 10 quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, with the most 300+ yard games in their rookie season.
Cam Newton?
Cam Newton is not in the top 10.
So you said Stroud, so I'm assuming he was number 1.
CJ Stroud is number 2 with 6.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck is number 3 with 6.
Herbie.
Justin Herbert is number 1 with 8.
You gonna throw Bake out there?
Baker. Yes.
Baker Mayfield is not here.
Cam Newton's not there either?
Nope.
Wow, Cam Newton was actually a dog that year.
RG3 is not here.
What was the number? 300 yards?
300 yards.
Okay, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is number 10 at 4.
You were gonna say Peyton?
No, but I just like that.
It is your turn.
All of these quarterbacks are relatively recent, and there's one on this list that's from this draft.
Can I get a ding, 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 Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott is not here.
You were cooking. Good guess, but it was
Jaden?
the Zeke show.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is not here.
You said
goat? No, it's not him. I don't think it is.
Bo Nix is not
I was going to say it's
Matthew
not.
Stafford?
Matthew Stafford
No,
is not
he
here.
wasn't good his rookie season. I don't think he really played that much either.
You said a quarterback from this class, Caleb?
Caleb Williams is number 7 with 4.
Shit.
Interesting.
3. Oh, yeah. I guess the cutoff's what, 3 or 4?
300 yard games.
No,
The cutoff is 4.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Quarterbacks with 4 or more 300+ yard passing
Let's
games. this rookie.
go. Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield is not here.
Insane guess that I'm going to throw at you because I know he got hurt early. Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson is not
I
here.
didn't think
Let's
so.
go wild card. Sam Bradford, man.
Sam Bradford is not here. You're going too far back. All of these quarterbacks
recent.
post 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Somebody said Kyler already?
No,
Kyler Murray?
He's not here.
The fuck, man.
I didn't hate that. Really good guess, truthfully.
I doubt it's Trevor. He had Urban Myers.
Not here.
Yeah, no way. It's Trevor. He's fucking terrible. I don't think Mac Jones.
I didn't
Mac
hate
Jones?
that.
Mac Jones is not here.
Yeah, he didn't do that much.
Didn't hate it, at this point.
How many names have we got? Like 4?
You have Herbert, CJ Stroud, Andrew Luck, Caleb Williams, and Peyton Manning. And I apologize, Kyler Murray is here. Number 6 with 5.
There we go. Okay. You said so all these guys now.
So you're missing 4.
The 4 guys are post 2015?
Yes.
Okay.
Joshy?
No.
Josh Allen is not here.
Hell no.
I know he ran a lot, but you never know.
That first year, he was dookie shit.
Fantasy football, he was a god.
I believe it. Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz is number 9 with 4.
Cook, right?
No, I was going to say Carson, but I wasn't sure. All right, another
Do a lot of
insane one.
interceptions his rookie year.
Brock?
Brock Purdy is not here. There's a wild card one that it's a tough guess.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills is number 8 at 4.
There we
Fucking
go.
Davis Mills,
Was that the
franchise
wild card?
quarterback.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
There's
beautiful.
another one too.
Okay.
Once you said that, I'm just like, all right. Davis
There's-
Mills played so much his rookie season.
There's one easy one that you guys are missing.
I want to get the crazy one.
Does
That's
Mahomes
what-
rookie year not count?
No.
'Cause
It
it's-
doesn't count
okay.
now.
I want to get the crazy one. The crazy one. That's what I want to get.
So we said, I'm just thinking just top quarterbacks. Dak?
Dak
No, he
Prescott's
wasn't
not
here.
here.
Said him already, buddy. Pay
Oh, we did.
attention.
Sorry. You said Baker, bitch.
I also said Baker because Baker had the most
I'll
touchdowns.
say Baker.
I think so. Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston is not here.
Good guess though. That was a good guess because he was airing that bitch
He
out.
sure was. Let me keep thinking. I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm in the ballpark of who this man is. You guys find the easy one.
I'm trying to think of teams. I'm so shocked Baker isn't here. He
Derek
threw a-
Carr?
Derek Carr's not here.
Okay.
Jared Goff?
Jared Goff is
No,
not
I
here.
didn't think so either. Didn't
Both of these quarterbacks post 2017 for sure, though.
What conference?
I'm
feel
not
like it's too
giving
much.
all.
Thank
okay.
you. I appreciate that.
You said one was
Post
a little crazy.
2017, you guys think about
right,
a
let me
couple
think.
draft
All
classes.
right, insane guess here. Insane. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is not here.
Yeah. He only played
Fake crazy.
a handful of
But
games
I
at the
remember
end.
the one game versus, was it Dallas? He had 300, something like that? Or he
Yeah,
had an insane, I don't know if it was 3.
Justin Fields.
No.
He's not
Are
here.
you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you said Hurts.
Cook.
I'm getting somewhere.
I think Zach only had like one or two, man.
There's
Yes,
really
it was.
one easy one that you guys are missing.
Are we?
Yes.
I feel like I got it, man. He's here. Tua.
Tua's
No.
not here.
He started week 10.
That's fine. That's fine. Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's not here.
All right, I'm getting there. Don't worry, it's gonna happen.
Oh, Joe.
Joe Burrow.
that was the
Number
easy one.
4 at 5.
I've been trying to lock in to get the hard one.
I literally went to the 2020 class. I said Hurts. We're obviously not going to say Love. You said Tua. We said Herbert. I'm like, all right. Yeah, Joe Burrow, even though he got hurt.
He got hurt.
He was
at
a dog.
5. Yeah.
How many more do we have?
It's
You
just
have
this
one more.
This is one
and he
toughie.
had 5 300-plus yard passing games as a rookie, too.
Which was number what? Which this
Number, it was
Blake
number
Bortles.
Blake Bortles. No, it's similar
Not bad
tier.
guess.
Fantasy Demon. though.
Have you guys seen that stat head?
Yes.
Blake Bortles and CJ
That's,
Stroud
why,
going
that's
around.
exactly why I thought of it.
You had to be there. It was a movie.
Kenny Pickett.
Nope.
No, imagine
Does he have one in
5
his career?
300s.
I need a guess from you, Dehls.
I know. I'm honestly going through teams and I really can't think of shit.
The man with no weaknesses.
Daniel?
Oh,
Daniel
shit.
Jones
He had
is
300
number
yards?
5.
Rookie Daniel was special.
God damn.
So the top 10 rookies with the most 300-plus yard passing games: Herbert number 1, CJ Stroud number 2, Andrew Luck number 3, Burrow number 4, Daniel Jones number 5, Kyler Murray number 6, Caleb Williams number 7, Davis Mills number 8, Carson Wentz number 9, and Peyton Manning number 10.
I'll be honest. Daniel Jones came in my head and I went right by it. Like, yeah, no way.
He was special. That rookie season was lit. He just fumbled so fucking much. 24
Daniel
and
Jones,
12
man.
with like 13 fumbles, I think.
Yeah, the fumbles were insane.
And he had a really good rookie season.
Bro,
He
his
did.
debut versus Tampa was fucking
That's a fact.
legendary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great debut. The deep pass. Yeah.
The run in to win the game. I'm gonna get emotional.
Danny dimes.
He had 300 against Tampa Bay, 300 against Detroit, 300 against the Jets, and then the last 2 weeks of the season, 300 against Washington, 300 against Philly. Against Washington, he had 350 yards and 5 touchdowns.
How can you not be romantic about Daniel Jones?
Danny
Against the Jets, he had
dimes.
304. Against Detroit, 304.
Now read me his fucking game versus Minnesota in the wild card, man. So,
Oh, God.
fuck.
Wild card Minnesota, 24 for 35, 300 passing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, added another 78 rushing yards.
Wow, almost 400 yards.
you wanna hear his
total.
game
How
against
could that
Philly.
not make you think that he doesn't have a weakness? No shit, I understand, Dehls.
Philly game, 15 for 27, 135 yards, 1 pick.
Yep.
No touchdowns.
I was watching that game like, wow, this game ended in the first quarter.
Yeah, no, that shit was ugly.
NFL Pick'em Week 17 edition. First game up.
Can we make it? Okay.
Chargers versus Patriots.
All right, I'm going to take the Chargers in this one. This
also-
is where they also clinched the playoffs.
I would take the Chargers in this one also.
I'm also taking the Chargers.
This bet between you and Riv could come down to fucking week 18.
It is coming down to the wire. I'm going with the Chargers, baby.
down
Let's
to-
go.
Lockjaw.
How do you
baby.
feel about it?
I feel amazing.
They have 2 gimmies.
Who?
The Chargers.
I just need Pickens.
Who they
to
play
come
week
back.
18?
I think it's the Saints, if I'm not
Who
mistaken.
the Steelers have to end the year?
They,
Bengals
you were
and-
Raiders.
They played the Patriots
the
and
Raiders,
Raiders.
yeah.
It's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Was it
Raiders.
Bengals and Browns?
The Steelers?
Yeah.
I could look it up.
Last game is the Browns.
Bro, I just need Pickens to come back, man.
He's back. Well, he
He's
was
back.
back.
Yeah, I'm begging for
No,
it.
they play the Steelers
Actually, no,
play
it's the Bengals.
Bengals week 18.
And then who's
And the
17?
Bengals going to need to play. They already lost to the Chiefs.
Oh, I got one more. Okay, here we go. Lock in.
What happens
Okay.
if it's a tie? Just
Voids.
Clean sweep, Chargers,
clean sweep.
Oh yeah.
Broncos versus Bengals.
Can we come back to this one?
But we get a Drake May standalone game, 1 o'clock. Not mad at that. We're watching Drake May versus Drake May, low-key.
Yo, let's save this one for the end.
Huh?
Let's save this Broncos.
You wanna save that to the
Save
end?
it for the end.
I'll go.
Save it for the
We're
end.
gonna say it for the end. Cardinals versus Rams.
Let's take the Rams.
I got the
Rams.
Rams.
I don't
We're
trust-
back?
I don't trust
I mean,
the
when it comes,
Cardinals
if
no
it's
more.
them or the
Yo, are
fucking
they making
Cardinals.
the NFC chip? Yes or no? Oh,
What?
dark horse NFC chip. Yes or no?
Dark horse, sure.
Dark horse Super Bowl.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Delusional.
I'm taking the Rams. I don't trust the Cardinals. The Cardinals did beat them 41-10 earlier in the season.
They need to get back.
But the Rams, their offense is clicking right now, even though Matthew Stafford's had a tough couple of weeks.
Who's been clicking?
Who?
Mr. Kyron motherfucking
Nakua?
Williams.
He has been dogging.
Kyron Williams, since you decided to run that beautiful mouth of yours,
Especially
has
crazy.
been a fucking savage. You want him to be efficient? He said, okay, Papa. Or you want him to get into the end zone? You want him not to fumble? Okay, Papa. Sounds good. Don't
What's-
fucking
Kyron's got
disrespect
100
my
yards
goat.
3 of the last 4 games.
He has
He's
at
got
least 60 rushing yards
4
dating all the way back
touchdowns
to
in the
week
last
4.
4 games.
You want to know who's 31st in yards per carry in the NFL?
If you say Kyron Williams, I don't care.
The Rams rushing offense
was
in
gonna say,
general.
oh,
Okay.
he's
I
31st.
was going to say, he's been amazing. These
Yeah, I'm
last few
looking at
weeks,
it.
he's been legitimately amazing.
The only team with the worst yards per carry are the
you
Raiders
guys?
at 3.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bro, Kyron has been a fucking star.
I feel like Kyron's efficiency still probably is fine, right?
Is
He's
it?
at-
What
he's at
is the average?
4.1. Last year he was at 5.
4.1 is not
Mid.
good.
Agreed. But it's
4.1 's
also because of
fine.
early in the season.
It's not 30.
That's
It's not 30
fine.
No,
seconds.
no, it's not great. I'm not gonna lie to you, but a lot of it's because early in the season. These last like 5-6 weeks, my lord, he's been dominant.
Put Jalen Warren in this situation. Let's
Not
see
a
what happens.
chance.
No, but I don't believe in the Cardinals at all. I would like Arizona to win because I want Week 18 to be do or die Seahawks versus Rams, but I just really don't see any way that happens. I think Jared Verse, forget about defensive rookie of the year. Like, I think he's been playing at a near all-pro level. He's top 5 in pressures this year. I know he hasn't gotten much sacks, but he's getting after the quarterback. And the Rams, their young defensive line, I mean, they're building something really special right there. I think it starts with Jared Verse and how good he's been.
They hit on 2 of their guys immediately in Fisk and him.
Yeah, and Kobe Turner is also a star.
fact.
Like they have some really good defensive linemen. I'm going with the Rams. Jets versus Bills.
I'm also going with the Rams, and I'm going with the Bills.
Going with the Bills.
Buffalo might be another rain game in this.
We
so-
need, and I'm manifesting, a Josh Allen masterclass.
He might not play a lot.
Why? Oh, because
came
they
out
already
with-
locked up the.
No,
the-
it came out that he had a broken hand.
you're
already.
right, but also
Playing
on
through
his
it.
throwing hand.
No,
no, on
left
his
hand.
No, the
left.
other hand.
No, it's been out that he's had a broken
Yeah,
left.
Yeah, but
playing
they
through
say they say he might because they locked up 2.
They're not getting one.
He might. Yeah, he might not play.
Is it
He might not
locked?
play
They
a
have
lot.
2.
They're 12-3. Who has the second best record? The Ravens. They probably have to win one more game because the Ravens have 11. Oh no, but the Ravens played Week 17 already.
Yeah.
So they just need one more game.
But don't the Ravens have the tiebreaker over the Bills?
They do. So the Bills just need to win one of the last 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Josh Allen wants MVP, I need him to lock the fuck in. And
wants-
I'll be
really more
honest,
than anything,
you
I
go
need,
out there probably beat the Jets like fucking 37-14. Call it a day.
I need more than anything. Josh Allen,
He wants to win a chip. Bro.
4 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 2 passing, and then James Cook a little
I'm
sprinkle.
gonna be honest. You might not get it.
I know, but
You might
I'm
get a James
manifesting.
Cook. You might get a James Cook there.
And I'm cool with that. Yo, if Josh Allen goes out there and gives me 20 to 23 fantasy, and James Cook goes out there and does the rest with a calm 30,
It's fancy.
solely, I'm going for a 3-peat, baby.
Oh, I'm sorry. It might not happen. James Cook might.
It might happen though. I think Josh Allen is probably
He's got something to prove.
He's
Worth
gonna.
a little
I think
baby.
he's throwing or he's gonna account for at least 3 touchdowns in this game.
Probably,
At
but I don't
least.
think he's gonna throw the ball a ton. Honestly,
It's supposed to be bad weather game.
yeah, I think he's really gonna rely on the run.
Fucking
game.
take
Is
off.
that what's gonna cost Allen the MVP? Bad weather? Is this
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Half the slate is bad weather this week. The
Oh,
fucking
wow.
Broncos game is bad weather. The Bills game is bad weather.
Is it in Buffalo?
The Tampa Bay game could be bad. The Cleveland game is in Buffalo.
So
yeah.
you're telling me to sit Jamar Chase?
No. Heavens no.
I mean, you have PS2.
It's supposed to rain.
What is, you tell us.
I mean, who do you
I'm
have on your
terrified.
bench?
Jonathan Smith.
Yeah, no.
Sheesh. All right, I'm going with the Bills. I think the Bills take care of business.
sweep Jets, baby. We've come a long way from the Jets winning the division.
We almost won that first game. Sneaky.
You almost won the division, right?
Hey, that game was good.
Look, we had a lot of one-score losses.
Fucking idiots. What is this, 4 in a
Titans
row?
You were
versus
talking all
Jaguars.
that bullshit on Jalen Brown, a 40 bomb today. Get off his dick, boy.
What did I say?
Thank God.
Kate Cunningham in the same conversation.
Oh, you know I got to stir the pot.
Don't
Yeah,
ever.
that was nuts.
I got to stir the
Saw
pot.
that and kept it scrolling.
Who'd they play?
Pacers.
Oh, come on, dude. Who cares
Yo,
about
Terry
that?
sucks.
He's not good.
Next game up,
Shaq back to the
Titans.
Bucs.
Titans versus Jaguars.
I got
Honestly,
the
whoever's
Titans.
home, the Jaguars.
The Jaguars
Yeah, I
are
got the
home.
Jaguars.
I picked
I
the
got the
Jaguars last
Jags.
week, and they pissed me off, so I'm taking the
I'll
Titans.
be honest, yeah, these two games we're gonna talk about.
the Jags.
I don't know. I already have the Jags.
Yes, huge. We
I'm
need
going
that.
with the Titans.
Titans.
Yeah.
Nice, baby.
I kind of feeling, the Jaguars
Come
defense
on.
is just so bad.
I fake need a week.
Yeah, come on over. Come on over.
Now I got the Jaguars. Wait, who'd you pick?
I picked the Titans.
Jaguars.
Okay. Because facts, you're in a race with him. You're cooking.
I'm in a race for third. I can get third.
You folded taking the Texans.
I knew.
Texans.
I knew I was gonna do that.
And Steelers was the worst of them all.
We need something different.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Just gotta talk them too. And John.
Oh, we're good. See, look, I'm good then.
Yeah, no, that was.
Thank you.
But then also the Texans,
Brother, I told you 17 weeks. Them
the
Eagles,
Texans,
Bills.
like you got to pick your battles there.
You didn't pick your battles with Daniel Jones. Why should I do that
What do
with
you mean?
CJ Stroud?
That's not true.
You
Daniel
were defending
Jones.
him for 3 years.
You're the reason I defended him this year. Don't forget that.
Me for Daniel?
We rode for the Giants. Period.
We rode for
I was
Dexter
dying.
Lawrence.
I was done with them.
We rode
and
for
you were
the
like, "Come on,
defense.
bro, die on the hill." Don't
I
lie.
wanted to see how real you were.
Continue.
Next
you love
game,
Jalen High too. Stop.
Raiders versus Saints.
Handsome,
Saints
man.
are home.
Who are you taking?
Wouldn't you like to fucking?
I would like to.
I
know.
actually,
Who are
just,
you
I actually
taking?
just changed it in my sleeper. I had the
Taking
Saints.
the
I'm taking the
Raiders.
Raiders.
Fuck.
You going Raiders?
Fuck you, Joel.
Take
I got Saints.
No.
I don't know why I had the Saints pick. Spencer Rattler so bad.
We needed that. Yo, bro. Rock, paper, scissors right now. One game.
Taking the Raiders.
If
brother.
I win,
How much are you up
you
by?
have to take the Saints.
4 games, I think.
Oh,
I'll be
he
honest. I
needs
took the Raiders last week. I'm
we-
fucking riding.
Pause.
We can go by these mid teams. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're going with the Raiders or the Saints?
I'm taking the Raiders.
Saints.
Colts versus Giants.
Anthony Richardson might not play. He didn't practice. I
care.
don't think he
Give
practiced
me the
today.
Colts.
If
Yeah,
the
I'm going with the
Giants
Colts.
win this game, the Colts should consider other things.
Richardson did not practice at all this week.
I think the Colts win either way.
I think the Colts win as well, but
Tyron Tracy masterclass.
I don't know, dude. I don't
I'll
know.
go to the game.
I got invited to the game too. My uncle. I told
I
him.
would have said no.
Yeah.
It's gonna be freezing.
think-
Nobody
maybe-
wants to watch that.
Yo,
Problem.
think I
week
made an excuse.
18, I'm out. Jets Dolphins.
Oh, enjoy, bro.
Thanks.
Have a blast.
Is Stewart gonna play?
He should.
You might
have
just sit him
nothing to
because
play
there's
for.
nothing to play for yet.
Yeah, but that's why you should play.
What?
Because they're not going to make the playoffs. This is the last game of the
Oh,
season.
D, he
No,
should play.
I would sit him because I don't want him to get hurt.
What about the NFL and the product?
Week 18, we ready to know.
The
man.
product, Joel.
He's gonna have some fucking like pinky injury and be like, all right, sit him down.
Tua would never do something. It
Is
takes
this-
a real man injury to get him off the field.
Is this clean sweep, Colts?
Yeah,
Yes.
duh.
100%.
Cowboys versus Eagles. Kenny Pickett is starting.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Fuck it. Give me Dallas. Put my nuts on a fucking table. Fuck the Eagles this week.
Low nuts. Give me Philly.
Yo, respect my little balls.
I'm
Big
going with
Philly.
the Eagles.
Kenny Pickett, fly motherfucking
Nah,
Eagles
I'm
fly.
capping. I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah,
Second
I'm taking-
seed, lock it
taking
up,
Philly,
boy.
Even though Micah Parsons, oh my God,
what?
is playing amazing.
He can do nothing with Lane Johnson.
Oh, we'll see.
He never does
He's been on a
anything.
different level.
Micah has been insane.
Has
Last
he-
week did nothing because he was
Lane
sick.
Johnson owns Micah
says,
Parsons.
"Bad boy,
ass.
bad boy,
spanking,
bad
spanking,
boy."
spanking. Waddle, waddle, waddle. So good luck. God bless.
Okay.
He's a podcaster.
Micah Parsons is
Like
a
Paul George.
all-pro
Stop.
elite player. Don't ever
He's a what?
disrespect him.
He's on the Cowboys. I
Paul
could
George.
care less.
Oh my
Paul
God.
George, come on.
I say
He's
I
a real
didn't say Paul George. I
podcaster.
say he's a podcaster. There's a lot of podcasters out there.
Micah's an all-pro, baby.
Cute.
He's all.
We're Micah. Micah and is us.
Sure.
Wow.
No, he's is he good at it? I don't know.
I
don't watch
His
it.
podcast pretty solid.
Yeah, I don't watch it.
Seen clips, but
Isn't it on HBO?
I would say us is like
Micah? No, it's on Bleacher Report.
But that's why I think it's on HBO. Don't they have
Oh,
like
yeah,
an
they-
agreement?
like
They-
elite
they
tier
do all
podcasts like Jeff Teague shit.
Jeff Teague shit is OD.
it is very.
Yeah.
good.
I
That's
think
really
it's
Just all
funny
just
whenever
dating
I see clips of Micah Parsons'
came?
podcast.
Nice.
Micah Parsons' podcast it always pops up as a post on Bleacher Report,
Yeah.
and all the comments. It doesn't matter what he's talking about. All the comments are like, "Worry about your own fucking team."
Did he start a podcast when he was losing? So like this year? Because last year he didn't have.
Yo,
Podcast.
Last
he
year he
really
did have
is
a podcast.
Draymond Green.
Oh, that's interesting. I
He defends the Cowboys on his podcast.
believe it. He said he hated us on his podcast. He's like, I fucking hate the Eagles.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I hope he does.
Like, I think he spoke on the Eagles situation with the whole thing they had going on, and then the Eagles turns like, "Stop worrying about the fucking Eagles."
Because what are you
He's
talking
trying to
about?
stir the
Y'all need to
pot.
maybe start doing what we do. You'd start
Then
winning.
you get those comments like, "Yo, Micah, come on over, bro. Come on over.
You know
we
we're,
want you."
We're Georgia U.
Micah and Philly would be fucking crazy.
Remember when we drafted
Yo, would it be
Carter?
even crazier? Micah in Denver.
Okay.
We drafted Carter Parsons Nolan Smith the same night Parsons was on the couch, and they had him up during draft night. And he was just like, Eagles are cheating, man. They're getting all the top prospects. He's coming to Philly, bro.
Yeah, this is a clean sweep. Eagles led by Kenny Pickett. Panthers versus Buccaneers. Last matchup was very close.
This is one of the hardest of the
Tampa needs it. Give me Tampa.
I'm going with the Buccaneers. Desperation mode. They need to win out. I got them.
I'm taking the Bucs.
But last game, I mean, if Hubbard doesn't fumble, they beat the Bucs.
I feel like
Cardinals,
there's a part of me that
No, it was the Bucs.
am I gonna gamble
Hubbard
on
fumbled.
this? Here's
Oh,
and
I'm
I'll
thinking
talk
about
it
last
through.
week
I'll
against
talk
Pan-
it through honestly, boys. It's one game that I'm gambling on this week, and I'm choosing between the Broncos and Cincy, or
It's your team.
the Panthers and the Bucs. I'm allowing myself one.
Is that a gamble?
Like a money line or like SGP?
No. Like
you
straight
can
up, like,
argue the
win out.
Broncos are a better team than the Bengals.
They are.
Picking against his team.
I'm
not
terrified. Which is why I'm allowing myself one, is what I'm saying,
feel
which
like that's
I was
crazy.
going to use it on the Broncos.
Is that not crazy?
He was telling me in the car.
Thank you.
You're also a big Bryce Young guy, so.
Huge Bryce Young
Exactly,
guy.
and he's been hooping.
He's supposed
And the
to be
defense
what?
is playing better.
Dehls. It's just not crazy.
Kind of that guy.
He's trying to win a pick'em chip. I get it.
That's
Over your-
that's really what
I
it
get
is.
it.
I'm
Over
I'm
your
down.
fandom? I feel like that's a
You
little
know
crazy
what?
to me.
Shut the fuck up. Give me the Carolina Panthers.
There we go.
Good job. Dolphins versus Browns. Well, you picked the Bucs, right?
I did.
You picked the Bucs.
Come on,
sir.
baby. Come on. Come on.
I'm going with
Come
Baker.
on. Let's put him
you know
on
I'm
the
a Baker guy.
He is a Baker guy.
And you're not a Bryce Young guy. I forgot.
Yes, I can't.
Yeah, you're
Unfortunately.
hiding.
That can is
He should-
hilarious.
Yo, honestly, all the short players should be your favorite players. You need to ride for the short kings.
Are you a Kevin Hart fan?
Kind of hate all
He
this
loves
shit,
him.
I love Kevin Hart.
He
that.
hates all of them.
K1.
If they're short,
Bryce
he wants
Young.
nothing to
Are
do
you a
with
Cat
them.
Williams guy?
I like him. I
Cat's
wouldn't
a
say he's my
goat.
favorite.
Okay.
No, I can.
He said that Kevin Hart's his idol.
I respect the shit out
I
of
bought
that.
his book. Yeah.
I
bought his
respect
book.
the fuck
I read
out of
You
him.
his book
should
in like
love
2 days.
Bryce.
Kevin Hart's a guy.
K1, you should fuck with. Who's another short, objectively short
He loves
quarterback?
Baker.
Baker's kind of on the short side.
Well,
That's
Drew
fair.
Brees was one of my goats.
That's a
Short.
fact.
So you
Drew Brees
should
is
love
short.
Tua. Tua's not that tall. He's like 6 foot, but fair.
Tua
Dolphins,
wouldn't be
Jets.
called short though.
He's like 6'1". I
That's
agree.
above.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
but that's,
That's
like
Michael
bait.
Vick height.
Is Michael
Michael
Vick
Vick is
6'1"?
around 6'1", yeah.
foot,
Demon.
Yep. Jalen Hurts is like 6'1",
He is.
still short
He
as hell.
is.
but that's.
I'm trying to get like on the 5 side.
Yeah, like under 6 would be the short
facts.
guys. You know, I respect that.
Yeah.
Like you may not think like they're not that great, but like you know what? I'm rooting for those guys.
Maybe it's just not an NFL thing. You know, NBA, I was an Isaiah Thomas fan, so.
You're not really an AI guy. You hate how culturally impactful he was.
What? I hate how
He's
culturally
lying.
impactful.
I lied immediately. Yeah, I lied immediately.
Come on,
Yeah.
take the Panthers.
I hated how that thug dressed.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going with the Bucs. Dolphins versus Browns.
Miami.
Come on, baby.
Is he in Cleveland?
I
DTR
think
is
this might be
playing.
a
It is
bad
in Cleveland.
weather.
What's the
Sunshine
weather
State.
in Cleveland?
That's what I was gonna say. I think
Tell
it's a
me
bad
that
weather
right
game.
now.
I'll
I'm
look it
going
up.
with the Dolphins. I don't need to know all that information.
I do, because
Yeah.
you know, two
Hey,
could
look,
lose the
Jerome
game.
Ford been cooking.
He has been.
Nah, give me Miami. Fuck it. I don't even care at this point.
The weather in Cleveland Sunday, 90% chance of rain.
I have a feeling we're gonna have a little bit differencing of opinions here.
Yeah, give me Miami.
Come on, Dehls. What do you have next game?
Green Bay, Minnesota.
This is clean sweep Dolphins.
Yeah.
We're all going, okay.
Of course.
Packers versus Vikings.
I got the Vikings.
Give me Minnesota.
I got my
Jettas.
Vikings.
You punk bitch.
Vikings are the better team.
Kidding?
So
Vikings
the
are the
Packers will
better
go
team.
the whole year without beating a good
Against a good team? None.
Jair Alexander's not playing again.
team. Is he gonna play in the playoffs?
That they're probably reserving him now, so he does play in the
Yo,
playoffs.
bro, he hasn't played in mad long.
No, but listen, I can't trust the Packers' slow start to games. I don't think they looked the cleanest against the Seahawks. They didn't look the best against the Saints. And I think Sam Darnold's playing at a very high level. They don't have the corners to cover Jefferson or Addison. And the Vikings defense is legit. When Blake Cashman plays, they are
legend.
one of the best units in the league. I'm going with the Vikings. I just think they're a better team. And I think
They are.
they feel more like a 1 seed, which is what they're playing for right now, because they can still get it if they win this week and beat the Lions next week. They feel more like that than the Packers do. So I'm going with the Vikings.
Taking the Vikings too.
Oh, wow.
I'm hurt.
I thought you were going to take the
Would
Packers.
have loved someone different. No.
Well, this is your time to shine.
Why did
'Cause
you think I was going to take the Packers?
I don't know.
I was the only one who took the Vikings last week, right?
Cap.
Or did someone else? Did you take them?
Who they play?
Seahawks.
I
took the Seahawks.
I took the Vikings. You know, I take Jettas a good amount of
I
time.
think I took the Vikings too.
Maybe I'm tripping.
No, yeah, y'all did
Jettis-
take the Vikings. I took
Jettis
the
had a
Seahawks.
big cock game too. It felt amazing.
He's a
Darnold
daddy.
just made one of them him throws.
Hey, that's where Darnold
Couldn't
gets that
complain.
from that 30 mil close to that 50. Win these games.
Hey, brother, listen.
Well,
As
this
long
is your
as-
time to shine, Drew, because you have Michael Penix Jr.
I'm
the
excited
Falcons
as fuck for this
Penix
game.
party,
versus the
baby.
If
Commanders.
Darnold can get Jettis to the Super
Marshawn
Bowl,
Lattimore's not playing.
nobody can stop me.
Yeah, he might.
So-
I don't remember Cook, man.
I really, really, really would love to see the Penix man go out there and ball out.
Falcons versus who?
Commanders.
Commanders.
Sunday
I think
Night
he
Football.
will. I think he will play well. Drake London got listed as questionable. I think.
I feel like he's been
I
questionable
think
all
that
year.
Washington's locked in the playoffs, right?
They're pretty close to it.
Oh,
They could
yeah,
still
Drake
miss
London's
it
off
if like
injury
some
report.
weird
He is.
stuff
Thank-
happens.
That's huge.
But they're close to it.
I'm still gonna take the Commanders though.
Commanders home.
They are
Give
home.
me Commanders.
Taking the Commanders as well, but this is thank God Kirk got benched because this is a game I'm excited to watch.
Primetime game too.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Turn me
is
the fuck
this is
on.
one of
To
those
watch this
games
game.
that wait, hold up. I would have loved Kirk coming back to Washington. You know, that's a story.
We've already seen it.
Yeah,
Next.
Hey, respect
We've
Captain
already seen
Kirk.
it. I love
Can he
Kirk.
retire?
Kirk.
They're gonna
Yeah.
cut him at the end of this year.
I'm saying he might as well just
I
retire.
mean, he could retire.
Like,
if
call
he
it a
wants
day.
to.
He probably
You
might
know what
lose
I
out that
really would
bread if
like?
he retires.
Kirk Cousins be a backup to Bo. Give him a little tutelage. We need a real.
He's gonna try to start.
We need a
somewhere
real
next year.
backup.
He'll go to like the Raiders.
He
Pittsburgh.
can't. I think it would hurt him to go to a place where he's the best quarterback there and not playing.
He got benched for a rookie.
Eh, fair.
Hold that.
Politics.
That's
He's just ass.
He's done shit.
You can fake swindle that. Atlanta, Michael Penix, Black. You can finesse that. You can dead
They
ass
gave
finesse
Kirk
that.
160 million. They were
Never
begging for him to
mind.
be good.
I forgot the money.
They
You
really
cannot
wanted
finesse
him
that.
bad.
No, I think the Falcons have a shot in this game because they can run the ball with Bijan. The Commanders don't have a good run defense, and their secondary is a little bit vulnerable. Marshawn Lattimore is not going to be out there, and I think this is going to be a really close game. I just still have to see one more week of the Falcons defense actually doing something for me to believe in them, because the Falcons defense has been playing better since their bye week, but the competition hasn't been the best. So I don't know how much stock I'll put into that. And
Their
the
run
Commanders-
defense has been solid.
Yeah,
The Falcons all year.
and the Commanders are one of the best offenses in the league. So I'm going with the Commanders. I'm going with Jaden Daniels.
As you should.
Jaden.
Lions versus 49ers. NFC
Lions.
Championship rematch.
Lions.
Lions.
I'll tell you what.
I'm going with the Lions.
What we need desperately.
What is it?
We need this game to be over in the first half. Bench everyone. Bench everyone. Don't need a single player to go.
So nobody gets injured.
No
That's it.
Gibbs, Amon Ra.
Take it easy, and then I coast to my third chip in a row. That's it.
Don't you have Kittle?
Yes, I do. But the guy G has Goff. He has
got
Jahmyr Gibbs, and I believe he has one other player in this game who I'm blanking off the top of my head. We need them to do minimal. And I'm
Circling back to
Yes.
the game earlier.
Game of the week.
Broncos versus Bengals.
Saturday
I
football.
got Denver.
I love you. I don't feel good about this.
The weather scares me because it's supposed to rain a fuck ton.
And that's where we
which
can
make
take
it
advantage,
ugly.
baby.
I agree. No, I
That's where
definitely
the
agree.
Bengals could take advantage.
But I also
too.
think Chase
Who?
Brown.
You think
can
Chase
do
Brown's
his thing
running on
too.
us?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if it's raining, a Bo Nix 4 interception game is not out the question.
To that bum ass Bengals defense.
Yeah.
You don't know Bo
If
Nix.
it's raining,
Get ready to
yes.
learn Bo Nix.
You know, he's the worst
see what the
quarterback
updated
between
weather
the
looks
10 to
like.
19 yard area in the league.
Terror, I'm crying.
Who has the most 20+ yard passes? Who?
Yeah. It's a good area of his. It's good.
Say Daddy Bo Nix.
It's a good area of his. We'll see. You know, if it's raining. and
Okay,
you can't
it
run
actually
the
looks
ball-
like the rain probability has come down some.
Okay.
Bo Daddy.
It's
Thanks,
55%.
Weatherman Dehls.
No problem. This matters, especially for fantasy. I've been stressing.
You know
Fucking
who's
Jamar
back?
Chase.
You know who's back?
Talk to me. Is it one of our guys?
The white man. Jackie Robinson
I don't think it's gonna rain.
2.0. Riley Moss. He's back. We get him
That's
to-
huge.
No, that's enormous.
Is he
And
locking
now we get back
Chase?
to a little bit more man coverage. What does that mean to me?
PS2.
PS2,
is locking
Jamar Chase, prime time. Do I think he'll shadow the whole time? Probably not.
He's gonna get McMillan matchups, and he's gonna.
And he's gonna kill him.
I hope he does.
Part of me does.
I have Chase. in
I need
Dynasty.
one play. Well, shake on it.
I need 25.
Okay, again, that can happen in one play.
Maybe a couple.
80-yard bomb.
80-yard
One
bomb.
play. That's it. We get it out the way.
8, 14 bonuses. That's like 18
Exactly.
right there.
That's firm.
They need to use Pat Surtain's talents to guard somebody like Andre Yoshivas, who's been
Nah,
a touchdown
and that's
machine.
where I need to see McMillan fucking shine. You go out there and you put the clamps on Yoshi. But Riley Moss back. All the noise that I've been talking while he's been gone, how essential he is to this defense. We're winning this game. We're clinching our spot. in the playoffs.
This is the
and
clincher?
history rewrites itself.
If you win this, the clincher?
Yes, the last time we clinched the playoffs, exact same date, December 28th,
Tough.
against who?
Cincy.
The exact same team, the Cincinnati Bengals. History writes itself.
And it was defense led back then too. So,
And Bo Nix makes the playoffs before the Jets.
Who do you got?
well, I got the Bengals and Joe Burrow.
I'm taking the Bengals too.
We needed that. I'm fine with this. You're my fucking guy.
Let's do it. I don't know, just like Cincinnati beat a good team challenge. They failed all year.
This could be their success right here.
Yeah, I mean,
They win.
They fucking suck. So, Denver's somewhat okay.
Yo, and nothing was more huge than the Chiefs waxing the Steelers. And now week 18 means nothing for them.
And they should sit because Chris Jones is banged up. Mahomes has been banged
Might
up.
as well, yeah.
Kelsey
No,
looks
really.
banged up.
Unless you get a Carson Wentz masterclass game, the Broncos should win.
Making the playoffs.
That's not out the realm of possibility.
Absolute. What's the picture? Absolute cinema.
If we lose, I'll throw the fuck up. I'll be so sad. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
You might not.
I'm not showing
Yeah,
up.
you should.
If say
I'm
week
taking the
18
week off.
or this game.
No. If we
it's
miss the
about-
playoffs,
Oh,
If they lose to Carson Wentz,
if we miss the playoffs, the
dots
next
him up.
it's
show.
just do the Chiefs want to do it like out of spite? Be like, all right, first half we're just gonna have Mahomes and then play. Sit the second half because you got the bye week.
Unless
right?
the first half, they just really just have their
Wax
starters
us.
and they just like.
I don't know if I don't know if they can
They can't
wax you in a
wax
half.
us. They
I don't think
can't.
they can.
I say you let Carson Wentz go out there.
But just like, can they keep it close enough where it's like 13-10 at half, 13-7? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm telling you, we have Riley back. We're
So-
up.
Yeah.
We're up.
That's a huge addition.
He's so
Yeah.
dirty, it's crazy. Like, I'm being so
Putting
serious.
on
He's
for
one of the
white corners,
better
man.
secondary man corners
out,
in the
man.
league.
Shout out.
Now the NBA had a great Christmas game slate,
It was amazing.
and did it prove that the NBA is Christmas is the
back.
NBA's day? Because LeBron James told the NFL,
That's my
Christmas
dog.
is our day.
Hey, I'll say we were talking about this in the car. I love the NFL.
You guys have a lot of car
but
conversations.
we have a ton of
We
car
do.
conversations. You should be there, bro. You don't know.
We'll pick you up and we'll drive back
around
to your
the block.
house.
Pick
It's
him up
not
first, then pick me
practical.
up.
The NFL in these late season weeks when you have football Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, it just takes away from the game a little bit. I don't know if it's just me, but especially because it's like fantasy playoffs, fantasy championship week. That's why the NFL is so damn good, is because it's mostly Sunday where like everyone gets together and you watch the games and there's 13 games on. It kind of falls off. Like, I love watching football on Christmas, don't get me wrong, but it takes away from the sport a bit when there's just so many games.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
personally, if it's a slate of NBA games on and a slate of NFL games on football Christmas, I'm watching the NBA 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think the product could be made better just by players getting more rest, because it is kind of fucked up what the NFL does to these players, where you play on Sunday and then you play Wednesday.
We saw this is all Saturday teams.
Oh yeah, Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you only get really 3 days
But then
of rest.
after Wednesday, you fake get a long ass
The
break.
Chiefs
do.
had 3 games in 11 days.
Yeah.
That's
Jets had that early in the
inhumane.
season. It's happened
And
to
it's-
They won all of them.
You got to think about it. Like every, they did. They really did. Every NFL game is car crashes happening every single play. These offensive linemen are ramming into defensive linemen
Wow.
for like 60 plays a day or a game. That is
60
taking a
minutes of ramming?
yeah. It's a lot. It's a big toll on the body, and it is.
We need help,
It's
man.
a big toll on the body, and John Gruden spoke about it. He
He
said
did.
that
I'm glad you're bringing
he
this up.
doesn't
Hey,
he doesn't
makes some
like
great content, man.
he does.
Cut it
Gruden
out.
makes some elite content.
Calm down.
We're getting crazy. here.
Calm
He's
down.
uncancelable.
I disagree, but
No,
Jalen Brown got 44. God damn.
he makes me laugh.
anytime you disrespect Jalen Brown, what does he go and do? He proves you wrong
How much is-
every
how much
single
does Hallie have?
fucking
That's really
time.
all I care about.
Deflecting, smart.
Hallie's got 16 and 9.
What's the field goal?
6 for 13. 3 for 8
Calm.
from 3.
Calm.
2 turnovers.
That shit sucks, bro.
That's like
I'm not
38% from
moved.
3.
That's what prime Steve Nash was giving you.
No, you have to stop. Like, really, seriously,
Nah, it's
dead
just
ass.
yesterday's
No,
game was natural.
You're the
Those
one that
numbers.
said he's Steve Nash.
Obviously, inflation. If you bump that up per 36, he's probably at like 22 and 12.
give me those numbers, and then maybe I'll agree with you.
Have you saw Hallie's last game?
OKC was
my
crazy.
God.
Yeah, I know he
That was
played bad
crazy.
against OKC. I'm not invested into Hallie this year.
Y'all saw Caruso's
Oh,
contract.
Must be nice.
Must be
nice.
Cut his ass off.
You just dropped him from the team?
No.
This man was room for Cam Reddish for 6 years.
Yo, he was in your favorite players.
He's one of
What is he? What? Yo, you're shameless.
he's one of those stocks that I'm not gonna look at
This is
until
a
a year from now.
stock.
Yeah.
This is a stock.
The stock is down right
So
now.
I should sell all my Zion stock,
No,
right?
not yet.
You're a fan. I
Not
thought.
yet.
I should have sold my Zach
low.
Levine stock, right?
It's low.
No, but we're back the fuck up
Because
Zach Levine's a
you
hooper.
invested so high that if you sell now, you're gonna lose your
I
money.
know, because when I'm locked in, I'm locked in.
I know. So you gotta at least wait to see if
Like
you can get a
Austin
return
Reeves,
on it.
remember when he was talking this trash to me? And what does Austin Reeves go and do? He fries one of his favorite players, takes him off the dribble for the lay to end the game.
You saw Kaminga that play just
Yeah,
back.
he's just back to the basket. Yeah, that was
My
ridiculous.
goodness. No, but no, I'm not paying attention to what Hallie does this
It's
year.
easy to pay attention to some ass cheeks. That's not ass cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not good ass. I get it.
Listen,
But it's
the
not
Pacers
good
in
ass.
general are
Like
just a mess this
when you walk down the block and it's not good ass, it's easy to just walk
You're not
past
turning
not
your
good
head
ass.
back.
You're
You're not
not
turning
looking back
around.
like
No,
damn.
no.
Like, but if it's good ass, you definitely gonna turn like, oh, what the fuck's that? Like this ain't good ass. This is literally flat butt, like straight back cheeks. Like this ain't shit, man.
The
So, of
topic
course you're
was
not looking.
John Gruden and these NFL players just inhumane, only getting like 3 days of rest after like such a physical contact sport that they play. And it also ruins gameplay. Like he talked about how, they don't fully prepare for like red zone offenses, third down offenses, just a bunch of nuances to the game that, if they rested more, the product would be better. But NBA Christmas was amazing. They had their 84% bump in viewership from last year. Now the NFL still dominated. It's the NFL. I mean, 25 million views for both games. I mean, they were out of this world. The peak viewership for the NBA was like 8 mil for the Lakers and Warriors game. But it was a great slate. You had Wemby, you had the Knicks who are good now, and when the Knicks are good, that's gonna create buzz around the league in general. Celtics versus the healthy Sixers, and the big three played for them. That was a sigh of relief.
No, the big three did play. Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid,
Caleb Martin.
and Caleb Martin.
Fucking Caleb Martin, man.
PG's been their best defensive player. That's all I got for you. That's all I got
Caleb
for
Martin
you.
hit 8 threes? What was it? Something
ridiculous.
No,
stupid?
Tyrese Maxey's like a bona fide just bucket getter.
You saw Perk said that he's the best player on the Sixers?
Believe
Maxey?
it. He's the most available.
Maxey.
I mean, this year probably.
Yeah.
I hated him. I hated hearing it, though.
Embiid hasn't
He's
been
the
good when
most
he's played.
available, but they've been losing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Big,
His efficiency has
biggest
not
win of the
been good.
season yesterday.
Well, he's always out there fucking
Like
by himself.
Maxey's better than Paul George. I'm not going to argue that, not even a little bit. That's a fact. That being said, to call him the best player on the Sixers just because he's available, so what? Harden's the best player on the Clippers.
Well, he is.
He's available.
But if Kawhi Leonard comes and plays tomorrow, you're saying Kawhi's the best player. That's all I'm
reasonable.
saying.
we have to see it for sure. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But like Embiid's been,
That's all I mean.
Embiid's been playing. He's been ass.
Is that not reasonable?
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
The
he's
game
ass.
was, against the Celtics, he was really good.
He was, but he's been like majority of the year when Embiid plays, he's not been good.
I agree.
He's just been kind of like.
Can I say this? Ratings wise, like you mentioned, yeah, the NFL, I guess, is superior in that
NBA's
regard.
product was better though.
But dude, it was night and day what I would rather have watched. I was doing both because obviously we have a job to do. However, I was watching basketball more than I was watching football.
It's more games.
The first game was insanely great. We get a Wemby masterclass, and Mikal Bridges has his best game of the season. So great that he's been playing really well in this month of December. But this could be the game that we point to and say, from this game on, Mikal Bridges figured it out, and now the Knicks offense is really locked and ready to
Some
go.
people slept on him.
Damn, are you telling me we could take stats from certain dates and keep going?
No, imagine, isn't that something? No, isn't that something? Yeah, I won't proceed on that.
The Bo Knicks debate.
there we go.
We can't use stats.
Let's
from
not get
week
back to that, please.
Because you
It's
saw
not that you can.
Because you know the show after, he did the exact same thing.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't. What he
The
said?
people in the comments section called it out.
It's not that you can't, but if you're making a full analysis of
I
a
shouldn't have brought
player,
it up.
It's your fault.
I know.
That being said,
if you use a full analysis of a player, you're not going to just discount
I guess
a
it's only right
quarter
when
of
they're
their
rookies.
games.
They're rookies. But hey, what do I know? I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I know a thing or two. However, you get a Wemby masterpiece, so much so that is Wemby the best two-way player in basketball? Maybe that's a conversation for another day. Then Mikal Bridges and the Knicks, they find a way to claw out a pretty gritty win. Very strong clutch offense down the stretch and really great defense. Really shut down Wemby and the Spurs as a whole for the last 5 minutes of the game. And they made some big time shots. Credit to Mikal, he took over that whole fourth quarter, majority of the game, but really that fourth quarter, the clutch shots that he was hitting off the dribble, fading backwards, getting downhill, he was fantastic. The player of the game for the Knicks,
It's Manhattan Bridges.
Cook. I love that.
Stuff.
I love that.
I liked it, honestly.
Then the Mavs and the Wolves, we lose one of the game's best in Luka Doncic. That's the hugest blow of the day. It's horrendous that obviously he's going to be out for an extended period of time. The Wolves found a way to almost blow that game. And you give credit to the Mavericks for making it an interesting game. Every game was close. And Riv, you had the tweet saying people didn't want to see LeBron and Steph. They were just trying to get a tweet off, trying to get interactions and try to get people to give them some level of attention. Because if you know anything about the NBA and basketball, when LeBron and Steph match up, it is always an amazing game. It's never been bad. In the last 5 years, the two match up, it's an amazing game. And you have this game where Steph Curry finds a way to make it a tie game, and where a game where the Lakers should close it out 100%. Steph is amazing. Hits two of the more improbable threes that maybe only Steph Curry is the only player in NBA history to go ahead and do something like that. And then Reeves to be the guy, not LeBron, who had 31 in his own right, but Reeves to go ahead and have a triple-double against one of the better defenders, and Wiggins take him off the dribble, win the game. Just wanted to make sure I reiterated that for you, Riv. Amazing game. And then to end the night, the Suns and the Nuggets, I guess you could say was the most boring game, but even still, it was good hoops. We watched good hoops the entire day. The Sixers upset the Celtics. That's something that we didn't expect. This was the best version of the NBA, and I'm glad that it was highlighted on Christmas Day.
I don't like monopolies. Sometimes I like playing the game. Sometimes it takes way too long to finish it. So sometimes I don't even like playing the game. But the NFL is trying to monopolize entertainment with just the days of the week they're trying to control.
Facts.
Sunday Night Football, they control that. We all know Sunday is the NFL's day.
Yes, sir.
Then they've branched out to Monday. Then they've branched out to
Monday.
Thursday. Then they've branched out to Saturday.
Love it.
Thursday's
Love
coming.
Saturday.
They have Black Friday.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that much.
Now they have Christmas. They're trying
Christmas
to
awesome.
control the sports landscape, and they're directly competing with the NBA. Now, if the NFL figures it out next year and puts a better product out there, the ratings for them are still going to be really good. But, the NBA has a really good product, and I think, Dehls, you had this tweet about it's a lot of nostalgia on why people are down on the NBA, and I think that is true. I like the way that Kevin Durant defended it, and I find it odd that in every single sports league, really, when we talk about the NFL and MLB, they have done the best job at trying to maximize offense. But when the NBA does it, it becomes a problem, but it's not a problem for other leagues. I think that Kevin Durant's conversation just with a regular fan was very eye-opening because he just talked about the progression of the game, just defending the amount of threes being taken. People are asking for balance, but what's the perfect balance? Defending today's defense and how it's tougher. And it's refreshing to hear that from somebody who's played in the league for so long, because that's a perspective of somebody that has really played in three different eras, in the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. So who better to know how much the NBA has changed and how it feels now, than Kevin Durant. And same thing goes for LeBron James, who has played for 20 years in the league.
Yeah, I think that the NBA, the NBA for the sport itself didn't really need it, but they just need this just for social media to shut up for a couple days, because I think there's issues with the NBA. If you want to complain about refs and ticky-tack fouls, I think that's fine. When you talk about maybe defensive effort night to night, I think that's fine. But I also think you could go back to watch a random game from the 2010s or the 2000s. You're going to find some issues. There's never been a time in any sport where the entire population is happy with the referees, happy with calls being made. Was it more physical back in the day? Sure, but you're still going to have calls or flagrants or texts, whatever, that you don't agree with. So that's really the only thing that I understand other people's point of view. But yeah, I really still think that a lot of it just goes back to nostalgia and people just, I don't know, fucking thinking these 87 to 74 games. There's games in the finals where teams are scoring less than 80 or 90 points back in the 90s and 2000s. And I generally don't think a majority of people are going to find that more entertaining than what we have in today's game. But I thought it was great for the NBA. All of the games were fantastic. The Warriors and Lakers probably had game of the night, even though the Wemby masterclass was fucking crazy in itself. Some of the shots he was hitting, took him over threes. He missed his first four. I was stressing a little bit, but hit it. But no, it was a great day, great slate, because I'm the opposite of you, Riv. If there's a slate of NFL and a slate of NBA outside Boston, I'm watching the NFL slate. But I got lucky because the NFL games were both basically over at halftime. It felt, at least the Ravens game was. So I was like, all right, bet I could go watch and lock in on the NBA. And it's also 3 out of the 5 NBA games were all like after the football game, so you're able to watch or get at least a part of both sports. But it was great. I do think the NBA is Christmas, right? Like football's got Thanksgiving. The NBA doesn't try to touch it. No, I respect that. The NFL, maybe just because it's like, I don't know what they're gonna do. It's on like a Tuesday. They're just not gonna play. Like I guess that's the only day of the week they can't play because they're doing Wednesdays. Maybe they're like fucking I don't know what they're gonna do.
Extend the Monday night game, not Monday. It's Tuesday now.
Some shit, yeah. But no, overall, I think what LeBron said. I think he should have said that. I think you're LeBron James. You hear all the discussion about the ratings and all the bullshit.
No, LeBron on the broadcast.
Saying like, listen, I love the NFL. The NBA is our day, because he was right. He saw the product that was out in the NFL. He saw the product that was out in the NBA. It wasn't even close. The NBA gave you far more entertainment than the NFL did. So I think it was good for him.
He also kind of shitted on it like a week earlier.
What?
LeBron.
Oh, about the threes? He did.
No, but he's talking about the game itself, though. He's talking about the league.
He's talking about Christmas Day is our day.
Yeah, I agree. Like Christmas Day is the NBA.
I do wish though there was, and I've seen people tweet about this. I want to feel like Christmas. Bring the Christmas uniforms back. Make it feel like
I mean, they brought the
special.
commercial back, so you would assume they'd bring back some form of different outlook.
I think the NBA has to work on the branding, like the NBA Finals trophy not being on the court for the finals. They just have to work on presentation more. Like the NBA in-season tournament courts suck.
Yeah, they tried. I listen. The Christmas games.
Yeah,
are lit.
you don't like them?
At least they try something different though. Like for Christmas, I want like put a fucking tree out there or some shit. I don't know. Do
Just
something.
get the different jerseys. Like when we used to have the sleeve jerseys.
Make the
for
ball
Christmas,
green?
She used to be
Might be
lit.
too far.
Okay.
Nuts.
Put bells on the nets.
Wow, it's fire.
Fried.
Would it get annoying after a while?
No.
I mean, we won't really hear it too much. Yeah.
Think about it. When you shot on a metal net, did you hate it? On a chain net, did you hate it? No, it's one of the more
necessarily. You just
satisfying
play through it.
swishes.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
But we watching it. It's different than playing through it than watching it. You know, watching it, we're probably like, God damn, this shit's probably fucking annoying.
Facts.
You know?
But
playing through it, you're just like, fuck it, I'm hooping. Like I just
It's
wanna-
not
Now,
loud.
when you hear that chain snap though, when you go and you catch a all net,
That's fair.
it's a good noise.
That's facts. I just think like LeBron spoke the truth. Christmas is the NBA day. It's been like that since we were kids. NFL Thursday. I mean NFL's Thanksgiving. And then it helped that the product was great that day. You know, if the product was ass, then you know, especially his game. His game was easily game of the night. You know, game of the day for sure. And of course, you know, he probably felt like he had to go in there, and they had to put on a great game. I think. What you said about NFL monopolizing like the certain days of the week, I think that's an interesting point because you see the NFL kind of trying to maybe not because like, for example, my grandma, my aunt, they don't watch a lick of football. But what does the NFL do to get old people to watch? Beyonce's performing at the halftime show. So if Beyonce's performing,
cooked.
my grandmother sat there through 2 quarters. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on, but she's like, I'm gonna wait here until Beyonce gets here. And she sat there. She got me sitting here answering 50 questions. Oh, what does third down mean? Oh, what did he do? He just how they get 2 points? Now I got to answer all these dumbass questions. And then halftime hit. Halftime's over. She left. Literally left the living room. Now I can turn the game on. So using those type of ways to try to get more fans, and I'll fuck with it. I get it because at the end of the day, NFL is ahead of NBA, but you're still always in a constant competition because NBA is always constantly growing. I think NBA is probably more global than the
It is,
NFL.
100%.
Yeah, so
Yes,
you know you're always in that constant battle. NFL, NBA, then there's like a gap between the other sports. But you know the product they put out there was dope. We got Wemby, masterclass. Got the old heads putting on the show. Love to see that. I just think fans are a little bit upset with the lack of production or the lack of enhancement of the younger products we have, like an Oklahoma City Thunder, like a Cleveland Cavaliers, like Houston Rockets, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Not having Giannis on Christmas Day too.
He's
older, obviously.
but I think like LeBron, Steph, KD, they're not gonna be here forever. They had a little interview. Steph and like they might not be here next year, all three of them together. So you have to start building and producing these next crop of stars and having a bit more balance. Like we had a game, I forgot what game it was that was on NBA TV when it should have been a game that was on prime time. Like it was straight. You had to go league pass. I think it was OKC in Houston. Yep, it was during the play-in tournament, and that game wasn't like on regular TV. Like you had to jump through hoops to watch the game, and it's like certain shit like that. So I think that's what fans are more upset about. Like you have to start producing the young talent because these old players are not going to be able to carry.
I think Bill Simmons said it like this: it's part of the solution, and one of the biggest problems is Steph and LeBron. You have this amazing of a game between two arguably top 10 wherever you have Steph, but you have one of the greatest ever in LeBron and one of the greatest ever in Curry going head to head, and it's an amazing game, but like you mentioned, they're getting older. LeBron's not going to be here forever. Steph and LeBron have been actively talking about retirement. This is the most that Steph maybe ever spoken about it, but LeBron's been talking about it for a couple of years now. They're going to be gone. Who is next in line to go ahead and take the mantle from them that's going to draw the 8 million viewers, that's going to go ahead and bring up viewership from over 50 to 80%? Because, again, LeBron and Steph are going to an end very, very soon. That's why it was awesome that you had a game like the 12 o'clock game where you had Wemby going off, because Wemby, for a majority of the rest of his career, most likely will be playing on Christmas Day. We need SGA on Christmas Day because he's one of the future faces, already one of the faces of the league. Having Anthony Edwards playing makes obvious sense, but we need Giannis. And I've been vocal on this. I still think, regardless, Giannis is one of the most brandable, one of the most entertaining players that the league has. They need to make sure on days like Christmas that they have him on the court. They have a great amount of young talent that I just think they need to do a better job of advertising. And you'll have more moments like the LeBron and Steph, because there are young players that are building their own legacies right now. You can't have KD and Jokic playing the 10 o'clock game. Jokic is the best player in the league. At 10 o'clock, unless you're in the West Coast and unless you're a diehard basketball fan, you're not waiting till 10 p.m. to watch Jokic. That's really the reality. And now for a casual fan that maybe was interested in seeing KD and Jokic match up, now you're not watching that. And now that's a bummer, because your best player should be the one that you're go ahead and you're showing at a reasonable hour.
Yeah. You also have to find like guys who are like SGA, for example. Love his game, love him to death. But some people, like, you have legitimate fans that complain about, the way he plays. Kind of similar how people used to complain about James Harden, the way he played. SGA, there's a lot of fans that don't like the general view of how he plays basketball. I love it.
It's amazing.
But like, so you have that, and then you try to put them on, and then not fans are too much interested. Where with Steph, with LeBron, they're nonstop entertainment. I mean, who doesn't love a guy running around 50 to 30 screens, shooting threes from 40 feet, and then yelling and screaming, doing fake ass dance moves after he makes it? It's like, so you got to just find, like, Ant-Man would be dope, and that's why they have him. They're trying to prop him up, Bill, because he has the swagger, he has the attitude, he has the athleticism, he has the game. So he has that type of swagger and demeanor that you can kind of prop up. So I think Luka is kind of just brings in that European flag. I think with the Joker, it's tough because he cares about basketball, but I feel like he doesn't care about the outside stuff, the branding. He just wants to hoop.
Big picture,
yeah, he just wants to hoop, win a championship, to go back to his family, like the simple life. So I think with Giannis, they used to do it with Giannis. I don't know what happened. Like, I feel like, actually, I just really don't know. Like, he's been on Christmas.
The Bucs have been playing good basketball too.
I genuinely don't know what happened.
Goes back to what you were saying, and Jokic started. Give him his credit too, because he was saying December 1st, that's when they should start to formulate when or who is playing on Christmas Day. And I still think, in hindsight, they did a great job with matchups. It was an amazing game.
I'd only switch out the Sixers.
And
Make
still,
it
the
the
Sixers
Bucs,
ended up winning, or the Wolves too. I know, Ant-Man, we want to watch him, but the Wolves haven't been playing that great of basketball.
The Thunder.
And they went out and won a basketball game regardless.
Like, I think
know who we need to have on Christmas.
We need to have more.
John Gritty.
That's like.
John Moran is one of the most box office players that the league has.
But I understand why you're not putting Memphis on the start of the season.
I get why you're not putting up. I get it.
Not putting OKC
There's
is crazy.
There's very few teams
OKC
that
versus
played
Grizzlies would be viral.
that I feel like should have not had the spot. Like the Sixers, OKC versus Celtics would have been my game.
I'm not mad
This
at
is
that.
a finals
That would've been tough.
preview.
That's a banger.
Let's try to create a storyline on Christmas, because these teams are the two favorites according to Vegas to win their conference, and you could start a rivalry earlier on and before they meet up, and there could be some more tension going into a certain matchup. I think just to raise up the stakes.
But you can start building up those West-East matchups on Christmas too. Like, you have the West, you could have put OKC against Houston again, or Minnesota again, or some shit like that, or Denver versus the Suns. They've always been in the constant battles for a couple years.
Right, to go back to your point, the next time the Celtics and Thunder play, it's a Sunday at 3:30 on January 5th
fuck is watching?
on NBA TV.
Like, what, NBA TV.
January 5th?
Yeah.
AKA football.
Yep. It's week
NBA
18, but
TV.
it's an NBA TV
has
game, I'm
that?
pretty sure.
Comment if you have it.
But yeah, it's just
Fuck.
I don't know, that's an issue.
Like, what do we like? We got these big games, and we're just not doing enough.
I do think that, like, we know how great Wemby is, and I think this past game, probably for the national audience who, isn't on League Pass and watching Wemby, this hopefully opens some eyes. But bro, like, LeBron, KD, Steph, they're gonna go. Wemby's the guy. like we shout out to Luka, shout out to Ant, SGA, all of these guys who are gonna, win MVPs and championships and all of this stuff. Wemby's the next face, and I don't think it's that complicated. This is a dude that's 7'5", 7'6".
Oh, for sure.
Can handle like a guard, could shoot threes, and he's in year 2.
you need
What
a
he's
guy.
gonna be in 3 or 4 years is he's gonna be the best player in the world, and he's gonna be the best player in the world at 7'6". It's something we have never seen before. I'm really not that worried about the NBA because of Wemby.
You need another guy though. Like
What
LeBron,
they need is the Spurs to be good. They need the Spurs to be great, and they need to win
Wemby
championships.
already has a lot of marketing though. They have a lot of national television games this year. They had a lot last year too.
They did.
You need somebody to combat him. You had LeBron. Who was his combatant? You had Steph.
Do you
had
know who
Kevin
his
Durant.
combatant is?
You need other people.
The guy that he says is better than him. I'm using this jokingly. It's Chet Holmgren.
But he's not the
'Cause
box office guy on his team.
But
Well,
OKC
OKC
is
gonna be a
box
dynasty.
office.
But
That's
we don't.
exactly what it
but we don't
is.
even treat them as such right now.
Because the Spurs aren't great. You're saying that OKC is
it's
not
gonna be
box
OKC.
But the
office.
Spurs are treated as box office.
But because they have the box office name.
But
I
we
feel
don't.
like
No,
we just
I
need
don't
to
think
have
so.
patience with this.
He is the box office name. I'm talking about Wemby.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm saying no. What he's saying about Wemby is correct. Wemby is the
Yes.
face of the league, but Wemby needs a combatant. He needs somebody
think it's gonna
that
be OKC.
spears.
I think it
should
is
be,
Chet.
but they're not treating them like they
OKC,
are.
you're
They're not,
saying,
yeah,
yes,
OKC. They're not
agreed.
treating them like they
I feel
are.
like, maybe this is revisionist history, but when the Warriors bursted onto the scene when Steph broke out and they made the playoffs, and then the year after they got Iguodala, like I don't think the Warriors were treated like this next team in the league. They kind of just took it.
Yeah.
year?
I remember that 2014. Was it 2014 I'm thinking of?
He's correct. He's correct.
Really?
He's correct.
But
When they-
I remember
when they lost to
watching
the
the
Clippers-
WCF and thinking when they lost to the Spurs,
It wasn't in WCF.
whenever they
second
met
round.
second round, I remember watching that series thinking the Warriors are next.
They
The Warriors
lost
are
in the
here.
first round the next year to the Clippers.
Agreed, but you understood in that moment what you were watching. You were watching an ascending team.
For sure.
And they lost in the first round, made the power move of getting Steve Kerr, and ascended to now being a dynasty.
Because it was supposed to be the Clippers that really, with Chris Paul, Blake, DeAndre, they were supposed to be the ones like, all right, we're
Lob
also
City,
here.
yeah.
We got San Antonio.
But they gave
fumbled.
San Antonio, who, and
for
if
sure.
I'm not mistaken, they went to the finals that year against the
did.
Heat.
I think so.
We watched that series, and I'm like, whoa, this is well more competitive than I thought it should be.
sure.
This is what I'm watching, one of the more exciting teams. Look, I'm talking about, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, my
I'm just
point-
going back to being a kid, and that's how I felt. This was something I've never seen.
But you didn't
Yeah,
think
my-
Steph Curry
my point
MVP,
is that-
No,
Draymond
never
MVP,
that.
you
But
didn't
I
think
knew that the Warriors were next.
Yeah, my point is that the NBA back then, this team was ascending. They didn't instantly just put them in like the best slots on Christmas and
true.
stuff like that. They kind of waited until they kind of broke out.
it.
And I feel like with OKC, this year, could they have done a better job of marketing them? Yes, because I think OKC now, it's more obvious what they're going to be than what Golden State was going to be back then when they first began. But I think if OKC proves themselves and makes the finals this year, then next year they're going to be one of the most marketed teams in NBA.
But but even Golden State that year they lost in the first. They had a Christmas game. They was on Christmas. If I remember, Steph had the little. It was against the Clippers. That's because obviously the Clippers and the
This is 2014.
Yeah, I believe because the Clippers and the Warriors had those rivalries with him, Chris Paul. Chris Paul was like big bro. Then they're in the Steph's nice now, shit like that. They built something there. Then Steph and them boys, number 1 seed, they won a chip. Now it's like, all right, we're gonna force feed this. With OKC, I mean, you just was the number 1 seed. You just won 50 plus games. SGA was top 3 in MVP. He had 30 points a game. Now this year, it's like, kind of treat them like that.
They did have Christmas. Well, they went on a fucking heater. I'm looking at the 2013-2014 season. They did play on Christmas. They played against the Clippers. Riv, your mind is crazy.
Thanks, bro.
105. I said mind, not brain. Calm down.
It's both.
105. Cook. 105, 103. And then the
Interchangeable, I
year
don't know.
after, they played against the Celtics 104, 101 on Christmas Day.
And then Cavs after, right?
That was 2017.
So the NBA kind of realized they had lightning in a bottle and they took advantage
They
of
were
it.
cooking.
But I don't think OKC right now has that same effect that Warriors team had.
For sure. No.
And I think that Warriors team had like real momentum
New
behind it.
style too.
With Steph in the garden
you're
breaking
a
out.
demon. Yeah, they did play again in 15-16.
Yeah, they played the Cavs.
Holy fucking goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's the Clay Kyrie game, right?
No, that's
No,
16-17.
That's the year after.
Yes. That's when Kyrie hits the
This
fader
was
on him.
Kevin Love's first year.
Yes.
They just got their big three.
Yes.
Steph and them boy. Yeah, it was.
That's
something
when
to
Steph
them.
and them went.
Steph
It
career.
was
I know
easy,
everything.
they were the new rivalry of the NBA.
Yep.
It was very easy to do
Exactly
that.
how you just said Boston to OKC. Like how you should just start that now. It's exactly what
So
they
It was
did.
a banger. Well, not really. It was really defense. 89-83. Like,
Yeah.
that's basketball, right?
Some of it is just projection based, and some of it, they're trying to take advantage of the LeBron and Steph thing this year.
Shit does numbers.
Really, outside of that,
Doesn't miss.
Celtics and Sixers, Mavs and Wolves, conference finals
LeBron
rematch.
owns him.
So yeah, I think
Need help.
the slate could have been better, but I think it was.
got hurt.
It was.
He
good.
always gets hurt. That was just
That's not even true.
against the Warriors. Yes, he does. I don't think he's played the last
Yo,
5
how
meetings.
did it feel watching AR game? Yo,
Actually,
I've been so mad.
It didn't move me.
It was
25,
embarrassing.
10, and 10. Taking Wiggins off the dribble. Like, he said, "Oh, word."
Wiggins
done.
didn't even move his feet.
Nah, he
didn't
got caught in
slide.
quicksand.
That's how he plays defense.
He
Actually.
didn't even
He
slide.
got caught in quicksand.
Yeah, I mean, Steph did. I walked out with something.
Nah, OG.
I walked out
OD.
with something. So I'm
OD.
good, man. Listen, it was a great game. Steph did what he needed to do.
Yo, Max Christie. He's starting to move me again. I will save that for another day. His defense is fire.
Who's he guarding?
Honestly, he's getting AR tasks like he did a couple of years ago.
Who the fuck?
He
do
has
you
to guard
have?
the best.
So who did you put him on?
I don't know if he guarded Steph specifically.
shot.
There's no way.
I don't know who's guarding Steph. I think it was. Damn.
I'm more so talking in general. There's no one.
Yeah.
No one in planet Earth.
I don't know who Christie's main matchup was though, because Wiggins was killing. I don't think it was Wiggins either.
I'm talking generally. Christie has been playing really good basketball.
That's your eighth guy.
Doesn't he start
low key,
sometimes?
he's like seventh.
He's
Does he
pretty
start
valuable
sometimes?
for them.
I don't know if he starts.
That's terrible.
I'm telling you, he's been playing well.
I agree with you. It's just
He's
you're
like probably like the sixth best player on our team.
you're walking into the playoffs. Max Christie's your sixth best player.
I don't think so.
LeBron, AD,
Yep.
Reeves.
A lot of guys
Rui.
are better than
Is it better than
D'Lo.
D'Lo?
Connect. Is he better than D'Lo?
If you have to think about it, it's probably
He's not.
yes.
He's not better than D'Lo. He's not better than D'Lo.
Pretty mid team.
Pods airballed the floater yesterday. No Dehls.
He's lucky I like the Knicks.
Dehls. The rim is here.
No, it was horrible.
He did this.
Oh, yo, you know who else airballed a layup, a floater? Rudy Gobert.
Oh,
saw
facts he did. I
that.
seen
That
that
shit
shit.
was
Yeah, I seen that shit. Oh my god.
He's so bad.
He
Whoever
actually.
thinks he's good is dumb.
Yo, Sengun's killing this game.
So good for him.
How'd he hit that fadeaway shot against Denver, man? He used all of his fucking.
Yo, bro.
Every touch in his
yeah.
career all went into that one shot.
I respect the hell out of that. I'm happy for him, really. That shot was insane.
We got,
That'd
um,
be so sick, bro.
we got a couple of breaking news this week. We got two with the Kings and Mike Brown, and then with the Heat. We'll talk about the Heat first. Pat Riley came out and made it clear that they are not trading Jimmy Butler.
You said this was an L?
I don't get it.
This is a W.
He's leaving.
I didn't get what Dehls said when he said this is what bad
Yeah.
organizations do.
What bad organizations do
When did he say that?
He said that on Twitter. That's what.
me read
Yo,
his tweet.
OD, Joel. I'm
What bad
confused.
organizations do is they tie themselves to mediocre teams and to teams that will never get over the hump, and they let their tradable, valuable assets depreciate, like we saw with the Wizards and Bradley Beal. When you have a guy like Jimmy Butler, who still has value, go year after year after year, and is approaching his age 35 season, every year that passes, he gets less and less valuable. Now we're entering a year where he could potentially walk at the end of the season. And if you're Miami, you have three choices. Number one, you can let him walk in free agency for nothing and lose him and let him go. Number two, you could re-sign Jimmy Butler to whatever contract he wants, because if you want Jimmy Butler, you're going to have to pay him $40-50 million, whatever it is, and you're going to run back the same team with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, and you'll be in trade conversations for some star that you won't get, because that's how it's been for the last 5+ seasons, 10 seasons for the Miami Heat. Or your other option is to sit there and realize, we're not winning a championship. We're not going to bottom out because the bottom of the East is so fucking terrible. Jimmy Butler's the really only asset we have that we'd be willing to trade where we can still be competitive, but get some draft picks or maybe a young player back. That's what they should do. What's this Miami Heat gonna do? What's this Heat team gonna be?
Maybe this is a
first-round
hot
exit?
take, but like I don't think Jimmy Butler's valuable.
I don't think he's valuable either, but I would rather get something than let him walk
I think
for
that's
nothing.
rude.
I don't think he's valuable.
I think it's rude.
I
What do
don't.
you
You're
mean
not
by
getting no
that?
KD package
On the-
for him,
on
but
the
you're
trade
getting a couple
market-
picks.
Yeah,
on
he's
the
gonna
trade
expire.
market right now, and I've really been disappointed in how Jimmy Butler has approached this entire thing. The way that I look at what was going on with the Heat is that Pat Riley is doing what's best for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler's doing what's best for himself. There's nothing wrong with that. But Jimmy Butler, understanding this was a contract year, before the season, the Heat weren't willing to extend him because he wants a 2-year, $57.5 million per year extension. That's max money. Jimmy Butler is not a max player anymore. He has missed 20 games over the last 4 seasons, in each of those seasons. In the regular season, he doesn't produce like a max player.
You're right.
I know the playoff runs have been amazing, but
Incredible.
in the regular season, they are a playing team, and you need more from a max player. And if they extend him, they're gonna extend him until age 37.
Can I ask you a
can't
question?
do that.
I don't.
Why
I-
not trade him?
But this is where I'm headed right now.
Uh-huh.
Where Jimmy Butler was on a prove it deal. The Heat should have questions about him
For sure.
getting older, and this should have been a year where Jimmy Butler kind of put down some of that doubt and proved to the Heat that he could still play at a max level. But instead, this has been one of his worst seasons being on the Heat, and a trade request became public that now became a distraction. And any team that trades for Jimmy Butler, they have to trade for him with an extension in mind. This isn't Jimmy Butler just going to a team and becoming a rental. This is, okay, if I'm the Rockets, we're trading for Jimmy Butler, but I also have to commit to paying him a 2-year max salary because that's what he wants. Right now, he doesn't want a winning situation. He doesn't want a better situation. He wants to get paid.
That's not true. His top 3 destinations were teams that could, 2 of them that can potentially win.
And none of them can trade for him because they don't have the salary.
The Suns can.
With
They have to
who?
include Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal has to say yes.
Bradley Beal is not going nowhere.
Bradley Beal doesn't have. Does he still have a no trade?
He does.
He will always
He does.
have.
Still.
Yeah, if I'm Bradley Beal, why would I not sit there and be like, Miami Beach, I can go and get the ball more. I'm still gonna get my
If
money.
you're the Heat, why do you want Bradley Beal?
well, if
You have
you're,
to make the money
here's
work.
my problem with the Heat.
Is Bradley Beal a bad player?
No, he's not a bad player.
I'd rather let Jimmy Butler walk than get back
Yeah, but
Bradley Beal.
That's fine, but then why not just trade him
What-
away?
And what's Bradley Beal on? How many more years is he on this
like 2 more
contract?
years.
with no out.
It's not great.
Jimmy Butler has taken you to a finals. He's kept you in constant ECFs. He wants to get traded. Trade him. Why are you letting him just walk for nothing?
Well, I think that's fair, and I think this is an ugly ending to what's been a great situation. Back in 2019, Jimmy Butler was the best offseason addition in an offseason that featured Kawhi and Paul George going to the Clippers and Kyrie and KD going to the Nets. Jimmy Butler has been the best addition from that offseason
sure.
with 3 conference finals, 2 NBA finals appearances in 4 years. He averages 25, 6, and 6 in the playoffs. Nobody's denying what he's done with Miami, but the Heat have to do what's best for them. And if I'm the Rockets, why am I going to give up valuable assets to go get Jimmy Butler, a player that I have to pay max money, and now it restricts my roster even more because I'm paying him a lot of money.
Yeah, if I'm the Rockets, I
like
would do it.
the Mavericks would have to include Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Daniel
not doing
Gafford. Doesn't make sense for them.
The Rockets got some money to play with now.
Yeah, the Rockets do have money to play with.
They could basically just improve from Dylan Brooks to Jimmy Butler.
or Fred VanVleet.
Although Fred's defense has been very valuable.
You
to
can
the
replace
team.
that.
It has been.
But his point guard ability, if you go from him now, Amon's running point full
I
time.
just think Houston's
Cool with
the
it.
cleanest.
The
fit
only
for
Is
him.
he
team-
ready?
Got to get be ready
Houston
somewhere.
is the cleanest fit. The only team right now that has the money to pay Jimmy Butler what he wants is the Brooklyn Nets. That's the only team.
He's not.
He doesn't
And they're
want
in a
that.
rebuilding situation.
What do you, Miami doesn't have the money to pay him.
They could go over the cap. because
Over
of
the
bird
cap,
rights or
yeah,
what.
they pay him because of that. But no, they don't have like the cap space to
The
give him
fuck
what
are
he
they
wants.
paying?
Tyler Hero's making $30 million. I think
Bam.
Ben Bio's making. he
Duncan
got an
Robinson's at
extension.
18.
money.
Let me look at. I saw some reports.
The thing is, nobody in the
But
NBA
also,
ever has
you know,
fucking money.
if the Heat right now, I think their direction is very clear. They don't want to pay Jimmy Butler because they're trying to get younger. You know, Tyler Hero has ascended into an all-star. Bam Adebayo is an all-star level player. They want to give their young guys more run, and I think Tyler Hero has looked great in a role where he's had to step up this year. You know, you add to that core, and you see where it gets you. in an off season that you have more cap to play with, you maybe get a max level player that is young, closer to their age. I think it makes sense. The Heat, they never go into these full blown rebuilds. They signed Jimmy Butler when we thought they were dead in the dumps, and that turned out to be very good. And there's some players on the open market, trade market, like De'Aaron Fox, who, what if the Heat could get De'Aaron Fox? I think it makes them younger and it makes them competitive longer. They're not a team that really is a rebuilding team, but if they pay Jimmy Butler, you're paying an older player who misses time, who doesn't give you elite regular season production. That's not that valuable. I don't think that's worth a max.
If I'm reading this correctly, if Jimmy Butler hypothetically walks next year, they'll still be in a negative in the cap space.
The Heat.
Yeah, they won't even have money to play with. And
That's why you don't sign him, because if you sign him, you're even more
but now
restricted.
you're letting him walk. You don't have your draft pick. You're probably not going to be as bad as you think. And you're just sitting there with a bunch of good to solid play. Like, where are you going? And the Heat don't really.
You're seeing who develops. That's it.
Who?
You're seeing who
You got
develops.
Jaime. There's not a bunch of young talent.
I mean,
on the roster.
that's not
that doesn't mean that the Heat should just full on just trade everybody that's valuable.
No, I mean.
And I don't think it also means that they should keep Jimmy Butler.
Let me say this. I
think you
think
should
we're
just
being
let him
very
walk,
critical on Miami and Jimmy Butler. And I also think that this topic is strictly about Jimmy Butler, but we haven't spoken about Bam Adebayo and his inadequacies so far this season on the offensive side of the ball.
At 4 points
Tyler
last
Hero has been their best offensive player
He's been
by
their best
a
player in
good
general.
margin. But I also will say Jimmy Butler hasn't been this dominant offensive force, but it's still pretty Jimmy Butler-esque. Like, he's averaging less points, but 55% from the field. Yeah. He's not being as aggressive, but he's, in a way, whether it's fair or not, he's allowing Tyler Hero to kind of have the keys to the car right now, and he's allowing him to thrive. And he is. Also paired with the fact that Jimmy Butler right now has missed the last few games too. And also Bam Adebayo has been pretty terrible offensively for his standard at least. And even still, they're 15-13. I understand not wanting to trade Jimmy Butler, especially because this is the last year of his deal. Like you mentioned, if you think that he's not that valuable in your eyes, then why not just ride it out? See what happens. This is the last year. Bam Adebayo, he's going to get better. He has to be. He's not going to play at this level. If he plays at this level for the rest of the season, they're fucked. Yeah. If he plays at this level offensively.
We got to stop, bro.
I agree.
What are we doing?
But this is what I'm saying. I believe Bam Adebayo will play better. I believe Jimmy Butler, who's still playing pretty solid basketball, can play better. Tyler Hero's playing good basketball.
But he's not playing like a max player.
But
and that's what he
say
wants.
This, and it's the last thing I'll say. Yes, he doesn't play high-level regular season basketball. It's fair. Kawhi Leonard last year played high-level regular season basketball and was unavailable when you needed him most. Jimmy Butler has at least shown, if you make the playoffs, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be the best version of myself. You listed it out already. 3 ECFs, 2 finals appearances. You could call the East week whatever you want to do. You have to respect what Jimmy Butler has done in his tenure in Miami. He's arguably a top 3 Miami Heat all time. He has been incredible for them. And it's fair for Miami to also respect him in that regard of saying, listen, I understand that you may be upset. We're not trading you. You are better. You make us better. We want to be a relatively competent team come playoff time, and without you, we're simply not that.
See, I think that's a great feel-good story. Jimmy Butler has done a lot for Miami. You can't run an organization based off what happened. You have to run it based off what you think will happen.
They're 15-13.
What's best
They'll
for the
most
future.
likely make the playoffs.
Yeah, but
Tyler Hero's still young as hell. Bam Adebayo's still a young player.
This is where, Pat Riley and how he's handled the situation, I think, has been much better because the relationship has soured because of the playoffs last year when Jimmy Butler did not play because he was injured. We also have to remember that,
Excuse me.
Before that, last year they made the finals, but, this past playoffs, he couldn't play. He was injured in the first round and he's getting older and he's dealt with injuries in the regular season. He was caught on camera saying that if I was playing in this series, we would win. We would beat the Knicks. We would beat the Celtics. And Pat Riley,
he's been cooking.
Pat Riley heard that comment, and Pat Riley said he should shut his mouth if he's not playing. Because you are writing checks that your teammates have to cash. You're not even out there to play. So the relationship has been soured off that originally. The stalemate is that Jimmy wants max money, and the Heat don't want to give him max money.
Agree.
He deserves max money, in my opinion.
And I think, maybe another team will pay him that. Right now, as it stands, the only team that can afford that are the Brooklyn Nets. When we talk about the trade market in general, I don't think Jimmy Butler is valuable. There are many teams that would love to have Jimmy Butler. Who wouldn't want to just have Jimmy Butler for free? Everybody would. But you have to make salaries work. The Mavericks aren't going to just kill their depth for Jimmy Butler.
It would have to be all three?
Yes, to make the salaries
Maybe even
work.
more.
Yes.
Really?
It would have to be all three.
They don't
All
have many
three
picks.
makes no sense.
I wouldn't. If I'm Dallas, I'm out. If I'm Houston, I'm out. It's really just Phoenix.
Golden
You
State.
get gutted if you're Houston,
Golden
too?
State.
And
we
then
have to
the
send like
Warriors
4.
get gut. No, Houston
I
could
was
do
gonna
it with
say
Fred
Fred
VanVleet.
and who?
Yes.
Dylan.
Houston's-
But with the Heat,
That's really
it's
just
like.
Fred and some Jock Landale, and they can do it.
But this is the thing with the Heat.
No brainer.
With the Heat, it's like I have to get an offer that I like, and from all the information that we've gotten recently, the Miami Heat have not gotten an offer for Jimmy Butler that they like. Because if you trade Jimmy Butler for Fred VanVleet, you're trading him for nothing. He's basically an expiring deal because he has a team option.
Too?
Maybe like a pick, but
They get, like,
you have to.
seconds or
I don't
first.
know if Houston is willing to do that. But then Miami, I think what is best for them is just riding the season out.
I agree.
Jimmy Butler has made this into a distraction when it hasn't had to be. Jimmy Butler, his best pathway forward is playing this season out with the Heat and then going to whatever team he wants.
Then when it doesn't have to be, I don't love for the sole reason that he's a free agent.
He can't go
He
wherever
wants
he
his
wants.
But
bread.
he's not a free agent right now.
But this
But he's
offseason, he
gonna
can't
be.
go wherever he
It's
wants.
sad in trade.
He wants his bread. That's
But
like
that's
Lamar
still
Jackson.
somebody
When Lamar
extending
Jackson
him.
didn't play through his injury the last season before
was
he was
actually
going to
hurt,
get his
though.
deal. He was, but if he had his money and he had a secured contract, he probably is risking it a little bit
I'm looking
more.
at it like Jimmy
yeah, but if
Butler-
you're the Heat, you're not paying him max money.
Jimmy-
I don't think he's a max player.
Even though
no,
in his tenure, he's
right
made
now,
you
but
insane.
That's over.
no.
Jimmy Butler's looking at it like this.
It's only over because Boston's OP.
He's not going to get a max this summer. He's not going to get a max. He's trying to get traded now because he knows this is probably his last time to be on a competitive team. The only teams that are going to have money are bad teams, like the Spurs or like other teams or whatever. So this summer, he's not going to really be able to go anywhere he wants, even if it is a sign and trade. Nobody's really going to lock in long term with him. So he wants to get traded now because this is probably his best avenue to get on a competitive team that can help him win. So
I also don't know if Pat Riley made
not.
the rumors less out there. 'cause,
apparently,
like,
Sham said he believes in it.
Yeah, the agent said it's
said he's
bullshit.
bullshit. Pat Riley said it's not
I
happening.
think
I
it's
don't know.
weird when organizations one way or another just be like 100% we're training him, 100% we're not training him, because if Miami trade deadline comes around, you're fucking 20 and 25. Why wouldn't you listen to offers? Why wouldn't you go out there and just be like, has anything changed? Is Houston more desperate? Is Golden State more desperate to make a deal? Now on the other side, if you are 25 and 20, right, the opposite. Why would Miami mortgage any of their future to go and get an impact player when Jimmy Butler can walk at the end of the season? You're going to trade future picks or any sort of valuable player on your team for. Listen, I agree with you, Drew. He's been great. He's been a great Miami Heat. He's 2 finals, ECFs. We talked about all that. One of the finals was fucking 2020. It's been 5 years since then, right? The other finals was 2 seasons ago when you were an 8 seed. Yep. One of the most impressive runs we've ever seen. But we could also acknowledge that's an anomaly.
Yep.
There, no team, or what was it, one other team in NBA
Knicks did
history?
it.
Knicks in
One other team
99,
in
what
NBA
is it?
history
99.
has made the NBA Finals as an 8 seed. 99% of teams make the NBA Finals as a top 2 seed. So yeah, you did it, but in reality, that's never gonna fucking happen again. So congrats for doing it, but we can't go into the future just assuming that this shit's gonna happen again. And if Jimmy Butler's not gonna give you anything in the regular season, why am I giving a man $50 or $60 million to average 18 points a game and he's not gonna show up for half of the 82 games? And now I gotta be a 7 seed and play the fucking Celtics or the Cavs or the Knicks in round 1 and be an underdog.
Listen, I'm not just going. The Miami Heat are a top 10 offensive rating and defensive rating team.
Bam Adebayo.
And this is with Bam not being the best version of himself and Jimmy not being the best version of himself.
How much?
This
They
is
are
gonna
a top
be-
10 offense, a top 10 defense. I'm not mad.
We're just defense now.
At the front office saying, no, let's just give it a go. Let's see what
That's
you
if
can
Jimmy
do.
shows up.
But I think he will because obviously you have last season, and that's fair to go based off because
But
it's what you've seen
him.
last.
That's on him to show
But
up.
I think he
And then what
will.
type of energies he's giving you?
I think he will because he's due for money, and he knows that if
Well,
he
he can
really
always
wants
just
a
accept
contract,
it and be like, "Fuck it."
And that's why I like what Pat Riley did. Pat Riley basically said,
it back on him.
We're not trading you. You got to prove yourself."
Agreed.
And honestly, regardless of whether the Heat bring him back or not, I don't think they will. But if Jimmy Butler plays his best brand of basketball, that's going to make him an even more attractive free agent.
Definitely.
And there is no reason for the Heat to trade him now because in the offseason, if a team with no cap space wants Jimmy, they're going to have to maneuver a sign and trade. And the Heat could then, at that point, maneuver that and facilitate that deal. So as of right now, I don't think the Heat have to really force anything here. You know, it's not like they're in a rebuild situation and they want to race for the number one pick. That's not going on. You know, they're just a competitive team and they're trying to see what they have right now. And I think they have a good group of young players that they can build around moving forward.
Yeah,
Cool.
see.
Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo.
I feel like they're like what we expect them to be for the rest of their career.
it's like if
Tyler
if
Hero
you go
has
based
some
off
room for growth.
Jovic too, like are you throwing him in there?
Jovic,
Like
Jaime
improvement what?
Jaquez, Kello Ware.
Though, yeah.
Those are firm players. Firm role
You see
players.
where I'm getting with this?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't really.
You're probably missing two top dogs.
To be fair, Tyler Hero is way better this year than I thought he'd be.
Bam is like
He's
the
an
guy.
all-star.
Bam is the guy you bring in to kind of
That's
complement your stars already.
due to
Yeah.
situation.
No, Tyler Hero's an
he's
all-star.
also been efficient as fuck. You know?
He's really
been great.
good.
No, Tyler's really good, but like
great.
like I said, Tyler and Bam are the guys you bring in to complement your stars. They're not the guys.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
like,
but it
we're
also
missing two top
helps
guys.
if you already have them. You need that missing piece.
You said Bam and Tyler are those players to elevate. Now, that is bad on Bam.
How?
Respectfully.
Bam has always been a number 3 or a number 2.
Okay, thank you.
I have more faith in Bam being a complimentary
You
piece
say
than Hero.
3. Now we're going backwards.
Not necessarily. If a real championship team, you think Bam's a 2?
They went to the finals.
And got
Yeah,
smoked.
because they were a well-rounded team with
But
Spo.
Bam played very well in that
like,
playoff.
Like he mentioned, anomaly.
No, but
and Jimmy was
again,
Jimmy was something
Jimmy was-
he
no,
like.
no,
What are we
no,
like
no.
on a
He
regular
was ungodly.
in a regular season on an actual legit team? Bam is a 3. Bam is your anchor defensively and probably your number 3-4 guy on offense.
Bam was averaging 20. He was handling the ball for you. He's a defensive
for
anchor
that
too.
run, he was
Come
very
on.
very well.
I
Yeah.
don't think he'll ever be a 2 on a
No.
championship
If
team.
Bam goes to a 3, Bam's taking a step back.
I think he's actually playing better because that means he can be more efficient, take less shots.
I want him to
probably
be
get
my
more
3
of his spots.
offensively. I think-
Like,
I don't
there's
think I
a
wanna be
reason
my
he's
2.
struggling right now, like legitimately.
But we watched Bam, all of us, get progressively better.
But we also
you start
watched him
making
be-
that elbow
No,
jumper,
Joel, I said Joel.
and
Drew,
also now we're playmaking at a high
has
level.
the conversation around Bam not been he's been inconsistent? Why? Because he's been a number 2.
I disagree with that.
I-
I think this year,
Even
objectively,
years prior.
has been his worst offensive. He hasn't been this bad.
No, but he's been
ever
inconsistent.
before.
But he's been inconsistent.
When
Literally outside of that playoff run throughout regular season.
last
he's
year
been
he was
difficult
really
for
great.
somebody to be
The
the
year
second best player on
before that,
championship
he
team.
was really great. We started to see him trend
don't
in the
know.
right direction. This year has been a step back.
You're right.
That's
but
what I'm
I think-
saying.
I'm not
I think
saying you're wrong.
it's very difficult for somebody to be the second best player on a championship team. I think there's a lot of players who don't make the cut.
He's
On a
he's been a-
championship winning team, fair.
brother, he's went 16 points a game, 19, 19, 20, 19, 16. So yeah, this is his worst year, but for the most part, he's
What's
giving you
the efficiency.
It's the shit at the basket that's killing me. This season, his elbow jumper. We spoke about it all the time. I spoke about it all the time.
He's progressively got
this is
officially
least-
worse.
yes.
No,
Yeah.
you're saying he's went up. He's got officially he's got worse every year.
But also the attempts are going up too.
My point: if you drop his attempts, if you get him to his actual role, which is not being the number, he's a great playmaker for his position.
Correct.
He is literally
Really
one of the
great.
best big man playmakers in the league. But he does struggle around the rim with touch. His jumper is not always consistent. He does do a little bit too much in the post. He's not the strongest guy. He's not the tallest guy. You want him in mismatches, but you also want him as a number 3. If you look around the league, number 2s: Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown.
But these
He's
are
not on their
guards.
level.
I'm not trying to talk guards.
No, I'm just
Even
saying in
bigs,
general.
fair.
Like he as a number 2,
What
he's
big
not
is
on
it
their
too?
level.
Yeah,
Anthony
you're right.
Davis.
Agreed,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I
agreed.
mean? There's
Okay.
That's
not.
what I'm saying. Like
No, if you're
He
going
might be number
guards,
one.
it's like, yeah, offensively,
well,
these guards are
I'm just
elite.
going number 2. Like he is Draymond. He is your defensive anchor. That's what he can be for you. But on offense, you don't want him to be number 2.
But I don't disagree there. But you could argue for the 15-16 season, who was the second best player on the team? Was it Clay? Or was it Dre?
No, it's Dre. So for playoff
listen,
runs, it can be Bam.
In 22, it was Dre.
If Miami had 22 Steph or 2015 Steph, I'd be like,
No,
maybe
of
Bam could be
course,
the
of
two.
course,
the
of
anomalies
course,
for
of
sure,
course,
Bam,
of
yeah.
course,
Yeah,
of
if
course.
it's just in the real world where it's like your best player, like top 15
is in
player.
conversation for one of the best defenders in the game.
I agree.
And
I'm
even
with
this
you.
season, offensively, where he hasn't been good, defensively, he's still incredible.
He's been disappointing, I think, is what you're saying.
100%.
So
I
you
don't
expected
think you're
him to
wrong.
develop into a solidified number 2 option.
100%. And if you're a
26,
Miami
27.
fan, you should feel the exact same way. The fact that Bam has
27.
played this poorly
28 next
offensively,
year.
the fact that Bam's finishing at the rim as poorly as he is,
Tyler Hero's their best player.
come on.
He's their best offensive.
I would still
He's
say
their
Jimmy.
best player.
He's their
I
best
still would
offensive
say
player.
Jimmy.
He is their
the
best
gaps are
player.
literally
Did you
the
see the
same.
game
on both.
winner?
I just said he's their best offensive player. That hence
I would
with a
still
game
take
winner.
Jimmy
On
respectfully.
the Utah Jazz, who was the best player? Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert?
Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, same situation.
Donovan
here.
Mitchell is so much better.
But we're
than
not
Tyler
saying
Hero. It's like
Bam's
not
the
even-
best player.
It's like not
Is
even
Bam
close.
the best player?
And Bam
on the
is not
no.
Rudy Gobert on defense.
Nah, they're like on this. What?
He's not.
What?
He's not.
He's not.
Anyways, but Hero and Bam are like the same. Like they're like in the same tier, I guess.
Are we ready for Wemby being better than Bam?
Oh, he's a better player.
Okay, that's cool.
for sure.
Just wondering.
Yeah, defense, we're still locked in.
Huh?
Then better than Wemby?
Yeah, defensively, we're still locked in. We're still locked.
Brother, wake up.
What is? Cue the camera. What does Wemby do better than Bam defensively?
Rim protection
What
by
else?
a significant margin.
What else?
Getting
Nobody
in
else
lanes,
help him.
Getting in lanes. Wemby's one of the best at
So
that
is
as
Bam.
well.
Keep going.
Nah, Wemby's
Keep going.
better.
Keep going. You can't give me anything else. Huh?
He can
What do you
offer
want
more
me to
shots.
say?
No, I mean that's the rim protection. I gave him that wholeheartedly.
Let me ask you a question.
No, keep
But
going.
it's just length. He could get Bam's a better switcher. Don't get me wrong. but
Bam's
just-
also a great rim protector.
Yeah, for sure. But
Like-
the fact that Wemby's so long is that he doesn't have to be the best switcher, but he could get beat and still make
Also,
up for it.
I was
So
gonna
isn't it more like
defending
impressive
shots.
that Bam's not as long and can do that?
No,
probably
absolutely.
better?
I'm
You
just
know?
saying,
What
like,
is he doing
Wemby's
it better?
faults,
What is
like,
he
no.
exactly
You're talking
he's
about
doing better?
switching.
Bam's, yeah,
Hey, but
Bam's one of the best
I
switching
don't
players in the
think
league.
just because it's more impressive means that he's better.
No, he's
We're
not.
talking about switching.
I'm just talking about, doing it, what he's doing at his size versus Wemby. Because Bam Adebayo, what he's doing could be more impressive, but Wemby could still be better.
For sure. We were just talking the moment.
What? So solely because Bam's in your opinion, better switcher.
No, he's like the best switchable big in the league.
You're taking him.
It's who would you take?
I'm gonna take the guy that has more blocks than anybody in the
Blocks
league,
doesn't
who
pertain to
also gets
switching.
in the lanes, who also alters shots on the perimeter as well.
You're changing.
No,
You said who's the best
I said
switchable
you're
big?
solely taking
No.
Bam. That's
Bam
what I
is
asked.
Bam is the most complete defender in the league. He can do everything on defense.
So can Wemby. Wemby can guard on the
I
perimeter
haven't
too.
really seen him do it much. I don't want to
He's
say
not
I
doing
don't
it
wanna
like
say,
Bam because he doesn't have the quickness
Yeah, I
like
don't want to
Bam.
say he can do it at the same level.
But you watch Wemby
It's
impact
close.
shots on the perimeter. You see in transition
7'6", I get that.
exactly.
Bam's can do the same thing. It's close. I don't like how you make it. You don't make it a comment because you're a blocks merchant. You think like you're like
you know
like,
what?
You're
Call
a
me-
blocks
call
merchant.
me
Like you
a
would think
blocks
that, like
merchant.
this
I
is
think
like
with Wemby, it's okay to be a block.
No, it's like
Miles Turner should have-
It's like when people
Call
looked at
me a
Dikembe
block
Mutombo, they're
merchant.
like, yeah, 4 blocks a game. This brother's a stout
It's
defense.
like Lucas Steals.
No, it's. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you just you
can't even
wait
get a
a
break
No,
when
when
he's
you
hurt.
watch the
I'm not
game
mad at it.
and
Yeah,
you
well, soon,
see
Luka.
drivers go and see Wemby and say, bad idea. Let me get out of there.
People do that with Shed too.
Okay, but I'm talking about Wemby.
No, yeah, I'm just saying.
And
like,
also
7 feet.
And like I was going to
Porzingis,
say,
too. Like 7 feet, you're just
if
kinda
you want to
frightening
call
us.
me a block merchant, we're watching one of the greatest shot blockers in NBA history right now.
I agree.
Ready.
We are talking about a top 10 all-time right now.
Probably top
That's
5.
how great he is.
Probably top
So
5.
call me what you want.
Probably
Because
top 3.
Because IQ was a whole big deal. Let's go look at the Spurs defense and how great it's been this year, right?
The Heat's pretty great.
Oh, what I said it's a top 10
It's been
unit.
pretty great for a decade.
Okay,
Shout to Spell.
Shout out to Spot.
because Pop hasn't been there this season. Get well soon, Papa.
Get well soon, Pop. Shout out to Bam.
Shout out to fucking Wemby.
Shout out to Wemby.
Love Wemby. Love Bam.
Because if switchability is what you want to go and use as your precursor as to why Bam's better,
that's
then
never been
so
that.
be it. That's what you're saying to me.
No, you're lying.
Because
I literally
that's the
said,
only
you're a
thing
liar.
objectively Bam does better
Well, pick and roll
for
defense,
the sole fact
switchability,
that he's quicker.
Good in space. I've said
So is Wemby.
I've said Bam is the most perfect defender in the league. That's what I said. You heard me say that.
Why isn't it Wemby?
Well, because I think Bam does more things at an A+ level
I
than
just
Wemby.
think he's just a little bit quicker.
I just think Bam does more.
He definitely moves his feet better.
He
the thing
does.
is, one
He's
fucking
he's
Wemby steps like
6'10".
3 Bam steps. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be quick.
Yeah,
he can make up.
He's 6'10". He's really a 4, so he's supposed to move a little bit quick with his feet. Bam can guard. Literally, he can go from guarding Steph Curry to guarding Jaylen Brown to guarding AD. He can also protect the rim at a high level. He's really great in the pick and roll. He's great at communicating. He's great as a help side defender. He's great just altering shots at the rim. He's great at just being a high IQ guy on the defensive side. Like, I can keep going.
A lot of
with
what you said
defense.
outside of guarding Steph Curry, Wemby can do. A
okay.
lot of what you said.
Well, when I asked you, you didn't say none of that. You kind of just said blocking shots and rim deterrence.
No, because
that's why I asked you. Like when I asked you about defense, and when we talk about defense, a lot of your talking point is he blocks a lot of shots. He's a great rim
how
protector.
much goes into rim protection? A lot of what you said, correct?
Nah,
A good portion.
half of it.
And also, when you talk about switchability, you talk as if like Wemby can't do it.
I didn't know. I didn't
When
say
you
that.
the way you act
No,
and
At
sound.
what level does Wemby switch? Like Bam's A+, what's Wemby?
Bro, like a B. I think there's nothing wrong. B. C
So
plus.
if it's at a B,
C+? C+?
no, if
I
it's
was
at a B,
throwing-
and
throwing
Wemby is
a-
one of the best rim protectors
what do you
we've
think?
ever seen already.
Oh, best we've ever seen already.
I said one of.
One of.
okay.
We called him top 3. 2 minutes ago.
No,
we
we
called him
talking top 3 shot blocker. You could be an
I
elite
said
shot
top 10
blocker.
all time already.
Oh,
I
did you say
top-
shot blocker or
I
rim
said no.
protector?
Right now, one of the
top
best
10 rim protector.
No,
Oh, I
I
didn't
said
do that.
he's
I'm
a
asking.
top 10 shot blocker all
See, but
time
shot,
already.
like Miles Turner
But-
statistically is a great shot blocker.
But we know.
Again,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Don't
Like,
talk
you
to
see,
me
you're
like
being-
I'm some dumbass.
I'm not, but you keep bringing up shot blocking.
Because when you do it at this level, Miles, let me ask you a question.
we
Talk
go.
to me like I'm a 3-year-old. Miles Turner blocks shots like this?
he blocks a lot of shots.
Like this. Answer the question, like this.
What's Wemby averaging? The Kembe
He's
Mutombo
averaging
does.
4.
Yeah.
He's averaging literally 4 blocks a game. He's
Let me
averaging
see, what's
25
Miles
points a
Turner
game and 4
career high?
blocks a game.
I'll show
Yeah, look
you,
it
I'll
up. What
show
is
you.
it? I'm saying, bro.
Miles Turner
Because
probably like
Wemby
2.5
doesn't get in
blocks,
foul
maybe.
trouble also.
If he gets to 3, we're moved.
I don't think Miles Turner ever got 3.
I don't know.
Early in his career, he got to like 2,
He had
2.5.
3.4 in the 2020-2021 season.
How many games?
6 inches shorter.
47 games.
47?
3.4 is
3.4.
fucking crazy.
He's 6 inches shorter.
He averages 2.2 for his career.
Hey.
Outlier.
No, he's a good shot blocker.
3.4
He is.
to
Yeah, I'm saying,
2.2.
yeah.
Outlier.
He is.
I'm not saying.
There's good, and then there's what the fuck Wemby
no, I'm
is.
not. Listen, I'm not trying to make you.
Because Dikembe averaged 4 blocks a game.
Yeah, we don't put
Excuse
him
me.
in. We don't put him in all
Hakeem
time.
averaged 4 blocks a game.
But we put him in all time defensive.
When
talks.
I'm watching Wemby, it's like I'm watching a weaker Hakeem.
I respect the fuck out of that you said weaker. I really do. I really do.
I'm watching
just-
a
I like-
weaker Hakeem. That is the defense
I'm
Wemby
not,
gives me.
Listen, because I looked up Dikembe. He's at 4.5. That's ridiculous. I'm not sitting here trying to say you're an idiot or I'm not trying to make you. I don't want you to feel that way.
No,
I'm
I
saying,
know.
I'm saying genuinely when we have a conversation, I just feel like sometimes your first comment is shot blocking. When I
Because
feel
it's
like
historically great.
yes, but I feel like it's deeper than just Wemby's defense is deeper than shot blocking.
His footwork on the defensive side
I
is
feel like
flawless.
you should start with that. I feel like
But
you
I'm
should,
not trying to get
'cause I
to
feel
the.
like when
you
you
want
talk
to get
about
into the ins and outs?
I mean, that's-
because
I feel
when
like
you
that's what we're
if
here
you
for.
watch Wemby's game, he literally does everything outside of switching at a significantly better level than Bam.
I think Bam's IQ is definitely higher. But Wemby's just a young player.
I guess too, but even still,
See,
Wemby's
even like
so
your tone
fucking
of it,
smart.
like, you know, it feels
I'm
like
not
you're trying to make it a
slight
slight
Bam.
of it,
I'm not being
you know?
disrespectful to Bam. It's
just-
just Wemby's
no, it's
fucking
it's-
all world.
Well, Wemby's 20. His IQ was just gonna be.
And Wemby's
you know,
already in top 3 convos.
with what?
In the world.
Oh, you mean like best player?
He's that fucking great.
With who?
He's not in that
He's not in top 3
conversation.
Not top
conference.
three,
You
top
made
eight.
that.
When you
said
are,
that, not him.
when Wemby is
Top 10 for
arguably
sure.
already the best two-way in the
He's
game.
not in top 3 conversation. You
When-
don't get into top 3
Is
conversation.
Wemby not the best two-way player in the league?
Drew.
Is he the best
Drew,
two-way player in the
you
league?
don't-
Yes or no?
Drew. You don't get in the
Is
top
he the
3
be- who's the
conversations.
better defender right now?
Because of 20 games.
And
You don't. Like,
offensively,
you don't get into a
I'm
Joker
wrong to say
conversation.
that-
Top 10.
Who's a
Top
better
3 is
two-way
crazy.
player? Giannis is a better two-way player than
Is
Wemby.
he right now?
Yes.
Right
Yeah,
now?
I think
Yes.
Fucking serious?
Is he better than him two-way?
Yes, he
In
is.
defensive impact, it is comfortably
Two-way player.
Comfortably
what does
Wemby.
a
Giannis
two-way
is a
player
much
mean?
better
offensively,
passer. It's not even close.
much better. Yeah, Wemby's still a great passer.
You give great to
He
everybody
is
that
a
can
great
just
passer.
make a pass to an
That's
open
not even
player.
true. That's
What are you
not even
talking
true.
about?
He's a good passer.
He is
He's a good
he's a
passer.
really good
He's
passer.
not Giannis.
Oh, he's not.
He's not.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
You're disrespecting Giannis.
I'm
Giannis
not.
is
I've
having-
been-
No,
I'm
this is why we
disrespecting
say you're
Giannis.
glazing Wemby.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not. He's one of
He's
the
on
most
a Giannis
efficient.
Drew,
He's
Drew.
one of the most efficient scorers at the basket.
So
and
is
he can
Giannis.
also,
Drew,
of course,
if he's a
because
better
that's all-
two-way player than Giannis, he's the best player in the world.
He got a seat at the table.
No, he
fuck
doesn't.
He's got a seat at the table.
Because of 25 games? He's at the seat with Joker?
That's wrong. Because all of last season,
You didn't put it- he
especially
wasn't
in the
at the
second
table
half,
last
I
year.
had him top 11 coming into the season. You said I was an idiot.
You didn't
now
have-
we're
but now-
talking about
now
him
he's-
as
no.
the best two-way player in the league.
Now you're a
I'm not
you're a
wrong.
Glazer.
He
You're
is.
a Glazer.
He
I can't
has
have this
the
conversation.
biggest defensive impact in the NBA. He is
Based off what
already
metric?
one of. What do you mean?
What metric?
Go look at defensive rating. Go look at shot blocks. Go
Defensive
watch a
rating.
basketball game.
Shot block. You see what we're
Defensive
doing?
impact.
We're back at shot blocking.
Again, watch the game. Everything defense. He is one of the
I
most.
just feel like
He's the best
his-
offensive player in the league.
Offensively, no. Best offensive player in the league is Jokic. That is not even
Luka's
close.
a
Is he
better
better than
offensive
Luka?
player than
Fair,
him.
agreed.
Is he better than
SGA
Luka?
too.
As a player,
Is he better than Luka?
I would take Wemby.
Is he better than
You
SGA?
take offensive.
I would take SGA. I would take Wemby. Excuse me.
He's better than Tatum.
I would take Wemby.
He's better than.
I'll tell you what. The two-way play. It's Giannis. It's Tatum. It's Wemby. But if we're being completely honest, the defense goes
Tatum
to
over
Wemby.
AD?
Yeah,
Two-way? Stop.
AD's at that table too.
he is. But the playmaking that Tatum has been
respect
incredible.
to Tatum because he's a wing. He's not in that conversation. He's a tier under.
Tatum's playmaking makes me think about it a lot.
Victor Wembanyama is a phenomenal talent, and if we're talking about
If you're the
building
best
a
two-way player, you have a
franchise
seat at the
around
table.
somebody with Wemby's potential, yes, there are very few players in the history of the game that look like Wemby. But when we're having these conversations, we just can't discount the body of work that all these players have had and the time that they've put into their craft. Giannis Antetokounmpo has won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He's won Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. He's been a multiple time MVP.
But if this is the case,
He's
then
already
LeBron's still the best in the world.
He's already.
We can't do
no,
that.
No, but LeBron is 40. Giannis is in his prime.
Agreed.
Jokic is in his
and
prime.
Giannis is not nowhere near that. Wemby, excuse me, is nowhere near that. But even still,
Giannis-
we're probably looking at the best two-way in the game.
Giannis went to the NBA Finals. He
Offensively,
won.
who's better?
He dropped 50 in Game 6.
Between Victor and Giannis, who's better offensive player?
Giannis is better.
What is he better at?
He's a better ball
better at
handler. He's
driving.
a better passer. He's a
ball
better finisher.
handler?
This year, he's a better mid-range shooter.
Okay, the mid-range?
Passer,
He's moving me. But as a
finisher,
shooter, come on.
Post-up player,
Playmaker.
Finishing at the basket, Wemby's still been one of the most efficient
Outside of
in the
shooting
game.
threes, there's nothing that
don't think
Wemby is
Wemby
better
has
at
the
than
same amount of
Giannis offensively.
Handling the ball, Wemby is a better hit ball
I don't think
handler
Wemby
than
has
he
the same
is.
amount of attempts as Giannis. at the
And you
rim.
guys really are disrespecting Wemby's passing.
No, you're
No,
disrespecting
you're disrespecting
Giannis.
all
I'm
these
not.
guys.
I'm
You're
not.
disrespecting the
I've been
top
very
three.
vocal on Giannis' passing.
Giannis is to you the best power forward in the history of the NBA.
No.
Who's the best power forward
Tim
to
Duncan.
you? So Giannis to you is number 2.
Yeah.
You almost
2,
gave me a
3.
stroke.
Giannis is right now at the peak of his powers. Would you not say right now this regular season is, if not one of the best regular seasons he's had in his career?
sure.
And Wemby's better than that?
It's pretty fucking close, man.
No, it's not.
Because defensively, I'm
So
watching.
why
a
isn't Wemby in the
superhuman.
MVP conversation?
He is.
He's in the MVP conversation.
Right now,
15
he's
seed.
6. Right now, he's 6 on the NBA ladder. Go
Go
watch.
asking you.
Oh, he's in the conversation for sure.
Is he in like the 14th?
Look at what the defense has jumped from last year to this year. You guys wanted defensive rating. You got it.
I don't know.
You guys want results too. We watch what they
They're
do
not
on a night in
winning.
night out basis.
They're not winning.
But it's not like they're bottom feeders.
I think
What are-
Wemby
what are
I mean, they're a
has.
bottom 5 seed.
What's their record?
I'm about to tell you right now.
I think
Think they're a
Wemby has
couple
put
games under
himself
500?
I
in
think so.
top 6 talks because you have the old players that are kind of getting washed away that
He's
you
better than
take
KD.
Wemby over.
Yes.
I think Wemby right now,
They're the
I would
11th.
take him over Kevin Durant. Even with Anthony Edwards before the
It's
season.
Giannis. It's Jokic. It's Wemby.
We're
you're
not
not
just
taking
going to
him over Luka.
disrespect
I'm
Luka and
taking
SGA
Wemby
like that.
over Luka because the defense is otherworldly.
That's an offensive generational player.
And Wemby
This
has
is-
been
this is- no, wait, Drew.
unbelievable offensive
Do you
talent.
know what Luka is in the playoffs?
He's a god.
So then why are you? Can we at least wait to see the playoffs for you to take him over?
I know
somebody
what I'm
who's-
watching.
You know, but you know fucker. You know what you're
I know
watching.
what I'm
You
watching.
already have the background and the information of what Luka is in the playoffs.
I
This
know
is
what
why
I'm
we
watching.
say you're glazing.
Riv,
This doesn't
I
even
know
make
what I'm
sense.
watching.
Riv.
It doesn't even make
No,
sense.
it makes
You have
sense
no
when you're the
statistical
best.
evidence of
He,
this.
as
You
a
don't.
rookie, finished second in DPOY. As a
I don't
rookie,
give a fuck about
in
that.
year.
Tim Duncan doesn't have those. I don't care about that.
Okay.
I don't. Let's keep
So,
that
Rick,
out of it.
You know
Let's
what's
talk-
you know
let's
what's
keep
really
that outta
getting
here.
me? You're
Let's keep
talking
that
like
outta
you
here.
don't watch Wemby. That's what I'm talking
You
about.
put him over Luka.
Because you're
What the fuck?
because what you
He said
asked
he's
me
top
what he
10. I
does
don't care.
defensively.
Like, top
Tell
10
me, no,
is
you
fine.
talk like
Top 10 is fine.
What does Wemby not do defensively? Tell me. Because you
What are you
watch
talking
him.
about?
You watch Wemby, right?
This
What
isn't a
doesn't he do?
defensive
No,
conversation.
no.
I don't
No,
even
but
know
I'm
what you're
asking because you're
asking me.
talking about now Tim Duncan doesn't have a DPOY. Forget about it. That's not what I'm talking
Because you're talking about
Because
his
you
top
keep asking
three
me about
defensive
Wemby
talk-
and
like,
about
I
his
don't care
defense.
about that.
Tell me, what doesn't he do? Tell me what doesn't Wemby do defensively?
In comparison to what?
No, you that's exactly. You kind of put that broadly on me. What doesn't he do?
No, you're lying.
Answer.
We were talking about Bam versus Victor. You're lying.
So, no,
I don't know
I'm
what
asking you. Hold on, no.
I don't know. I don't even know what he's asking me.
Because he's been asking me and challenged me on some things. So I'm asking you, what doesn't Wemby do on defense?
In comparison to who?
In general.
In comparison to
No,
who?
in basketball right now, what doesn't Wemby do at an elite level defensively?
In comparison to who? Drew?
In general.
No, just in general. what
Anthony
does he
Davis
do?
to Bam.
Answer the question.
To the best defensive
He's
players in the world.
Victor is an elite rim protector.
Yes.
Elite rim deterrence.
Correct. Which is essentially the same thing.
He's no,
it's not.
It's not.
Essentially.
This is what you get. This is why you get
Rim
confused.
protection
It's not.
is the act of blocking a shot.
Don't even
Rim
know why you have
deterrence and rim
deterrent-
protection
no,
is the. It's go look in a fucking Webster's thesaurus.
No, it's actually two different definitions.
Rudy Gobert
the
is a
Rim
great
is altering
is
a
great
shot.
at rim
They
deterrence.
talk to me like I don't have 2 fucking degrees.
rim
I'll say
deterrence.
not in
it
sports.
is helping you because you have two things that Wemby's elite at. So I would take it.
Okay, fine.
I would
I mean,
take it.
rim,
It's essentially
rim deterrence is
deterrence.
no.
Go ahead.
It is different. Rim deterrence is the act of a player not taking a shot because you're in the paint.
If you're
Rim
deterring a shot,
protection-
aren't you also protecting the shot?
No, because
Like,
protection is the act of the ball going up and your ability to protect.
Let's not
and
get
block
caught in
that
semantics
shot.
anymore.
Regardless.
So
That's what
continue.
it is.
What isn't he? What does?
That's-
What else?
there's
What else?
difference.
What else?
Can't believe we had to fucking
No, I
explain
know.
that.
I mean,
It's-
they go hand in hand.
They're synonyms.
Is there any player who's in lead at one and bad at the other?
Miles Turner he's a great rim protector, not great at rim deterrence. He blocks a lot of shots. But
So rim protection
players-
is just about blocking
Wait, no,
shots.
rim protect. This is where I'm.
This is like gravity all over again.
No, this is the
No,
best
I
example.
got it. I just
Are you
look it up.
looking it up?
We looked it up. We could just get the definition out the way. In the NBA, rim deterrence is the ability of a player to prevent opponents from attempting shots close to
What I
the
said.
rim. It's a combination of shot defense, which is forcing misses near the rim, and shot deterrence, which is preventing opponents from attempting shots near the rim.
That's what deterrence means. That's the
Defension
definition.
of rim protector is a defensive player who combines shot defense and shot deterrence to prevent opponents from attempting shots near the rim.
So the definition's in the
It
definition.
is in the definition.
Yeah, so
Got it.
rim deterrence
So the name is in the definition.
is.
So
They're different
So the
things, though.
definition of the other word is in the definition.
Yeah, so a rim protection is at the
Regardless,
rim.
it's a
rim,
positive for Wemby if he's
it-
elite at both.
Well,
it's-
obviously, you just
rim
wanted
protection,
definition to
Nothing
the
he's
two.
not a lead at on the defensive side.
Yes, but
he's good at
we
switching.
That's all I'm saying.
We
But
just
that's-
explained that
So
because
he's
you
the
guys wanted
best
definition.
defensive player
I
in
don't
the
understand
world.
where that even
Wait,
came from.
here's the
My
thing.
whole point is,
I just
he's
think
the
it's a
best
step too.
defensive
I think
player.
it's a step too far saying he's the best in the world. He's top
the
10
thing.
in the world. I
I'm
think
saying
it's,
he's in the
you're
conversation. He
talking
has a
about-
seat at the
By the
when
way,
you're
you
talking
lied
about-
at defensive rating. You lied.
What's their defensive rating?
No, you said he was number one. He's
I
not.
didn't say that.
Yes, you
I
did.
said go
don't
look
think he
at
was number
defensive
two.
rating.
Defensive rating has Alfred Sengun at number 2. Do we really want to use that stat?
Go look at the team
not
defense.
for player defensive
this-
rating,
no,
not
this-
player defensive rating.
Go look at team defense.
Team defense?
I mean,
Because
Try
Rudy
defense on and
Gobert
off
gets
numbers.
fucking thrown it off team defense.
Team
That's
defense is
why he
Wemby.
won the
Let's be
DPOY
honest.
Alright,
last
let's
year.
on and off
fair
numbers.
enough.
No, it's on and off, but whatever.
I would say look at his on and off numbers better.
Yes, I will,
Now
'cause
here's the
we're
thing.
using
Oh, no,
defensive rating.
nobody's discounting Wemby's defense. We know he's an elite defender.
No, you're trying
You know?
to. He kind of was. I don't think you realize that.
He's
He kinda
an elite
was.
defender.
I
The
wasn't. You're
issue
lying.
with
You only talk about shot blocking. What else do you do?
The-
Deterrence and protection.
What else
Even though
did
they're
you?
the
What
same
else,
thing,
what else
buddy.
did you talk about?
What are we talking about? Him going out on the perimeter too.
The first thing you kept saying was he's an elite shot blocker. He's top 10
He
in shot
is.
block.
He is.
That's all. Every time we
I
talk
feel like
about
we're
it.
getting stuck on that point. I think the point that I'm trying to make is the fact that Victor Wembanyama is an exceptional talent. We understand that. If you want to take Wemby over other players, that's fine. You could take anybody. You could take Tyler Hero
my
over
right.
LeBron. I don't give a shit. You know, you could take anybody over anybody.
Shout out to the Constitution.
But based off their resume and what they've done to this point, you cannot objectively make a sound argument that Wemby's
So
better
then why
than
did
Giannis,
SGA just
Luka,
launch over LeBron and KD
or Jokic.
That's what happened.
Because SGA has been a first-team All-NBA teamer for the last 2 years. He's been healthy, and he's led OKC out of a rebuild.
Luka went into the top 5 essentially too, same way.
The Spurs
Back when?
are
he had
the-
more playoff moments.
The Spurs are the 15th ranked defensive unit in the league. 15th in defensive rating.
What's the on-off with Wemby?
Let me see. I gotta go look that shit up.
I just don't. The only
Luka
thing with
For
Doncic-
Wemby,
reference,
Luka
the Heat are 10.
Doncic. Luka Doncic in his second NBA season
The Cavs are 8.
led
Have them
the
over.
number 1 offensive rating in NBA history in his second season. That's what Luka did in his second year. And then he had playoff moments going up against a prime Kawhi Leonard
Minnesota
and played
Six.
at an elite level. Luka Doncic is top 3 in points per game.
Wemby has not
in
played
the
every
playoffs.
game, by the way.
That's fair.
Luka Doncic has made 2 conference finals. He's made an
who's
NBA
made it?
finals. Yes, he's done that. So
not
based off the
arguing.
resume, he's better.
Victor
Like,
versus Luka.
Wemby,
That's
if you want to
ridiculous.
take them over these other
It's not
players,
really.
that's fine.
It's
but
just
that doesn't
no.
mean
I
he's
don't think
better.
any player in NBA history, maybe LeBron, when I was like 7, has ever been the best player or top 3 in the world without ever making the playoffs. It's just hard
He
to
has
put
a
him
seat
there.
at the table when you were the best 2-way in the game.
If you want, I think
There's
he's
no-
the 6th best player.
Brother, ain't no way somebody who hasn't even touched the playoffs got a seat at the table with the Joker, Luka, and Giannis. It just don't
SGA
even make
was
sense.
first team All NBA.
He doesn't have the seat at the table with
and
them.
he was a top 10 player immediately.
He doesn't have a seat at the table.
well,
with
he's
them.
top
because he's
10.
not.
Well,
he's
Wemby
not
is top
nearly
10.
as good as Wemby.
Wemby is top
Nobody's
10.
arguing with
Nobody's
SGA
arguing
top
with
3.
Wemby.
No
Pushback on
doubt.
that.
But my whole point is SGA got walked into these conversations after last year as well.
The year ended, right?
It took 2 first All NBA, fair, 2 first All NBA to be now number
And
4.
elite in the playoffs.
Number 4. He was amazing against the Mavericks.
He was elite.
OKC, good series.
You could argue he's better
Mavs,
than
he was
Luka
amazing. Oh no,
in
there's
that
no
series.
arguments. There's no arguments. It's concrete
Yeah,
fact.
outside the last game of the
Concrete
series,
fact.
yeah, but SGA,
But
that's how great he
when
played.
you watch Wemby, and we are less than 25 games into year 2, this is the best defender in basketball, and this is one of the best offensive players.
I mean, I think within the next 2 years he'll be at that table. I can't put him there yet.
So if we're already having him at number 6 and we're
Just think you're too
24
early to the
games,
party.
he'll be there.
Because and when I'm watching, and the defensive impact is like this, and you're able to space the floor the way that he is, and he's one of the most efficient scorers at the cup, what can he do?
No, I don't think he really has
He's
any
a great
major
free throw shooter too.
weaknesses.
That's one thing that big men don't have.
It's
He's
just
a
the
great free throw
resume. The
shooter.
resume that Jokic and Giannis and all these dudes have. He doesn't come close.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
And I feel like to
all
be
I'm
at that
saying is-
table, you got to have a resume.
We're talking about a champion, and
sure.
and a generational playoff player.
Mm-hmm.
And he is talking about, because of 28 fucking games, the dude has a table with these guys.
I'm not saying
It doesn't make
that is
sense.
bullshit
This
because
is
again,
the stupidest shit
for
I've ever
me-
heard in my life.
for
Genuinely.
me, coming into the season,
Tatum just
I
won
said
a
he was
ring.
11.
Tatum just won a ring.
Tatum's not
he
as
didn't
good
get a
as
seat at the
Wemby.
table.
No, because he's
SGA
not as
just
good as
averaged
Wemby.
30
Tatum's
twice.
He's not as good as
SGA
Wemby.
just averaged 30
He's not
twice.
as good as
He didn't
Wemby.
get a seat at the
Tatum
table.
is not as good as Wemby.
But
not.
he's still
They're not.
Wemby. Like, what are we?
No.
Like, no, you don't
He
just
had
get a
the
seat at
most
table,
points in a
bro.
Game 7 in
Like,
NBA
no.
history.
Wemby
He's
never had a 50 ball there.
This is
Not a
his
game
player.
7.
We can't even say he never, because he's never played. He has no game. If I type in right now, Victor Wembanyama playoff game, I cannot find anything. I
So
can't.
solely because he has no playoffs. That's it.
That's
You're robbing him of his abilities. At that
robbing
point.
him. No,
Yes.
Drew, that's been a
He
thing.
has to prove
in
it.
the
Objectively
NBA.
watching him, he is one of the most talented,
He has
arguably
to
the most
prove
talented
it.
in the league.
Drew, when Michael Jordan was playing and when LeBron was
It
playing.
didn't take no fucking playoffs for people to realize Michael Jordan.
When Michael Jordan was playing, first of all, Michael Jordan made it his first year.
And
So
he
yeah, you're right.
averaged.
It didn't take them that because he already made it and he played great when he first got there. But I say all that to say, when Michael Jordan and LeBron James got into the league, it took people until about year 2 or 3 to understand. We may not say it publicly, but we know they're the best player in the league. MJ made the playoffs his first couple years. He had the 60 ball against Boston. LeBron, he made the playoffs year
The
2.
most points ever, by the way.
LeBron, he made the playoffs year 2. You saw it. Said there's a certain part in the NBA. Shaq, dominant, made the playoffs. I think year 1. There's a certain place in the NBA where we know, but in order to get into that conversation, you have to do it on the biggest stage in the NBA. For the NFL, the biggest stage is what? The Super Bowl, the playoffs, whatever it is, big time games on Thursday. For the NBA, the biggest stage is the playoffs. While we was waiting to give SGA the nod was what? We had to see him in the playoffs.
I didn't
see
need
him
to
do
wait.
it. You may not have, but that's just a universal thing in the NBA. You have to wait. You cannot put him at the
I
seat
also
at the
think
table.
the SGA conversation was we have to wait to put SGA in like the top 5. Wemby, it's
Exactly.
like to
Wemby-
best
no,
in the
Wemby's
world.
a top
It's
10
a
player.
different- It's a different criteria.
Nobody put him at 6. I don't
Nobody
care.
is trying
I'd
to
have him at
disrespect
6.
Wemby.
When
I
you
think
are
this is the
arguably
ultimate
the
respect
best
to him.
2-way in the game, you deserve a
Luka's
seat at
been
the table.
arguably the best offensive player for like 5 years.
He has, and
So
that's
what,
why
like-
he's been in top 3
So
conversations.
why is Wemby based off 80 games already in a conversation with Luka? Mind you, Luka
Because
being
the
arguably
defense is generationally great, and the
one
offense
of
is
the
really
best
great.
players in the playoffs for 4 straight years.
He's amazing.
How do you even sit there and look at the game log and think
Because there's
this
two
guy,
sides to the
even the
basketball.
Joker, so Giannis has.
Oh, absolutely.
Since you
No
love
doubt,
Defensive
Giannis
Player
is
of the Year
there.
award, Giannis
Yes.
won it back to back.
Incredible.
And then he was an MVP.
In the
He's
same
done
year.
that
Yes.
for about 6 or 7 years.
And a 50 ball.
Then
in
a
the
young
closeout
man
finals.
who's amazing, generational, unicorn, comes in. He does this for 30 games, because you didn't have him in the conversation, like you had him in top 10, but you didn't have him in top 3. So now you have him in there right now. So he's done this for 30 games.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, he's in there with Giannis.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense. You're
No,
like, it
makes
just
crystal
does,
clear
it doesn't make sense.
when you watch him and you
doesn't
understand
make
what
sense.
he's doing on a night in
It
night out
doesn't-
basis.
I
On the
just-
defensive side, we're talking about the best in the world.
You're too early to
and
the party, brother.
No, I'm not. You're late. That's the sad thing.
won't be late.
Watch the game. It's obvious. You don't need to ask me. You need to start going home and watching.
That doesn't even make sense. It's like it just doesn't. We're talking about two guys, the Joker and Giannis. They're top 15 ever.
Hey,
yeah, bro, you know how stupid this is? Bro, I kid you not, Drew. Like I kid you not. We're talking about two players right now.
So
they're top 15 ever, and a dude who's played 30 games in a year. Mind you, he's been amazing. Yeah, he's at the table.
He is.
Mind you, these two dudes haven't lost a fucking beat. They've actually got better.
Giannis
better.
got slighted more than any all-time great after
You're sliding
last
him
year.
right now.
And
You are sliding him right now.
And all I'm
You're
saying,
sliding the Joker too. It's
all
pretty
I'm
embarrassing.
saying is, he's got a seat at the table.
I
when
get
you're
you a
arguably
slight for
the
Luka.
best two-way in the
You
league.
don't like Luka. I get that.
So is he number 3? Number 1? Number 2?
No, he's
Well, yeah,
3
what
right
spot?
now for me. He's 3 right now for me.
So after this playoffs, if he kills, he could take whichever one spot.
It depends.
Yo.
I think Yoke right now is number 1 pretty comfortably until he fucks up, which I don't see happening.
Well, he's been.
But when
one
you're
for a while.
arguably the best two-way in the league, which Wemby 1,000% is, you have a seat at the table.
So who
with
was the
me.
best two-way in the league before Wemby? It was Giannis.
It's
right?
Giannis.
Who did you have as the best player in the league last year?
Yoke.
Interesting.
I kept it consistent. I think Yoke, especially considering playoff success,
Interesting. Very interesting.
you have to have that in account.
Wait, say that again.
You have to keep that in
No,
account.
what'd you say before that?
Jokic,
Playoff what?
Yes.
Playoff what?
He has a championship.
Right.
And on top of it, his numbers in the regular season are godly.
And
you
the
have to
numbers in
take
the
that
playoffs,
into
right?
account.
You have to take that's all I wanted. You have to take that into
well,
account, right?
when we're talking about Yoke and Giannis.
Well, why we can't do that with Victor and Luka? Why do you just
Because when
dismiss
I
that?
watch Wemby,
So why is it a watching
defensively-
thing with them two?
Because Yoke and Giannis are more accomplished, far more than Luke and the rest of the league.
Luka is more accomplished than Victor.
But talent-wise, I look at defense and
Why
offense.
why are you changing
because
the
talent-wise,
criteria?
I'm still saying Yoke and Giannis are better.
Talent-wise, Luka's better.
Than who?
Victor. Yo, bro, come on.
Honestly, I'm not gonna exaggerate it. Talent-wise, he might be more talented than Giannis. I don't know if he's more talented than Giannis.
I don't think I've ever seen a player
feel bad for
lead a
Wemby.
team to the NBA Finals that you thought it wasn't gonna make the playoffs. By the way,
Who?
The
Luka.
Mavericks and Luka.
He did just do that.
Well, they also made moves at the trade
Oh yeah,
deadline.
that weren't needle moving moves in your opinion.
No, I really was high on Gafford.
All right, but
you can't say that.
You still thought they'd lose to the Clippers. They'd lose to the OKC
I
Thunder.
did.
Right?
I did, after game 1, say they were going to win the series
I've never
against
seen
the Wolves.
I've never seen a player lead his team to the NBA Finals,
got dropped in
and
the
the
list.
PR gets worse for him.
If we're gonna
when
be transparent-
he was taking pain-killing injections in Game 3 of the NBA Finals
Oh
to
my
play
God! Fucking
through
miss
injuries.
me, miss me.
What do you want the
miss
reporting?
Me with this bullshit.
Do you want the reporting?
I don't
I want a
care.
video of him injecting himself.
Because
with
how
some
the
shit.
fuck did he suddenly Wolves? Oh, best brand of basketball, and now we're back to playing. Okay, decent
Can I ask you a
basketball.
question?
Riv, let me ask you this before you ask that
Because
question.
I think I have a
Riv, in the NBA Finals,
A lot of
was Isaiah Thomas's ankle broken?
Yes, it was broadcast.
He still
by the
played
way.
well, right?
Oh,
So you
100%.
can still play well with adrenaline in the moment,
Yeah, they
right?
shot him up, and he had
Would
to-
you
yeah.
ever say Isaiah Thomas wasn't actually hurt?
No, I'm still saying
Okay, Luka was
Did I say
actually
he
hurt.
wasn't
It was
hurt?
visibly.
Luka
He
had a
was
right
limping.
knee
Did Isaiah
sprain.
Thomas play in the Olympics 2 weeks later?
Well, he got banned from it. They didn't. They didn't. Drew, who's more talented, Giannis or Embiid?
Embiid,
You think Embiid's more talented? Why don't you have Embiid over Giannis?
because Embiid is not available, and he's hurt, and he's not good.
So I'm just talking about like just straight basketball stuff.
That's really what it is. And
So he's more
defensively,
talented
Giannis
than
is
Embiid
better.
or
But you don't think Embiid is on that same talent as Victor, just in terms of just offensive?
Not defensively, I haven't seen a player this great.
What about offensively?
Offensively, Embiid has everything you need.
So why don't you put him over Giannis? You don't care about playoffs. Like it doesn't matter. And in the regular
Talent.
season, we can talent. You just said Embiid is higher than Giannis.
Yes.
So why don't you
I
put
think
Embiid over
offensively,
Giannis?
defensively, no.
Interesting.
Giannis is one of the better defenders we've seen too.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
Wemby will have his day. I just don't think that day's
I'd
today.
say like a year
This
or two.
is a conversation where
Listen,
if
the
you have
statement
a
can be
resume,
made. Wemby's the most talented player in the league.
if you have a resume that
Yes,
doesn't
I can
stack
say
up,
that very, very comfortably.
Yeah.
you get punished for it. But if you don't have a resume at all, there's nothing to go off of. So he's
Yeah, you
there.
just get the talent nod.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I mean, the resume for Wemby right now is what he's shown. It's been pretty fucking.
I
also
have
naked.
no doubt that Wemby's gonna be great in the playoffs.
I
The same
don't
thing with
think-
SGA. Like I didn't doubt he was
No.
gonna
I
be great
don't think
in the
like I
playoffs.
think like
Nobody
Still,
doubts that.
You gotta prove it. You know
Nobody
what I mean?
doubts
To some
that.
extent.
Sounds like this guy's doubting it.
that's wrong.
I don't think he's doubting
What
it
if
at all.
Sounds.
what if the
You're the only
Spurs?
one that
Because you
thinks
needed to wait on SGA. I don't think anybody should have waited.
Nobody
he just said he needed to wait on it.
But that's what I'm saying. I didn't need to wait.
we
Why are
all
we
just
waiting?
said the same thing.
I
feel like
I'm disagreeing with all of you
getting
guys.
put into like top 5 best in the world, it's like you don't have to wait, but at the same time, like it's just respect for the other
Well,
dudes
you
who
don't
won
have to wait to
championships.
call somebody a superstar player. Wemby's a superstar player. Nobody
is.
thinks that
Oh,
he's
yeah,
not a
no
superstar
doubt.
player.
We're talking about
We're just
specifically
not,
them
we're
three
not,
guys.
We're not
It's just
putting them
best
in
in
the
the world. That's the
conversation
only issue I have.
with
When you
some of the
are
15 best
arguably
players
the best
in the history of the
two-way in
game.
the league,
I'm not even mad at
gotta see
Tatum.
it.
I'm not mad at SG. It's just the Giannis and Jokic to
Oh,
me.
and
they're-
I agree,
right
and
now
that's
they're
why
in
I'm
a
giving
tier
them.
that's-
I got them
there's a
ahead.
gap, like a literal gap between them two and then everybody else.
I agree.
Like, so for you to even think Wemby can grab a plate, grab a tray, put his food on it, sit at the same table is honestly nuts. Like,
When you are
no.
arguably the best two-way
when you are
in
a
the league.
champion, when you are arguably, when you are probably the best offensive player in life in the NBA we've had over 100 years in this shit, and you are the best. When you
So
are,
then why does Giannis have a seat at that table?
you fucking tell
You
me.
tell me.
I don't give a fuck
So
about
he doesn't
Giannis,
have
truthfully.
really.
I think he's there because he's improved the mid-range. The knock on Giannis has always been
He
get
can't
that jump shot up. If you get the jump shot up, you damn near
So what's the
unstoppable.
knock on Wemby that he doesn't?
He
have
has
any
nothing to.
playoff
He
stats?
literally, he has nothing. Like,
That's
there's nothing.
it?
You have to have something.
But if we're talking about his game, what are we knocking?
Well, the Joker is a clear better offensive
100%.
player. Defensively, keeps him in the race. Giannis, I think, is a better offensive player, worse defensive player.
the offensive player though is kind of close though.
Why? Because of numbers?
Yeah,
I respect that.
If we're just talking
So
about
then why isn't Luka a better player
the
than
defense.
if we're just
drastic.
talking about the
Let's-
game, talent
let's
for
look at the Bucs
just
defense.
skill for skill, what people do, Wemby's not a better offensive player than a lot of players in the league. He's not better offensively than SGA. Kevin Durant is still a better offensive player than Wemby.
That's how the skill for skill shit don't really
Steph
matter.
Curry is still a better offensive player than
Well,
Wemby.
skill and talent, I guess. Yeah, let's not get caught in semantics. I don't want to fucking get caught with a thesaurus. So if you want to go skill, talent, that they mean two different things. Talent-wise, Wemby's arguably the most talented player in the league,
You could have said that last year.
and I was pretty vocal about that.
Yeah, so
You didn't put him in top 3
I had
conversation.
him top, but number 11 because
That's not our issue.
because it was your first year. I still felt that strongly, and I was called a glazer,
You were still called the Glazer.
You can be called the bigger Glazer now.
and I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not calling him objectively the best player in the league.
Kinda
No,
feels
but when you are arguably the best two-way in the league, I can hear it. Simple.
I just it's
Yeah, I just don't know if there's been anyone ever in any sport who's been best
not
in the
even
world without
LeBron
doing
and
like
MJ. We
anything in
talking
the
about
playoffs.
the two dudes like they don't date like.
Hey, and again, I'm not saying that he's better than Jokic and Giannis.
So if
objectively.
he's
No.
better, or if he's at the table of Jokic and Giannis right now, is he on his like? Is this? Are we currently watching like a top 20 peak ever?
Dude, I'm gonna be real with you. I've never seen something like this.
No, I don't disagree. It's
This
just,
is fucking insane. It is literally.
like,
I'm
what's his-
watching history.
What's his role?
I agree with you. Nah, he's gonna go down as
He's
an
averaging
all-time great.
25,
So we've seen 25.
and he's averaging 36 at 7'6". You haven't seen that.
Just because we really haven't seen 7-6.
We haven't seen anyone
Exactly.
7'6".
Who can move like this? Can dribble like
Bowl.
this? Defend like
I'll be
this?
honest. This is the Joker on his worst week. In his worst year. No funny
Offensively.
shit. No, like he's put up 25, 10, and 10.
It's just
before.
like, what if Jokic did this and he's the best defense player in
He's
the
doing
world?
Joker. With all due respect, please don't take. Joker is doing this fat as fuck, like legitimately
just
big
think-
and
No,
heavy.
he's
But
strong.
in shape.
He's
He's in
strong.
great
Yeah,
shape.
he's
Two-way-
running up.
The two-way.
Jokic is one of the best. It's the
So, like,
strongest
But he
players
gets
in
out
NBA
in
history.
like Jokic gets out in transition.
Yeah,
he
sometimes,
runs.
like,
He's
here's my
not bad
problem
shape.
Like,
with
that's-
the two-way dialogue. It's a cop out for people to say two-way but not actually being a better player because he's a better two-way player. So that's why Wemby compares to Jokic, but we all know Jokic is a better player.
He is.
Ultimately, when you measure a basketball player's ability to play basketball, you are taking into account both sides of the ball. That's what you're doing.
You have to.
And even with taking into account those two things, Jokic is better than Wemby.
When you take both into account, I agree. Jokic is
Joker's offense
amazing.
is so much output.
And
Yeah,
so
I
is
agree.
about the
Giannis.
defense.
And so is Luka. And SGA as well.
This fucking defense
And
from
Tatum.
Wemby is some of the best I've ever seen. It's some of the best I've ever seen. He's insane.
I don't blame you.
And he's 7'6".
The 7-6 thing definitely.
Yes.
Why does it say 7-3?
No,
No, they
that is
lie.
yeah,
They lie
yeah.
crazy.
They lie about that.
Yeah. They were talking about it on the broadcast.
They were.
That's
yeah.
just ridiculous. Like blatantly lying like that.
And it's most likely
They say he's
7'5".
He's 7'3", 235.
Yeah, that's
And
correct.
it's usually the opposite. They lie and they say he's taller than he actually is.
Yeah,
This
so he's
one's the
probably
opposite.
7'3". We're like juicing his height.
he's
No, he's
not.
dead
no,
7'5".
Yes.
I believe
He
it.
might be,
I
yeah.
just don't see the point of basketball reference lying about that.
Because you watch him next to other 7-footers.
He's much
and he's
taller.
towering.
Like
over
him
them.
and Edie about 7'5".
Edie's
So-
7'4".
Oh, see, and he looks taller than him. Listen, man.
Do I get why you're combating me as strongly as you are? No doubt.
I don't look top 6. I'm with you. Top 10.
That's easy.
I'm with you. That's a lot for
easy.
sure. Top 3. Can't get with you with that. Gotta wait.
Best defender in the game and one of the best
Don't
offensive
hate
in
it.
the game.
No, he's not. He's actually not close to
One
one
of the best offensive.
I mean, sure.
I don't know.
Who's a better offensive player, Wemby or Jalen Brunson?
If you have to think about that, he ain't one of the best. With all due respect.
Jalen Brunson's been incredible this year, though.
But no, I'm not saying.
yeah,
I'm not
obviously.
saying
Is he a
that.
better
but
offensive player
just-
than Tatum?
If you have to think about that, he's not one of the best.
That's what I'm saying. Because I think Jokic
Why?
is...
Tatum is one of the better
I just think
offensive,
Jokic
though.
is like
Is Wemby a better
tiers
offensive player
above
than
him.
Cat?
If you have to think
Yes.
about that, he's
He is.
you know like I just
I think
think
it's
saying
about
one of the
long
best is
sense.
like what number are you talking about? It's easy cop out. Like what number?
He's probably like top 25.
Oh come on, dude.
That's not one of
that
the
shit
best.
ain't one of the best.
Really?
One of the best.
You're not
is
one of the
like
best
5
players.
best.
You're the 25th best player in the league,
Five, that's it.
If you're
Yeah.
calling him
If
one of the
he's
best in
one
the
of the
world, you can't
best-
be top 25 and
brother. We're not calling Bam one of the best players in the world. He's like top 25.
Offensively, I'll go higher. Maybe
don't
top
try
10
to-
offensive.
Yeah, I think 25 is a little low
Yeah,
for him,
I
to
would
be
agree.
fair.
I said
top
let's
10
go even at top
offensive.
15. Let's break in middle ground.
I'm cool with 15.
Okay, I would go as high as top 10 offensive.
Is he a
And
better offensive player than John Morant?
I would take him over John Moran.
Because I can't really shoot.
Is he a better offensive player than Donovan Mitchell?
No,
I would take him. I would take.
no, no.
That one's tough.
We're just talking off. No. I know you love it. It looks fun. It looks flashy. It looks fancy. If you want to break down the game, we can. Dribbling, shooting,
Yes.
to the rim.
Oh, it's getting to the rim. I mean,
Donovan's a 6'3"
yeah,
bullet.
I mean,
Wemby
Wemby can
7'6".
do whatever he wants. He gets down low, gets the ball. It's going
Donovan
in.
can do whatever he wants. Like,
Wemby.
I mean, yeah, he's fucking
Yes,
8'9".
I know.
Yes, but
I know.
Listen, boy, he ain't top 10. So
We want a Mike Brown topic. We're going to stay here till midnight. What do we got?
Yeah. Well, the Kings fired Mike Brown.
4-hour pod. Here we go.
They
Is
were
it that long already?
they were
Oh,
playing the
God.
Pistons, and wow, they choked this game. They were about 10 points. They let them come back. Jaden Ivey hits a 3 and is fouled stupidly by De'Aaron Fox. And then one day later, boom, bam, Mike Brown is fired. And it was after he had his media availability. He hosted an entire practice. He talked to the media, and then the media found out this dude just got fucking fired after I just talked to him. I don't know. It's bad business. I think Mike Brown's getting scapegoated. This is a team that they lack a lot of juice, man. There's not a lot of depth. They lack shooting. Their shooters from 2 years ago have regressed, like Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter. And I think this is a team that they had a special season. They weren't a special team, and it was a fluke of a year.
Can you argue Keegan Murray got him fired?
He's probably a contributing
of it,
factor
yeah.
to it.
29% from three.
That's nasty.
12 points a game. You watch him. He's just not impactful on the offensive side at all.
I think at this point, it's
Part
just
of
the
developing.
Kings. The Kings are in a tough situation because a duo of Fox and Sabonis is only going to get you as far as a playoff berth, maybe a first round, second round exit if everything goes right. De'Aaron Fox to me is like Kemba Walker with the Hornets. Kemba left the Hornets after 8 seasons. He was an all-star player. He was eligible for a Supermax. The Hornets didn't want to pay him. De'Aaron Fox, this is currently his 8th season in Sacramento. Do I think he's an all-star? Yes. Do I think he's a Supermax type of player? I do not. And I think if they pay him, they kind of handicap their franchise. And this kind of feels like a situation where you fire Mike Brown to try to salvage this team, but there's nothing to salvage. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I would have kept Mike Brown for what it's worth. I agree, Joel. Someone had to get fired because they lost, I think, 12 of 17. They lost 5 in a row. That game against the Pistons. He has had some funny press conference moments, right? He had that. I forgot what game was over. He said
real.
having again and again and again. He went for like 3 minutes just saying again. But honestly, like, while they're in a tough situation, I also think they're just in an easy situation because this team isn't doing shit. You know, like, it's very easy for outsiders like myself to be like, yeah, just blow it up. Trade Fox, trade Sabonis. But I'm not in the front office having to sell season tickets and merchandise and doing all of this shit. It's very easy as a fan to, or a fan not involved to be like, yeah, just trade all of these guys, and start from scratch. But that's really what you got to do because 2 years ago, you were a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. You made your first playoffs and God knows how long, and it was great. You lost in the first round, and then this past year you lost, or last season you lost in the play-in, and this year things are really going sideways and looks like you might not even make the play-in. So it just gradually has gotten worse and worse. And even when they made the playoffs, even when they were a top 3 seed, none of us thought this team was a serious contender, right? I think that first round is probably pretty 50-50 split between them and Golden State. But even still, like, if they got past the first round, nobody thought this was a team that was going to the NBA Finals. So I think someone had to pay for how poor this season has been. But in the same breath, you you got to hope this front office, who has made some good moves, right? Like, I know Keegan hasn't worked out, and it's even surprising that Keon Ellis hasn't gotten more burn, especially after how he played down the stretch of last season. You have assets that you can move off of, right? Like, De'Aaron Fox is going to get you a pretty nice haul. Sabonis' value is going to be really interesting because to have Sabonis on your team, you kind of need to build an offense around him. It's very awkward to just plant Sabonis in a random offense and have him figure it out. You need Sabonis to be a very important piece of your offense. And I don't think a lot of teams are going to make sacrifices to make Sabonis a focal point, at least not real good teams. So I think Fox gets you something. I think Sabonis is going to get you something to a lesser extent. But what you got to do is do stuff that the Kings have not been able to do over these last, forever of our life, is develop and draft some really good prospects. Because to expect anybody to come to Sacramento feels pretty far-fetched, right? No big free agent's going to be coming your way. So this is a team that's going to have to learn to build through the draft. You're going to have to develop these guys. They've had some success stories. They've had more failure than success. But I think this new regime in the front office that we've seen over the last couple of years has to give Kings fans some hope. But I was surprised Mike Brown got fired. It's the guy that was coach of the year. I think he's well-respected in the NBA. He's going to get another job, whether it's an assistant or an NBA head coach within the next year or so, or even maybe this season. But it was surprising because I thought he was well respected in the locker room. I felt like for the most part, players and coaches respected him. But again, this is just a team and ownership probably that felt like change had to be made. And it's easier to fire Mike Brown than it is to go and trade De'Aaron Fox. So I think that's why they made the move.
Bro got scapegoated, man. I like Mike Brown, man. Holds his players accountable. Talks mad shit in the post game. He did throw Fox under the bus last game. That's probably what kind of triggered this thing, And I think this team, more than anything, wants to keep Fox. Like, they really want to try to keep their lone star that they've had since probably Chris Webber or DeMarcus Cousins.
Bonus.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
bro.
so, they're in the team together. That's what I'm tweeting. So, like, this team is just, like you mentioned, like, they're not – we thought coming in they'd be an exciting team. They're actually one of the worst clutch teams in the league. That was something that definitely – shocked the shit out of me. You have DeMar,
players in the league,
literally DeMar and Fox, who either won it or were in contention to win the clutch player of the league. Just defensively, they're a black hole. They just cannot defend. In the half court, in transition, whether it's at any type of pace, they just can't seem to get a good consistent defensive stops. And Mike Brown, when he got there, he had this team humming. They copied kind of Golden State's playbook and what they like to run. Had Keegan, Kevin Huerter, had Malik Monk having a breakout year. Fox was doing his thing. Sabonis was doing his thing. So you kind of felt good. And, I get the front office, even though it was a bad move in hindsight and getting DeMar, they tried. They genuinely tried to make some moves and maybe try to capitalize on just being a competent playoff team. Because when you're a Kings fan, coming from the ground, coming from the garbage, you just want to be competent. You want to be a team that consistently can get to the playoffs, be competitive. That's the start. And then you work your way up. And this team is just trying to find that avenue of just being consistent. But Fox probably gone. Keegan Murray, he came in at 23, so you kind of was expecting him to be a little bit more advanced, be a little bit more ready. He was ready his rookie year. I believe he broke the 3-point record.
Rookie record.
Yeah, rookie record for most 3-pointers. Kind of fell off a cliff a little bit.
Was it the franchise record or the all?
I think it was
league
franchise record. It was one of them. But
definitely rookie record. Most threes in the season.
He had a great rookie year. Kind of fell off a cliff. They haven't really found a solid backup big to kind of complement, have that defensive mindset behind Sabonis. Keon Ellis is up and down in the lineup. I don't know what that is with Mike Brown and him. They don't really have any defensive wings on the perimeter. DeMar has never really played defense. So you're kind of sitting here and you're like, we paid DeMar, probably retires in like 2 years. Fox is gone. Like you mentioned, Sabonis is going to be hard to move. Keegan's rookie extension is coming up. How does that look? What do you do with him? Malik Monk, you just gave him an extension last summer. So it's like this situation it's tough. Like, what do you do? And I think firing Mike Brown, you had to do something to kind of sway the fan base. But in the end, you're sitting at, 13-17, 13-18, and you're kind of like looking outside in at the playoffs.
This is a full circle moment because Jaden Ivey, the player that they passed up on to draft Keegan,
Keegan, like you mentioned, has the record for most threes by a rookie.
So he's regressed really since then.
He shot 41% on almost 7 attempts. How the hell are we here? You're shooting less than 30% from three? You're one of the worst 3-point shooters in the league? And I look at the addition of DeMar DeRozan, and like you mentioned, they were supposed to be one of the most clutch teams, period. You have Fox, who was clutch player of the year. Last year wasn't as clutch, but still, you trust him in those situations. Then you get DeMar. This was supposed to be a lock. How is it that you add DeMar now Keegan's taken a huge step back. Keon Ellis isn't getting as
Public
many
service
minutes.
announcement before you continue. We're dicking the Denver Nuggets right now.
The Bulls?
What?
No.
The Cavs.
Got him.
The Cavs.
How is
He's
it?
not the
That was
Warriors
good?
anymore.
They're not playing
I thought he
right
was going to say the Pistons.
I could have said anything.
Pistons are on a nice 2-game heater against who? The Lakers and
Mobley, 4 for 6 from the
three
three-point line.
wins on a road trip. I think the
Dehls.
Suns,
We're
Kings,
coming.
and Lakers.
I'm ready.
We are coming.
They play the Nuggets tomorrow.
Mitchell, 33.
So
Mobley,
keep on
26.
going with the Kings.
Darius Garland, 25. We're fucking here. Mobley, 4 for 6 from the three-point line, nigga.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's killing.
Oh my God. DeMar DeRozan hasn't played bad basketball this season by any means, but he's kind of taking opportunity away from the young players of the Kings, and it's kind of hurting the development. And then now Mike Brown gets blamed for it too, because these are young players for the Kings roster that we were hoping to take a step forward. I was very vocal. My X factor for the Kings this season is one person only, Keegan Murray. How does he develop? How does he get back on track? And so far, I'm not putting the whole blame on Keegan, but it's kind of the...
Fake his fault.
I won't say, but it is a great descriptor as to the main reason.
There was a lot of belief that Mike Brown put in Keegan. You know, Mike Brown wanted Keegan to take a step last year in the scoring, and he had a lot of belief in him. So, I mean, that's not crazy to say, because Keegan's lack of development looks bad on Mike Brown for having that much
For real.
self-belief in him that he
brutal.
would become good.
Honestly, it's
He
not
was good as
development,
hell
it's
his
just-
rookie
It's
year.
just being consistent. Like, I don't know. Keegan, I don't think we ever expected to turn into this like number 2 option on a championship team.
high-level
But it,
role player.
exactly, just be like the 40% 3-point shooter and play high-level defense. I think that's what we were
Michael
expecting.
Porter Jr. to a lesser degree. Is that
Attack pin
crazy?
downs, attack, close out,
Yeah.
do a little something here and there.
Yeah,
make
but
it-
you wanted him to grow. You wanted him to maybe get to from 12 to 16 to maybe
sure.
18
Yeah, like
tonight.
even Michael Porter Jr., we want him to grow a little bit.
his back is fucked up.
Nah, OD. But even still, we acknowledge this is the epitome of a strong role player.
Yep.
3-and-D. Keegan Murray is a little bit better defender. And he was shooting the ball at a crazy clip. And now we just gone so far back from that. And now we look at the Kings, and they've been one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA this season. It sucks because I didn't dislike the DeMar DeRozan move at the time. But in hindsight now I know it's not solely his fault, because Mike Brown obviously makes the decisions. And Keon Ellis was one of the main contributors as to why the defense turned it around late last year.
Yep.
And Keegan Murray going even more back. That's really the main reason the Kings are bad, and now Mike Brown's out of a job.
And that's going to do it for this
Remember how you asked me
episode.
them and the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
We'll have that conversation.
Grizzlies have been shutting me up a lot.
It helps when you have depth. Grizzlies were my dark horse team in the West. I don't know if you knew that.
And I
When?
Yeah, I went on Nerd Session. They asked me,
Did you really?
what's the team that you think could contend that
Are
nobody's
you
talking
lying
about?
to me?
I'm being 100% honest.
he said
Ask
Milwaukee.
Carson,
You said
ask
Milwaukee
Logan.
and the Grizzlies, didn't you?
I think I just said the
said-
Grizzlies.
No, you said
It's-
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, what I did is that I went on Jokic Joestar's podcast, and he asked me, what's my NBA Finals pick? Because he had a tally.
Okay.
And
Everyone was saying Boston. and
yeah,
OKC.
everybody was saying Boston, OKC, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna give you my dark horse
There you
pick.
go.
And I said, I think it's the Milwaukee Bucks.
So you believed in Memphis. Welcome to the party, bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
And
I
I've
appreciate
been,
it.
I say vocal more than anything.
Oh, yo,
What-
Nurkic slapped the shit out of fucking Najee Marshall.
They fought.
Yeah.
Need it. I gotta get the clip
Say
later.
that.
I gotta get the
Damn,
clip.
Najee getting smacked.
Why he smack him?
That's
I don't
tough.
know. I just
He
saw the
better
clip.
chill out his whack ass.
What I've been more wrong than anything is Jaren Jackson. He's been hooping.
Your boy's waking up.
Bane? Yeah, I figured he would.
Starting to wake up. My boy Ja leading the charge, man.
Nah, I mean, never did I doubt. Yeah,
19-7.
Oh,
and 4.
Najee punched him after.
Wemby's numbers against the
What?
Nets today.
Then PJ Washington the
game's
just
over?
fucking pushed him to the floor.
Who won?
The Spurs won.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had 6 blocks.
There you go.
Had a lot of blocks.
Blocker. Shot blocker.
I guess it doesn't move me.
Mutombo moved me.
6 is fucking
Oh, yeah,
nuts.
nah, he threw a full punch.
Hold on, bro, because I need to see.
I know. See,
Oh, wait, let me see. Oh, there you go, Najee. Oh,
he fell?
Nah, he didn't fall. Somebody grabbed-
Now,
somebody grabbed-
PJ Washington, I think, pushed him.
That's crazy.
Look at PJ though. You see PJ in the back? Oh yeah, PJ.
Oh, PJ
yeah,
pushed the fuck outta him.
Yeah, PJ. That's what you do for your fucking teammates.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
That's needle moving shit right there.
Yeah, he's
PJ
been
walked
doing
up
that.
on him.
That's
too. You
needle
saw the
moving.
Since the
walkout?
playoffs.
No. That
Stop
moves me.
playing.
Well, the Mavericks
PJ,
and the Suns hate each other.
PJ, if there was anything you could have done, hey,
PJ, that moves me because like coming from the hood and how I was raised and how I grew up and shit. It was always, it was always, like I fuck with that though. Yeah, we need that. Bring that back. Don't suspend them.
Oh, so
yeah,
they're getting,
he's
he's
the
getting
game.
suspended as fuck.
They threw punches.
Yeah,
Brother,
no way.
listen,
Fuck.
we need some fires.
Najee might get like 3 games,
We
bro.
need some electric.
3 games.
Nurkic hit him first.
It might be like 10.
Najee, I
For
mean,
a
Mark
punch?
Nurkic kind of like hit
This
him
is
in the
what
face.
kills me about Adam Silver and refs. If a nigga slap me, what am I supposed to do? Just ref, he hit me. No,
Ref, he
ref,
smacked
look,
me.
ref. No, I gotta hit him back. Like at least, like feel me. And Najee's a real nigga. Do a punch.
And PJ's real as fuck coming in.
Walked up
Bow!
on him, yeah,
Fuck
pushed
to
him.
the ground.
Where was the Suns players? That's the real question.
Yeah,
Where was the Suns
facts.
players at? Nobody's defending Nurkic. Where KD?
Fixing his hair.
Where's Easy Money? No, he's nowhere to be found. That's going to do it for episode 440 of the Pick Aside Podcast. You guys can follow us on X at Pick Aside Pod, on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod. It didn't sound right.
I'm making OnlyFans.
At TikTok and Instagram at Pick Aside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.